Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews podcast number 73.
73!
We're going to be catching up on the latest film and
Yeah.
TV shows we've watched before going over the latest news. In the second part of today's podcast, we are going to be catching up and reviewing Wrestlemania 41.
Yes.
And then, of course, in the third part, we will be answering your questions. Iain, Andy, great to have you here as
What's
always.
up? Yeah.
How you been? What have you been up to? It's
while.
been like 6 months since the last podcast.
No.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It's because like so much seasonal stuff's changed.
Because we said, didn't we, at the start of March,
Yeah.
the March podcast one, we were like, now we're going to wait until the end of April because then we'll have content.
Yeah.
And we'll get WrestleMania out the way because that was going to be a big one and we knew we had a load of stuff coming up. Man, I suppose, as always, I'll try and go first quickly with my stuff because I know you guys have got like a fucking shit ton of fucking stuff.
Well,
you've
only
been
like
up to.
4
You know,
things.
some of us work, the rest of us just sit around watching TV. And
Some of us work faster.
Right.
I managed to bang out some really mad films on the big screen recently, which I was quite happy about. Watched Akira on the big screen.
Nice.
Blu-ray. That was sick. The noise, the music, the visuals, like that.
There's a reason why that film is cult status,
Yeah.
legendary.
There must have been some minds blown back in the late 80s when that dropped in the big cinema.
It was my introduction to Japanese manga animation.
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything in that art style before. Nothing that graphic in animated art.
and
before.
The governmental stuff as well, and all the experimentation. The flow of the movie flows so well that, for me, I was sat there just transfixed for 2 hours.
We reviewed it like 3-4 years
We
ago.
did.
Yeah.
But sometimes I usually watch it at home and I kind of get a bit bored. But when it was on the big screen, when the music was really loud and I was just transfixed by it, I was just like, my God, this is an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I did Planet of the Apes, the original with Charlton Heston.
I love that film.
That was fucking amazing as well.
I can't ever just watch that one on its own though. It leads me into the entire
You
series.
got to watch the Mark Wahlberg one, right?
That one doesn't exist. That's
I
an
am
alternate
tempted.
dimension.
I thought you're like, now let's watch the true
thing is-
sequel.
But the thing is, on the last time I was rewatching them all, I did because
Yeah,
it just.
I like the Mark
it's,
Wahlberg one.
it's an alternate universe.
I haven't even finished the one with Woody Harrelson yet, so I'm thinking about going back and restarting that season because
It's good.
like I was watching the Charlton
Again,
Heston one.
even though sorry to cut you off, I think some of the like 70s, 80s ones were like the budgets
They're a
kept
bit
going down
going,
and down and
yeah.
down. But again, it's one of those franchises I would say has consistently put out interesting films.
Man,
So-
that first one, like it runs a knife's edge where it could have flopped as a B movie because like somebody could have said like, oh look at the special effects of the makeup of the people.
Oh, at the
dressed
time
as
it was
apes.
revolutionary.
Oh, yeah, it was
Omega,
revolutionary,
I
but-
think it's more the subject matter that could have flopped it. I think it was Charlton Heston's name being attached
There's
to it.
a
was
lot
huge
of
deal,
things
wasn't it?
that could have
Oh,
flopped
yeah.
the film, but
Agreed,
the film
yeah.
was just amazing, and I really just wanted to see that sequence where he's on the beach. I needed to see that on the big screen. Like when people talk about big screen events, that's one of them.
As soon as you mentioned it, right, and this is a common thing, is anytime anyone mentions Planet of the Apes, I will literally, my brain will just fuck off for a second, and I just jump to the fucking South Park thing where they're doing the musical going, Dr. Zeus, Dr. Zeus.
That's Simpsons.
That's what I said, wasn't it? Simpsons?
No, you said South Park.
I was like, I'm watching loads of South Park.
Simpsons did it!
Simpsons did it, yeah. No, now I think South Park are getting that one, but yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. I just go straight to that. It was like,
obviously, we'll bring it up in the news section when Gary talks about it. But the Val Kilmer passed. But 2 weeks before he passed, I did actually watch Batman Forever on the big screen.
Oh, so you did it?
Tick off. I almost felt bad for it. I thought that maybe that was it, but I've done now Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, the Nolan trilogy. Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman all on the big screen.
Nice.
I'm not too fussed about doing the Batman because it's 3 hours fucking long.
That's funny. They're not too fussed about doing the second one by the look of it now. Yeah.
Take your time.
Matt Reeves today was like, do you know what? It's not going to might not happen.
Yeah.
Like Val Kilmer, I as well. Once he passed, I watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang for the very first time.
Excellent.
Fuck me, that's a fucking amazing. When you have Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne solving crime.
Yeah.
Like
it's Shane Black, isn't it?
It's Shane Black,
and it's because of the strength of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Because after that, it was Predator.
Yeah,
and I was like, I've got faith in this guy. Like he's
the
gonna
year
make
before that, the year before Kiss Kiss, he'd done Long Kiss Goodnight, and I absolutely loved that movie, and it flopped. And I'm like, these two movies are fucking great.
Was it like 05 or something? Was it something like that? When
What?
was it? Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's like 2000.
Early 2000s.
Game wise, I'm really proud of what I completed last month because people talk about tough games and challenges and speed runs and no damages and all that kind of shit, and I'm like, you're all pussies. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. I went and I completed Conflict Vietnam on the PS2.
Yeah, that game is hard as nails.
Hard.
Someone finally won that conflict.
Yes.
Hard, man. Like, when you have a game that says, oh, you've got 2 saves, you got an extra one at the start of your level, and then only 2 saves for that entire level.
Yeah, some levels are up to 40 minutes.
Yeah, because the enemy are just better than you at everything, and you have to know what's behind the corner. And on that kind of, I had that mentality while I was playing that, so I also went and bought Alex Kidd DX in Miracle World for the Switch as well.
Separates the man from the boys, that game as well.
Myself through that. I almost just gave up gaming when I was playing that because I was just like, why am I doing this? How were children expected to ever play this? This is fucking insane.
Dude, I played that game originally on the Master System when I was like 7, completed it. I walked through the house with my dick out. I was like, I'm in charge now. You don't know shit.
Like, there are games that are just designed, and we know how games are designed because the developers want you to keep playing it for incredibly long times and stuff.
Well, back in the day, it was because of rentals. People were renting completely the game,
in, mate.
or it was arcade. So make the game hard, put more money in. Yeah.
As soon as I knocked out Alex Kidd, I went and I finished off Lion King on the Switch as well.
Nice.
I've
still never finished that game. I can always get to Scar.
Oh man,
but I can never throw him off the top.
Do you know how you do?
You got to suplex the bitch off.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You got to get over him and then back
the crazy thing is, you have to whack him. Like, he's got 3 stages for the level, right? He's got
what you got to do?
He's got whack him.
You look like Naomi on SmackDown this morning.
He's got 100 health in one, 150 at the second place, and then 200 at the third.
Yeah.
Your hits with your paw do 1 damage. So you have to keep whacking him like 100 times to make him go to the second section and then the third section. He doesn't hit you back at all. You just have to keep hitting him. He's just basically invulnerable. When you get to the third section at the top of Pride Rock, you have to whack him all the way to the edge. Where his health down?
I've seen a clip
where
of it.
Where his health down so he gets really tired. And then you have to jump over him so that your back is to the edge and he's facing at you.
Yeah.
And then you activate it and then you throw him off. And I'm like, how did we ever do this back in the fucking day?
I didn't.
You mashed the pad and
over and over again.
Even if you had a Game Genie, there was no beat Scar cheat code.
Yeah.
So even with infinite lives, infinite health, I still couldn't throw him off.
So when people are like, oh man, I was playing this game and I quick saved it and then I had my save and then I did something wrong and I went back and I rechanged it and I'm like, fuck you gamers.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know, man. Other than that, obviously I had a really great Easter holiday off with family. Back
chocolate
to work
holiday.
Now, getting ready for my next holiday, knocking out film reviews.
Yeah, there's another
obviously,
bank holiday
like
a week from now.
All the film reviews
yeah.
up to now, obviously I know I've been whinging a lot in the reviews that we've been doing recently, but some of them have been really shit. But
yeah,
we've got some real crackers of shit coming up soon.
We do. Well, I should also take this opportunity to let everyone that's listening at this point as well that there's a very real possibility there may not be a video this coming Thursday. I'm fighting copyright on every video, of course, but there was for 2 of the videos they wouldn't let me fast track it to the 7-day I challenge this claim.
Yeah.
And that's because sometimes the music is also like it's the music and the visual, so lots of different companies. The weird thing is, I haven't had a chance to mention this to you yet, Ian, but maybe it's just a general thing as well, is that usually when you remember back in the day when you uploaded videos and it would be like this timestamp, that's where the incriminating copyrighted material is. So we'd re-edit the video, take that bit out, re-upload it, and be like, now that bit's the incriminating bit.
Yeah.
When I upload videos now, YouTube goes, here's all the incriminating parts of your video in one go, and it's a page long.
Jeez,
so they literally have every single edit now of every single clip, and so I'm like, this is going to be challenging to
they are intricately checking it now.
Yeah,
as well.
so it's the AI systems are getting smarter, and it detects everything in one go.
When they send you all these timestamps, are you like, is this the incriminating parts, or is this where YouTube are putting adverts?
No. There's another page that does that too. And the annoying thing is right now is that YouTube has taken away when you upload a video, YouTube's just gone, we'll put the ads in for you, don't worry. And I'm like, all right. One at the beginning, one at the end, and if it's a 40-minute video, one in the middle. If it's 50 to 60-minute video, 2. One at 25, one at like 45. And but now YouTube just goes, how about 400 adverts in your 30-minute video.
Yeah.
And the entire thing is just a whole row of them. I have to go in there and manually delete every single one. But YouTube also went, oh, by the way, we retroactively applied this to all of your back catalogue. And so occasionally you'll get messages in the comments going, not watching your fucking video because it's an advert every 10 seconds. And I'm like, fuck, get into the video manager, go find the video and go delete every single advert manually, one after another.
I don't see why.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I find it harder and harder now to watch
anything
on YouTube
because of adverts.
And I'm not paying for premium. I feel like
it
they're
wasn't
holding
just
me
us. YouTube sweeped the entire platform with it.
Why are anybody
because YouTube are going, hey, we're going to give all you creators more money this way.
Bro,
but viewers are going off.
Yeah. The funniest thing is, though, I grew up on adverts.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up on watching TV, and TV had adverts. Like, I'm so old, I remember the little black and white square.
Yeah, that lets you know adverts are coming.
To tell you that
and that's when I used to pause the recording.
Yes, that's
so I'm not going to fucking watch that again.
So at the point when, like
class.
Like, obviously Sky came along and it became cable TV and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, that would be great. And lo and behold, guess what? It had adverts in. There were adverts at the beginning of my movies. There were fucking adverts in the middle of my fucking games. And then all of a sudden, the internet comes along and everyone goes, right, we're going over there. Why? Because there's no ads. And I'm like,
there is no.
Okay. And you just watched ads just come along and seep into these things, and people were constantly just trying to find different ways to avoid, like, ad blocker. Let's get ad blocker.
Yeah, and YouTube's at war with them.
Yeah, but I can understand, because creators get money through their ads.
Yeah.
You then pay for ad blocker to block out those ads, so you're paying somebody else to take away money from the person you want to give money to.
That's what Patreon's
It's a
for.
vicious circle, isn't it? And what are we going to do?
Yeah, but that's where I'm like, I don't care. Have all the adverts. Help us keep the adverts in there, or pay for the subscription. I if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. You're not supporting us. We're still gonna keep doing it. YouTube's gonna keep fucking us over. It'll all work out in the end. I mean, I'm waiting for the day where I'm sat here like fucking Gar from Wayne's World with a hat and my shoes up and my Nikes going, everyone's just like, kind of job overthinking.
Just do stuff because they get paid. That's just really sad.
Man, I want to get a set now where you can do that.
It's like, that's Gary's room. But that's not Gary's room.
That's not Gary's room. Okay, I'm good. You guys, what have you guys been up to?
Nice.
Wow, yeah. No, I've been doing a few. I've been watching a lot of South Park with the kid, which is great. Now she's old enough to kind of like watch it, and So
I'm aching for new South Park.
Can't wait for new South Park, man. Yeah. They're fucking awesome. But we watched some good new comedy specials. New Bert Kreischer one dropped. New Bill Burr one, which was fantastic. That's really good. Those are on like Netflix and Prime as well, so that's really good.
Don't talk to me about Netflix.
Oh yeah, no, Netflix of course. But
just lost mine.
Saying that,
Family
one quick thing. Actually, which I'm really proud of, which has nothing to do with me, it's to do with the kid, is she had an audition through the school for a movie that was being made there, which was going to be made as it's kind of like a almost like a, I don't know if a public information film is the right kind of thing, but essentially 2 alumni of the school, Tyler Pearson, she's the director. Her brother is Royce Pearson, who played Istrid in The Witcher.
Okay.
You know, the maid, she gets with Yennefer before she gets pretty. They both went to Jessica's school. They grew up in Salt Arts and they went there. And so, like, they came in, she met them with a bunch of kids. So they did auditions for this movie. And essentially, it's basically a sort of anti-racism film. It's going to be shown in Parliament. I assume it's going to be on YouTube. We're still waiting to hear back. They're talking about they're going to have a little premiere thing at the school that we're going to go to.
That's awesome.
Great. She auditioned for it. So she comes running in the house. This is going back a couple of months. Like, absolutely beams. Like, Dad, you won't believe it. I was like, what's like? I got a part in that film. I was like, really? That's fucking awesome, kid. Who are you? And she just literally goes, I'm a racist. Oh, no. I was like, okay. I was like, your granddad's gonna be really proud. I was like, awesome. I was like, of course you are with your blue eyes and your blonde hair, but no. So she plays a gang who bully this girl, and it's one of the
whole gang. She plays a gang member.
Yeah. She's not playing every member of the gang or anything, but
that would be great.
That would be amazing. But it's like, I mean, the main girl is the only girl who actually talks, and they all just actor and stuff like that. But yeah, man, she spent like a few days at the school doing it. She got to meet, it was so funny. She came home and she was talking about it. And she said, there's like 2 units. The second unit director was talking to us and he's worked on all these different films. I was like, that's cool. And I'm like, trying like cooking. And she's like, oh, he worked on Barbie. I was like, oh, fuck, cool. And then she said another, I can't remember what, but a fairly recent movie. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And she went, oh, and he did Rush Hour. I'm like, why'd you not lead with that? I was like, you worked on Rush Hour? And I was like, here's 20 questions I want you to ask him, so I'm not doing that there. So yeah, but yeah, so that's good. So I was really proud of her. She really enjoyed it. And, I got loads of good, feedback from it. So fingers crossed. We'll let you know if it comes out.
We went to a friend's party, and Andy was telling us all the story. So I was just like, "Oh, I have to say something," and I walked right back into the kitchen where everybody was, and Jessica was right there, and I shouted over everybody who was talking. Jessica, I hear you're a racist now.
I was glad she didn't get the reference because she only watched 5 or 10 and I loved it, but still, never mind. Yeah, so
that's really awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. Other than that, I've been playing a bunch of games because so many games went on sale. It's been brilliant. I don't know if all the game systems are just going to shit.
Right, there was a load of Lovecraftian inspired games that went on sale. I picked one up.
Well, I bought RoboCop Rogue City for like £8.
Nice. That DLC's coming soon.
I know, it's a fucking solid game.
It is. It's retro as hell.
Do you know what's funny though? Is I found the shooting mechanics to be really good, and they really captured that.
Yeah, it's the fact that the enemies recoil.
When you hit
fly
the people,
everywhere.
it really feels
throwing
like
them against the ceiling and stuff like that.
Just pick up computer monitors and throw them.
It's that thing of all the music's there, all the voices there. It's great.
Yeah.
But then so I ended up also because again it was like £9. I bought Terminator Resistance.
That's
the same guy.
Yeah, they went.
And again, it's really. So I'm actually playing that one at the minute.
They did the awful Rambo game before that one.
Oh really?
Yeah, which was
so this is what they do then.
Yeah, they do movie licenses, but the fact that you can watch their evolution to the point where it's like these guys love the properties that they are making and working in.
I got I completed Max Payne 3.
No,
it cost me like £5.
That game was hard as fuck.
Do you know what? I'm glad you said that because I was playing through it going have I fucking lost it?
No, it was
because it's a lot of it's very long checkpoints.
Yes.
Which is why it's difficult.
I can still be. I'm still on the boat behind a piano, going. I'm done.
Don't even. When you put it this way, when you get to an airport, get a drink. So yeah, but it was good.
I don't know if I'll ever go back.
I wasn't a huge. I wanted to get it because I hadn't played it, and I knew they're remastering everything.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, you know what? I wasn't a big fan of the art style, the way it kept flashing around and just showing random words coming on it. It didn't. I was considering what the first 2 games were. I was like, why do you have such a departure? But also the fact that game system basically became GTA 5.
It did,
didn't it? Which was quite cool. So I was like, this is as if Michael from GTA 5 had a longer story. That's basically what it is. But, it was cool. I had a little mess around on the Oblivion remaster because it's on Game Pass.
How did you find it?
It's Oblivion.
It's fine. It was...
Oblivion with new paint.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
That's it. It looks nice. It's still Oblivion.
Well, but Oblivion was
great. Yeah.
But Oblivion was good. But it still had issues. And
of course, it's a Bethesda game.
I was gonna say, Jesus.
And what I'm saying is what you're playing now is still Oblivion, just with a paint job.
It's a pretty good paint job, though.
Yeah, but they all are, man. They all are.
Yeah, that's nice. When you first come out and see Tamriel and everything like that, it's fucking boss. I love the fact as well. I haven't played a lot of it, but I mean, I went through the first Oblivion Gate and they've still got that Anakin Easter egg when the dude's coming out of the lava I was like, nice. So yeah, that was cool. So I've got that on the go at the minute. I'm playing through Terminator Resistance at the minute.
Nice.
I saw a new movie. I went to see Sinners last night.
I wish that.
I need to go and see this.
You've not seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not going to. I won't spoil it. But I went into this. It's obviously Ryan Coogler, isn't it? Who directed Creed and
that's it. Yeah.
Did Black Panther as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Like both those ones.
Man, this is.
Is it a contender for top 10 of the year?
At the minute, 100%. It's in the top 10.
I had a feeling.
But here's the thing. I don't want to spoil anything because I went into this only having seen the teaser trailer.
I've seen nothing,
and I'm really. You're going to even happier. I don't want to say too much then, other than I will say I really enjoyed it. It's the fact that I didn't know until I started watching it that he's playing twins in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is fucking seamless.
They were
awesome.
supposed to be two separate actors, but then they pulled one guy out, and so they just went straight with both Jordan.
But it is,
and I was like,
seamless,
sweet, because
I didn't know this, yeah.
But also,
I love him as Killmonger.
It's also the fact that he's clearly playing. As much as they're very similar, they have got very subtle nuances to them that make them their own individual characters.
Without, like I said, without spoiling it, because I know what happens, I know the plot and stuff but would you agree that it's kind of like an updated From Dusk Till Dawn?
No, it's got that vibe in a way.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it's like completely. What I'm saying is because like without spoiling it too much for Gary because he doesn't know. They're
I appreciate the tiptoeing, guys. They're
brothers. They buy a gin bar. They want to set up a shop, and like something turns.
It's got so much layering to it. That's why I wouldn't say so. I know where you're going with that, but no, I think that there's so much layering in it. As in, like, the only thing that I think would put people off the movie. And it's the ironic thing is this is the only negative thing I can say about it, but it's not a negative to me. I just acknowledge the fact that some people might not like it. Is if this is in a way to, if it's a film of two halves in a way, it's kind of like this initial bit before we get to what else is going to happen. It's very long. It's like an hour and a half, maybe, film. And it is like, but you're so fucking captivated, and they throw so much story and exposition. It's kind of like we're getting the band back together kind of thing.
Okay,
that I'm like, okay.
For me,
I was so connected, but also I had this really funny
DVD as soon as it came out.
I had this really funny interaction in it was funny to me. It was like an 8 o'clock show, 7:45 showing or something like that, and it was only in one of the smaller screens, it was screen 11.
Yeah.
So I had like
So I don't. Yeah. So I'm guessing there's obviously the twist moment where things go supernatural.
I'm not going to say anything to you at all. I'm not going to say anything, but just like I said, just yeah. It's essentially it's a film that becomes a different film. Is probably the Dusk Till Dawn reference.
But
like, so I agree with you in a way. But like I said, I think that there's whereas Dusk Till Dawn was kind of like they give you just enough to get by. To just get you to like all out fucking action. It's like I just think that it's kind of almost underselling it to call it that. I think there's so much in that opening section. But anyway, so I went in. It was a 7:45 showing, and when I buy my seat, I always do the same thing. If I'm there on my own, I buy a fucking seat on the end because I just want to sit next to anyone. So I just found a row that had an empty seat next to me.
Oh man, I do that all the time. Oh yeah,
I just hope
nobody comes to my cinema. Yeah.
Right? So I sit down. No one there, so there's empty seats, a couple of girls next to me. It was it wasn't packed, but there was plenty of people in there. But some sat there, and then this guy comes up with, I assume his girlfriend or his date or whatever, and he's like, "You're in our seats, or you're in my seat, or whatever." And I was just kind of like, like D5. I was like D5. Nope. I was like, no, I'm not, mate. Sorry. I was like, you might want to. Hold on. I said you might want to check again. I think I didn't even think to say, "Are you in the right fucking movie?" But I was like, no, I'm in. And I pulled my ticket up and I was like, D5, mate. I was going to tell you.
Right.
And I'm settled in. I haven't got any snacks. I've got this big. I stole Donna's big, what they call Stanley Cup. Sure. And I fucking filled it with Pepsi Max and smuggled that in.
You fucking walk in. Like, I walked in there with beer once.
That's what I mean by smuggle it in.
Yeah.
But and he's kind of like, well, there are seats. I'm like, dude, I'm not in your seat. Sort it out. And his girlfriend, bless her, is saying nothing, but he goes like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to like the counter and ask, can you come with me? And I went, no. I was like,
because I'm not your girlfriend.
But he's kind of being. He's not being. I wouldn't say he's being aggro, but he's not being very polite. Yeah. And I just went, no. I'm in my seat. I'm good. I was like, mate, with respect, I haven't got a problem.
Yeah.
Fucking go, And so he's like, I said, okay. I said, can I just see your fucking ticket for a minute? Because I'm starting to get a little bit antsy.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of sat there going, I'm sat down right now. I'm a foot taller than you. If I fucking stand up,
you're
gonna get upset. So I'm like, I said, okay, can I just see your fucking ticket? And he hands me he shows me his phone. I said, dude, you are fucking 3 hours early for your movie. He said fucking 10 o'clock. 10, I think mine finished at 10:30, it said 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so right film.
But here's the thing, and this is why I fucking hate people. He turns around and walks out. Doesn't say like, if that was me, I'd be like, mate, I'm fucking sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. What an idiot. He walks off. Mate, doesn't he say anything to his missus? And she's just like, and just follows him out. And then there's me, I just grab my fucking Stanley Cup, put my hand like, And these girls here are fucking hammering it, laughing. But the thing is, because I was like, how the fuck did he even get in?
Right, yeah.
But I remember
because
when
nobody looks.
Well, no, that's it. It's literally normally when you come upstairs, there's this young girl, because they only employ teenagers there, bless them. This young girl, it's true now, mate. There ain't anyone over fucking age of 17 there, mate.
There's a couple, but they only put them on like
right. But so when you get to the
overnight,
top, you show your ticket. They scan it, don't they? They've got like their own phones, so they scan it.
Yeah.
It was a running joke with me and Jessica that the guy, all their phones were always broken. They were the cracked screens.
well, no, that's not their. It's the.
That's what I mean,
it's
cinema ones, isn't it? So it's like they won't even fucking replace their scanners, you know. But so they normally do that.
Elevator's been out of action for like 17 years.
Oh, I know. all I did is I showed her the ticket. And I guess she just saw Sinners and went, yeah, screen 11, mate.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So I'm assuming they probably came out. She didn't look at the time. She didn't look at anything. She just saw that and went, screen 11.
Yeah.
And he walks off. And I was just... so I'm just sat there. And like people like turning around. And my whole demeanor was just like, you have a problem. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you.
I love cinema drama.
I don't know if I ever
mate,
told
it
you
was so
this
funny.
story, right? But a couple of years ago, I was taking Ava to view in the early mornings to watch like Turtles or something. I think.
Oh, yeah, the fucking early morning shows. They let you have a ticket for like 50p.
Yeah, and so
Put a kid there and you could sleep.
We've got there literally. I'd booked it online. I've walked in. You know, we already had our snacks. I've walked up the stairs and I had the ticket already on the phone. And the guy just nodded and went, "Yeah." And I looked at the ticket. I looked at the film and just walked. And I don't even know how I even got into that screening, but I walked into the screening and it was fucking pitch black. Like, not even the lights on the fucking stairs were on, but all I thought was, oh, it's early.
Yeah.
I'm just early. So we go and we find our seats.
40 minutes later, you're like, I may have fucked up.
Wait,
No.
10 minutes, we're sat there in the pitch black and I'm thinking, alright, something's up here. So then I go to the person and they're like, yeah, you're in the wrong screen. You're supposed to be in this one. So I get Ava and walking in the screen, and we just missed the fucking adverts. And I'm thinking, I've been sat there in the pitch black for fucking ages.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oops.
Yeah, so there
Yeah,
you
but
go.
Sinners, yeah.
But other than that, it was a great
Sinners.
viewing experience. It really
I'm
was. Yeah.
definitely buying that
I saw the trailers for like Clown in a Cornfield.
Oh,
we were
that's
talking
the one
about
I was
last week.
ragging about.
Oh, that's so
Fucking
funny. I got to admit, the bit where the girls are like, there's 3 girls,
Yeah.
and like one of them's like, so like she puts her hand over her mouth to quiet her, and
Yeah.
she's making, so the girl here puts her hand over, and then the clown comes over, puts her hand, hits his hand in her mouth, and I was like, that's fucking funny.
It was at that moment I was like, steam coming out.
I thought it was pretty
Gary
funny,
was
yeah.
hoping for a new Terrifier and instead he got
No,
a
I
new
just
Killer Clown.
now we're just
Same
seeing
dude.
the studio made like clown
Yeah.
movies. And it's like,
What was
oh,
it? There was a couple of. I'm trying to think of the adverts because there was one that I saw. Oh, I don't know if it was at cinema or if it was online today because Jordan Peele's got one that he's produced or something called
Yeah.
American Football one. That
Oh
looks
yeah,
like a
that
triple.
one looks
Okay.
really crazy. It
That's
looks like
he's not directed it. He's a
no,
producer.
yeah, he's produced.
he's
it,
working
but-
on his
But
own
Jordan
film
Peele
right
does
now.
have a
Yeah.
new one coming out.
Yeah.
The sports one looks really good, but it also makes me think of like a new Substance. From what I gathered
Yeah.
from the trailer, it's one of the Wayans, fucking Smokey.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans is it.
He is playing a really fucking intense fucking coach trying to get his team.
Yeah, it had what's it called
To-
Foxcatcher vibes. Doesn't it?
Yeah, to really, but it also feels like Substance kind of vibe. Like his
Yeah.
players are taking something, and it's gonna be looks intense. But
Yeah, there's a cool moment where you see like 'cause they're playing, they're all padded up obviously, and you see them like fucking wham, and it goes all like Mortal Kombat X-ray. Like that.
Yeah.
nice.
so
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's actually that's an update for you. Is fortunately I can't fucking I'm unable to carry on playing American football now with the team. Unfortunately, just nothing was. Unfortunately, didn't gel with
That's a
everything
shame.
else I was trying to do, so I just had
At
to
least
take
you
a back
tried.
seat.
You
I
experienced
did. I got
it.
on the team and
Yeah.
everything like that, and I was just like, I'm sorry guys, it's just nothing to them. They were asking so much
Yeah.
commitment of it that
and
I
you're
was just
trying-
like,
you can't
sure.
fit it in
dude,
with
the family is
family,
first,
work.
is next, and then
Yeah.
it's after
Everything
that
else.
is like whatever fits in. So yeah,
Fair,
that's
yeah.
a shame. But there you go. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty good. Yeah, go see Sinners, dude. It's fucking,
Yeah, I need to see
I
it.
really recommend as well, and I do recommend seeing it in the cinema. Or you need to see it with some good sound because one of the main plot points or themes really is that it's this amazing exploration of blues music.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and music sort of invoking, you know, like the past, the future, and how people sort of like, you know, how people treated it as, you know, when people talk about the devil's music,
Yeah.
they use it as a backdrop of like, you know, music can summon, you know, demons and from the past and the present to live
Sure.
among. And there's an amazing sort of like shot again without spoiling it that sort of encapsulates that visually. But I found myself just tapping my foot and like like nodding along.
yeah.
There's so
Okay.
many scenes, and there's so many different musical scenes. It's like it's someone. I was like, I think someone was like, "Is it a musical?" It's like, no, it's not a musical. It's just it uses music in a very interesting and clever way.
Like a musical.
Sure.
No,
Yeah,
no, in
I
a
mean,
good way.
I've had a string of mediocre to good films, so I'm hoping for something that's going to hit that high note. So
Yeah, it's been a rough start to the year. So
yeah. Well, I got some films to catch up on. The first one, I was looking for a film called Last Breath, and ended up watching a film called The Last Breath.
Which is a completely different
It's
film.
a
from
completely
Last
different
Breath
film.
that Gary was looking for.
The first one I want to talk about is the one that actually released in 2024 called The Last Breath. And this one is about a group of old college friends that reunite on a Caribbean scuba diving trip and explore the wreckage of a World War II battleship and then find themselves in an underwater labyrinth of rusted metal surrounded by great white sharks.
oh, that's why you kept watching it.
Yes, because it's a shark movie.
exactly.
You're like, this isn't the film I want. Oh, sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's a fish.
And
The plot was really thin.
it's starring no one you've ever heard of before, other than Julian Sands. And I was, because that was the other thing. I was like, shitty shark movie. I've never even heard of the title. I'm going to skip it. But Julian Sands is in it, so I was like, quickly go and
You
look this
weren't
up.
going to skip it, you fucking
Come here,
crack
who's
at
Julian
it.
Sands? Who's Julian Sands?
Warlock.
Warlock.
Boxing Heaven.
Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia.
Yeah,
Died on the
Arachnophobia, got
mountain
it.
because he went for a walk.
Yeah. And this is his last film. This was the last film he worked on before he went up the mountain. And so I was like, you know what? If this is his last film, I'm never going to see him in. Like, I'll give it a go. And you know what? I was okay with the fact that this is a shark movie, and most shark movies take place above water, right? This is a shark movie.
Really?
Well, they do. They're on boats for the
Not
most
if,
part.
not if you're the shark.
Right?
Yeah, like-
yeah, unless you're the shark. Of course, you're in the ocean.
Like 47 metres down
This
there,
is a
isn't it?
shark movie that takes place like 80% of the movie underwater. Because they've literally dived, they've gone into the wreckage, and now they can't get out of the wreckage because the sharks are around the boat. So they're running out of oxygen whilst they're trapped under this vessel. And the set I thought was great because it's an old World War II sunken vessel. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's boss.
so at least the background's interesting because it's all rusted and broken. The lighting's interesting, seeing the shark casting shadows over them as it's trying to find ways
Was
through
it
these
just
sunken
one
corridors.
shark?
No, there's more, of
Oh,
course,
yeah.
yeah. But it actually evoked imagery from like Jaws 3. One of my favourite scenes in Jaws 3 is the sequence
Space
where he's
shark.
swimming around the boat, right? And you can see he's on one level, the shark's above him.
No, it's George of Revenge.
Is that Jaws? Oh, yeah, Jaws the Revenge. You're right,
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
Jaws the Revenge. So Jaws the Revenge, one of my favourite parts of
You
that
know
film.
when you said Jaws 3, I was like,
No, wait, that's the
you
scuba-
like the
yeah,
scene
no.
in Jaws 3?
I was waiting.
I was like,
There
and
is
he's
the-
like Randy
the-
Quaid.
the- Is it the
No.
gameskeeper,
Yeah.
the games huntsman guy, the animal
in,
guy?
in Jaws 3, yeah.
In Jaws 3, I did like that sequence now, so there is one.
Yeah.
I'm a shark.
Oh, yeah,
I like shark
yeah, but,
movies.
yeah,
He likes
I was
shark
really
movies.
Fits the
struggling.
whole take.
I'm
So
surprised we
it was
haven't done-
interesting the fact they were always underwater for the most part, and they kind of have some pretty good masks. They've got like scuba diving gear,
So they can talk
where
to
you
each
can
other.
they can talk to each other,
Yeah.
and you can see their faces, and they've got lights. So I was like, I can see all the cast. I don't know any of you, or recognize any of you, or know what any of your names are.
Yeah.
But at least I can see you talking to each other. So I was like, so you can still have the dramatic whilst being underwater. And
That
all
would
the
be amazing
underwater
if they
shots.
didn't. They did the whole movie in sign language,
Yeah.
and stuff. You'd be like, what the fuck?
But they made some points for doing that. But yeah, so considering all of that, I was like, this is a kind of unique spin on doing a shark movie. But yeah, the effects not so great. Julian Sands not so great, and the outcome very predictable. So yeah,
So all in all, a
very
standard.
substandard shark movie. But if you like shark movies, this one I would say is passable. If you're just a horror enthusiast, just don't bother. Don't
He
bother.
says
You'll
substandard,
hate it.
but
You'll hate it.
He knows full well that next month there's going to drop
I'm
a
only talking to
trailer.
the fools
Yeah.
like me.
This is a
Shark
like, this
movie,
is
it'll be all
okay,
over.
but don't fucking at me when you've watched it.
I enjoyed the hour and a half. How long was it?
Yeah, hour and a half. Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah,
makes you
that's-
stand
that-
Hey,
there
that's
all
alright.
night,
At least
you
it's
know?
only an hour and a half.
Yeah. Okay, so the next Last Breath, which came out in 2025, stars Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, Finn Cole, and Cliff Curtis. And this one's the true story that followed a seasoned deep-sea diver as he battles the raging elements as they try to rescue their crew from their mate trapped at the bottom of the ocean floor. He
No
gets
sharks.
cut loose.
Sharks?
No sharks.
sharks.
Gay.
This is all about a Thunderbirds rescue unit now. It's basically just chronicling this real story of a diver that was trapped at the bottom of the ocean and literally ran out of breath. and for all intents and purposes died at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, this is a true story,
this
right?
This is a true story.
Okay, I think I've caught some of the documentary on this one.
I don't want to spoil it, but
Donna watched the documentary of this.
Yeah.
Because she watches every documentary.
Yeah, Linda's
But out of breath for a very long time. And yeah, so very compelling performances, some good acting, really tense moments. This was
literally the guy who's like officially been like dead the longest and been revived,
yes,
right?
Yeah, so fascinating.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, like 3 days.
Yeah,
it's true. But
Jessica asked
modern.
Jessica was like, when we were getting to it, she was like, you know, why is this called, like, you know, why is it called Good Friday or something? Sorry, she said, like, if it's Good Friday, it's Easter Sunday. It's like, what's Saturday? And I was like, well, it's Holy Saturday. She's like, why is it called that? I was like, because everyone was like, holy shit, where's Jesus? And she walked off with that face that said, I'm going to say that in school. And I was like, I'm going to get a call.
Yeah, see, this is why I make up shitty dad jokes so that Dylan doesn't do them in school.
Yeah, no, she's going to get in trouble. I want it to be something fucking...
Yeah.
Pull the gloves off, kid. Fucking do it.
So yeah, Last Breath with the Woody Harrelson, I think that one's worth a watch.
I'll give that one a go because I was really intrigued by the actual...
the story.
The real life story, so...
Yeah.
You're going to deep dive on it.
Next film that I watched is Novocaine, which is obviously a new film, 2025, starring Jack Quaid, Amber Midthunder, and Ray Nicholson. And the story follows Nate Kane, and when a girl of his dreams is kidnapped, Kane, incapable of feeling physical pain, turns his rare condition into an unexpected advantage in the fight to rescue her.
Great trailer.
Yeah.
Really good trailer, didn't it?
The trailer set everything up. No. And I found this was a fun film with some real nice, nasty injuries and bloody hand-to-hand fights with anything and everything as a weapon.
Of course it was going to be. Like...
The novelty of no selling the pain is kind of cool. It's very superhero-y. It has a few pacing issues and an obvious third act. But the acting is good. The action's satisfying. Yeah, it's not great. You know, it's not John Wick or Nobody, but I'd say it's worth a watch if you do like Jack Quaid.
That was for me. When I saw the trailer, it made me think of that other one that had come out where the guy was Groundhog Daying it, and where he was where he was just getting killed trying to save his girlfriend. Yeah, no, that's
Tom Cruise.
That's the Tom Cruise one. I'm thinking
about
that's
what I meant.
No, I'm talking about the one with the guy from Captain America who keeps getting killed. It's like Boss Movie or something.
Boss Level or something like that. Yeah, it's like the one with Mel Gibson in it.
Yeah, and I was like, I'll get around to watching that, and I just haven't. And then all of a sudden, Novocaine dropped, and I was like, Novocaine could be Upgrade all over again, just he hasn't got an upgrade. He just doesn't feel pain, and he has to save his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's alive, and I bet you he gets all the way through, and he'll come across some like 7-foot guy who just absolutely is killing everybody, but he can't feel pain, and he'll make it through. And I thought, you know what, one day I'll double bill that with that fucking boss. John Wick has come along and shown us how great fight sequences can be when you actually put effort
Well, so did
in.
The Raid, you know?
Yeah, The Raid.
It happens every so often where...
does it, The Grey did it, you know, at one point Liam Neeson was the badass, and now John Wick's the badass, and now they're waiting to find out who the next badass is.
Nobody too.
Well, that's the idea, is that Jack Quaid is not an obvious badass, right?
He will when they drop Novocaine 2.
Well, no, I thought from looking... Actually, I did think in the trailer that this kind of looked like more of the like they'd gone another way with it, where they were like, no, he's not going to be, you know, this unstoppable guy. He's lucking his way through this in a way, isn't he? So But the only thing I worried about when I watched it, I was like, my instant thought is, did we just watch all the best bits in the trailer?
Yes,
right.
Yes,
okay, that's what I thought.
The whole
not
idea,
uncommon,
because the trailer of him going,
you know,
where the torturer is trying to inflict pain on him, and he's like,
yeah. Oh shit! Yeah, I'm supposed to sell it. Yeah.
That's the moment in the film, where it's like, oh, that's the joke.
It had that, but I mean, it's one of those films. Where, is it at least like 90 minutes or something?
No, 2 hours.
It's almost 2 hours. Yeah,
that's not too bad.
And that's because the film. When I say pacing issue, the film takes a long time establishing his daily routine, all the other things that he can and cannot do as someone who cannot feel pain, like the foods. He can't eat any solid foods. Why? Because if he were to bite his tongue, he wouldn't know it, and he'd just eat his own tongue. So he can only have liquids. So there's lots of other stuff.
Does it have like a whole back history of his family life when he was younger about how he's...
It just shows his routine.
Literally he goes, I'm 25 and I can't feel pain.
And meeting somebody new and then starting to form a relationship. And then, so there's a lot of character build up to the reason why he would put himself through the things he does in the film for this person. So there's a lot of setup.
So the plot is really paper thin, but most of the money and effort.
I mean, it's an action film, but it tries to be a character-driven action film.
That's what I'm saying. John Wick's an action film, and it's got some depth to it. This sounds like an action movie.
It's got lore, but I wouldn't say it's got much depth.
Well, it has. It sets up this whole.
But this or John Wick?
The John Wick franchise, I would say, is not got much depth, but there's lots of lore.
I'm saying John Wick 1. John Wick 1 set up so well this guy who was so angry because his puppy had been killed, and you get told through the course of the movie that it was
the dog gets killed. You're motivated as an audience, like, go and kill them all.
This guy, Novocaine, can't feel pain.
Yeah.
Why?
Genetic disorder.
Genetic. Oh, it's genetic. From who?
The way he's born.
Well, that would be his mum and his dad.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the movie, the movie
listen,
doesn't explain this. It doesn't actually show you the back history of his mum or dad, right?
No.
That's what I'm saying. There's
How far do you want him to go?
Yeah, right.
What
you
I'm
want to?
Well, yeah, I do. For some.
Is this another one of those where you're upset because you don't see people filing their tax returns and going about their day job or something?
No, this is one of those movies that I looked at the trailer and thought, this looks really fucking shit, because you're basically just taking a concept where a guy can't feel pain and basing a whole entire action movie around it and hoping that I'll actually be more so entertained by it I won't question any parts of the plot, which when I do, like you have said, it's no John Wick, because when you compare it to something like John Wick, you actually get some good writing in that to go along with how John Wick can actually take on all. Because John Wick,
I just don't think you need to expect much out of a movie where he's like he feels no pain and he's going on a rampage. That's the hook, isn't it?
Yeah, like I said, that's why I'm not going to bother watching it, because I don't see anything in it to make me actually worthwhile actually sit through 2 hours of just nothing.
It's not 2 hours of just nothing now.
Yeah,
what it is, it's 2 hours of
I just don't think you need. Well, he has. Listen. He's explained it, because you're just saying it's like, okay, so he's got a genetic disorder and that's why he doesn't feel pain. I don't really know what more you need than that, because the only other way to go is sort of like what he does. He has something happens in the movie, right? It's the what's it called, like the superhero,
like Upgrade when he gets the upgrade in him.
Upgrade's way better, probably. I assume.
Exactly. From what I understand about Upgrade,
I would say Upgrade is better than Upgrade.
Thank you.
I don't know. I guess it's like it's keeping it simple.
But I also really like Jack Quaid, so I'm not.
I like Jack Quaid as well, but I think maybe after John Wick, after Upgrade, they are simplifying that concept a little bit too thinly now.
Well, like the one-man army thing, basically.
The one-man army
it's
with a simple concept,
man, you know?
which makes him invincible.
I guess that's what they're trying to do, is to sort of like go. They're trying to put another spin on that.
That's
one-man army.
And to me, this one just seems like a. Well, I'm not.
I don't know. I'll give this a go.
It's entertaining.
I just got as soon as I watched the trailer, I was like, that was a fun trailer. But in the back of my head, Lindsay went like, that's probably all the best stuff. Like,
it was, yeah. Okay, next film I want to bring up is Death of a Unicorn. Now, this one's got quite the cast.
I haven't done it.
Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd, David Pasquizzi, Richard E. Grant, Tia Leone, Will Poulter, and Anthony Carrigan.
Richard E. Grant, fucking awesome.
The story follows a father and daughter whom accidentally hit and kill a unicorn while en route to a weekend retreat, with his billionaire boss seeks to exploit the creature's miraculous curative properties. And now, for me, this was just another okay movie. It has some nice surprises, a great cast, and a cool original setup, but it never really runs with it. And when it does, the film's over. And then, there's some nice father-daughter moments with Jenna and Rudd, and some good laughs throughout the film, and there's a nice side of comical gore. But I think, most of the moments of the film have already been lost in memory. Nothing truly memorable or exciting, and the ending might also annoy you more than entertain you. So I would say this was only my lowest low recommendation before I wouldn't recommend it at all.
Bit of Cocaine Bear?
Cocaine, I'd rather watch that again.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. There's not a lot of real. The characters don't really.
Yeah,
you could give a fuck.
It was like my complaint in Monkey, where nobody felt like they were real people.
Right. Yeah.
That's what this felt like as well. They all just felt like real caricatures.
But that's the money behind the advertising, though. They spent money.
Yeah.
I saw posters for this movie. I was like,
but
it's a horror comedy with a unicorn killer. There's nothing quite like it.
For me, in the trailer, when the evil unicorn turned up, that was a really terrible special effect, and
that's also the last 20 minutes of the film.
And I was just like, while they were talking, I just gave it a quick wiki, and I was just like, it's a quick watch.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the cast are great. If you like any of those cast, watching them play off each other is kind of fun.
This is the kind of movie that it's like kind of... I'm just going to take a wild guess that it's like I would be able to probably watch it with, say, Jessica, even though it's a horror movie, it's not terrifying.
It's comical
probably, exactly. So it's probably something.
And everybody
that
loves Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there is. I say comical gore. There is one instance that's
yeah, she's fine. Yeah.
Okay, they went there.
I thought actually Jenna Ortega was one of the better parts of that fucking Beetlejuice movie because I thought she could have so easily just been Wednesday and phoned that in and didn't, and she actually played different. So I was like, all right, fair play.
Yeah,
one of the better things in that fucking movie.
Okay, my last film I want to catch you up on is a film called No Man's Land. Now this came out last year and it's only 29 minutes long. It's a short budget film made on a budget of 20,000. You can watch this on Dailymotion or
you could make
anywhere
a movie
else.
For 20,000 anymore.
Yeah, exactly. This is writer-director Christian Kennedy. And the story follows a battle-worn Imperial force of Australian soldiers that discover something sinister behind enemy lines in the hot, barren trenches of a remote Ottoman territory in a World War I battlefield. They find aliens,
Spoilers.
The aliens.
Not what?
Yes, alien. The xenomorph alien.
Oh, wow, so this is better than Romulus.
No. It's an Aliens fan film.
Wait.
Oh, okay. So it's like so it had a 20,000 budget because they had to keep the rest of the money for getting sued, or
no. I mean, there's been there was an Aliens Day celebration a few years back where loads of people made loads of fan films, and they were all played together. I don't know if this was delayed from that one or not.
At least this is a more original.
So basically, they got a bunch of the xenomorph suits, and then they.
Oh, that's cool.
Now the thing is, all of the World War I costumes, fantastic. They nailed it. The actors they put in there, they were all okay. There's one or two obviously which they hired for the big parts, mostly speaking parts. Especially the main actor, pretty decent. He's got this old war story of losing an entire regiment somewhere else to something similar.
He's giving it the fucking
Jaw
speech.
Whole thing. Yeah. So he's got history.
He could attempt to say that he's Predator.
And then, of course, they stumble across this abandoned outpost and they start going into the tunnels.
Right.
And then that's when you start hearing and feeling the alien atmosphere. And then the entire, battalion is completely torn apart by aliens. But it's 2-second cuts of the xenomorph suit reaching out. But then there's a few shots where the alien's head turns and you're there's it's just a puppet head. There's no salivating mouth. There's no inner jaw. There's nothing. And it's just soldiers being pulled away.
It's making me think
and
of
then
Batman.
When you get to the
That's
nest,
the vibes I thought of. Yeah.
the eggs.
Yeah.
The eggs look like they were made by children in a primary school as an art
probably
project.
by
you could see, the foam, everything. It was really cheap. But I was like, budget of 20,000. The fact that they got this far and made something. I almost turned it off multiple times. But I was but I was impressed with their ambition to try to do this, and I was like, it's interesting to watch aliens.
But budget 20,000 buys a lot of fucking patience in a way.
It does.
Fucking alien movie.
But at the same time, it's the amount of complaining everyone's done about alien Earth and how are they on Earth now this, and we're okay with them being in the trenches of World War One, are we?
It's a fan film.
Okay.
Fucking Alien Earth's gonna be a fucking fan film. I
thought it'd be worth bringing up for alien fans. You might want to go and check it out. It's called No Man's Land,
and it's better than Romulus. It's better than Romulus. There's no cousin fucking in it.
I will not say that.
Is there any cousin fucking in it?
No.
No, so it's better than Romulus.
You heard it first here.
Oh no, you got trailers.
Okay.
Never mind.
Some news. I should probably stop laughing.
Yes.
It's that time where we like to honour those in the industry that have passed on into the great beyond, and we have lost one of the greats recently.
Yep.
Val Kilmer has passed away at the age of 65. Val was diagnosed with throat cancer back in 2014 and sadly passed away due to pneumonia. He was an industry legend, got started in acting at the age of 17 and would star in many roles over the decades. From Top Secret in 1984, Real Genius in 85, Top Gun in 86,
I love it.
Willow in 88, The Doors 1991, Tombstone 1993, Batman Forever 1995, Heat 1995, The Ghost in the Darkness 1996, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang in 2005, and finally Top Gun Maverick in 2022.
Man, like I said, when my opening bit, I watched Batman Forever 2 weeks before he passed away, and so when he had, I was sad, but I was also really glad like I'd done that. It'd be like if Michael Keaton had passed, I'd be like, oh man, I'm so glad I knocked out those 2 Batman movies.
Yeah.
Batman Forever is not a great Batman movie. I mean, I think it is better than Batman Robin because of the performances you get in Batman Forever. But the fact that when you like watch behind the scenes documentaries where like Val Kilmer could not hear anything, the suit had no ear hole, sorry. So he was just being told to go to a place and do his lines, and he couldn't talk back to the director. So it was, even back then, Warner Brothers just had this whole control over the Batman series that the actors being thrust into the suit were just being paid to be moved around like
go
an action
and
figure.
sell your fucking Happy Meal.
Val
Off you
Kilmer,
go.
like I was saying this to people,
It's true.
the name,
It's a jumped up fucking toy advert.
just the name Val Kilmer sounds like a fucking star.
Oh, he's old school fucking Hollywood for sure.
Yeah,
like, you know,
I
that region,
absolutely
man.
love Top Secret. I think it's one of the fucking best comedies in the world. I really, like I said, I watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Twice he's worked with Alfred.
Fucking brilliant. Yeah, fucking loved him in Doors. Loved him in Heat. Loved him in The Ghost in Darkness. Love him in fucking Top Gun Maverick. Like Willow. Like
He's going down in the annals of history as one of the greats.
like I'm sure somebody could easily turn around and go, oh, this movie that Val Kilmer was in wasn't really good, but he was
good.
Do you know what? Do you know
MacGruber.
MacGruber. Do you know one I really, really want to watch, and I've always loved it?
Go
and
on.
it's a difficult one for some people to sit through. Wonderland. It's where he plays John Holmes, and John Holmes, who was a famous 1970s porn star,
Right.
he was involved in the
Oh,
Wonderland
shit.
murders.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
The people at Wonderland, they broke into this guy's house, they stole all his money, come back, and the people they broke into came back and murdered them, and John Holmes was there.
Spoilers.
And big spoilers. But they got Val Kilmer to play that role, and he just, because it flashbacks so much all over the course of the movie, trying to retell what led up to these things, he just is fucking outstanding. In it. I love Wonderland.
Yeah, so
We, I mean, when it happened, I think it was like a day or two later. Me and Donna ended up watching Tombstone together.
Nice.
I just fucking love that movie, man.
You know, when
Huge loss.
his final sequence where he's talking to Wyatt,
Yeah.
he is lying on Val Kilmer
Ice.
is
Yeah.
lying on a bed of ice.
So he can simulate the condition.
That's fucking how hardcore he
That's
was.
badass, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking badass.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
The only guy,
I'm in my
the
prime.
only actor who has had U.S. Marines fucking applaud him for
The
flawlessly
reloading.
fucking
Yeah.
reloading an M16 in the middle of a fucking battle.
I love that. I love that
Fucking love
interview
that
with that
sequence.
guy where he's like, "If you can't fucking cycle your weapon as fast as this actor, I'm kicking you off this." Fucking
Yeah.
It's like, yes, bitch.
Nice.
That was Val Kilmer.
Alrighty, well, next news. The Coyote versus Acme may yet have another chance at life and be released from the vault of tax write-offs.
Yeah.
But according to Deadline, a deal may yet be in the works. Negotiations are underway for the sale of Coyote versus Acme to Ketchup Entertainment, the US distributor who rescued and recently released fellow Looney Tunes film The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney
Okay.
Tunes movie on the big screen that released over here.
Okay.
Apparently the deal is not yet done though and could still fall through. But should it succeed, we'll hopefully get this released next year.
Do any
So
of
catch
us-
up, buy it.
This is John
Why-
Cena,
why do
right?
any-
It's John
This is
Cena's
John
in it,
Cena.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why do any of
It
us?
was co-written by James Gunn as well.
Why do any of us care about this fucking movie?
Because the buzz around the test
Yeah.
audiences was really high,
Yeah.
but the studio still had cold feet and decided to tax write it
What's
off.
the studio?
So this
Paramount.
is so
No, Warner
what,
Brothers.
What's,
Warner
what's
Brothers.
It's the
interesting
same ones
though,
that wrote off
this is what I'm saying.
Batgirl.
If
And
this is the other reason people are so interested in the news, because if they are able to do this, because the whole thing was that, you know, with like we said, we'll never see Batgirl because if they release it, they got to pay 20 million just in all this kind of stuff.
Until the contract's run out.
But if they can sell this, then it's kind of like, well, then there's chances they could sell some
Yeah,
other stuff to just to
But the
be
thing is,
distributed.
they can always do that.
And
because
that
obviously
screenshot from fucking Batgirl looked incredible.
the contracts that they set up
was
for
it Michael,
these things
Michael
only
Keaton?
have
I was really annoyed.
It just looked really tactile.
Sorry, Ian.
the contracts they have for these things only last like X amount of years until they sit down and they negotiate, and then they make another contract and they pay it off and stuff like that. So, like, they've made this film, they've tested it with audiences, they've gone, oh, we're going to lose money if we put this out, so we'll just put it on the shelf until it loses value, and then we'll sell it to somebody else for less than what we would have made less on if we'd released it ourselves, and then and then it will be released, and then we'll be able to get some money back anyway from it because technically we're involved.
Well, not if they sell the
because we'll help them
distribution
run.
rights.
If they sell everything, yes, but they won't sell everything because that would just be insane.
I don't know. I think they kind of have to. When they get rid of it, they have to, because otherwise it will affect them from a tax perspective.
They'll be done for fraud.
They won't have to. They won't have to. They either sell it or they don't, and they can negotiate what they want to have. They could have a 15% percentage of the intake when you put the film out. They can do anything. But the point I'm making is like Coyote versus Acme, when it comes out, it's going to be a kids film.
I fucking hope so.
Well, I'd imagine so, yeah.
Right. So
I mean, John Cena filmed this when he was still a good guy. So.
Right. But hear me out.
Reshoots.
Are we saying that a bunch of adults who don't have children are going to rush out and watch Coyote versus Acme to give it the money? No.
Do you know what? Honestly, mate, I sleep in a big bed with my wife. I don't fucking care. No, but I mean, I don't. I'm kind of like I don't
but
care
the same thing about
whether
Batgirl.
it comes out.
I love the premise of this film.
And makes £1 billion.
Yeah, but when was the last time you watched a Looney Tunes movie?
Well, a long time.
Exactly.
But Wile E. Coyote was one of my absolute favourites.
Well, in his defence, they haven't released one for him to watch.
Yeah, right.
When was the last time you sat down and thought, I'm gonna watch a couple of Wile E. Coyote cartoons? They're like the old school ones.
I don't.
That's kind of my point.
But I have a strong nostalgia for it, which is why I would go watch this movie.
And that's the thing.
Yes.
But they're waiting for the view and the value to drop on Coyote versus Acme so much so that they can sell it cheaply, so that when it goes out,
well, they want to sell it expensively.
Yeah.
They want to make money on it.
Yeah, they won't be selling it cheap.
And that's the reason why they haven't yet, because
Mate,
they want too much money.
I was going to say, if they were selling it cheap, the deal would be done.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
nobody cares.
I know, a lot of people do care. You're saying nobody cares.
Nobody cared about Space Jam 2.
Yeah, you got to remember, you don't care.
Nobody cared about Space Jam 2.
A lot of people obviously do.
Space Jam 2 came and went. Nobody cares.
So I didn't even watch the first one.
Even Warner Brothers don't care about that
basketball.
movies.
It's a different age group though now, isn't it?
Space Jam 1 was a big money maker back in the day because Warner Brothers and the Acme universe was big. Bugs Bunny was big. When was the last time you actually saw like anything involving Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, but I don't go out to watch it, but I don't know that it's not huge.
No, I'm saying it's not there. The generations have changed. You're going to try to sell this movie, hopefully, to really young children to revitalise the Acme world and Bugs Bunny. But it's the adults that are wanting to go out and either boost the movies and praise it or trash it. Nobody cares.
Well, I care, so you can't.
Right. Well, there you go. Gary's one person.
What do you care about, Coyote vs. Acme?
I really like James Gunn movies, and so if he's written a script, I kind of want to watch it.
Okay, but
the idea of it being a courtroom drama
and
with a coyote
is
suing
Acme
he wants to sue Acme.
So
there is a
you
nostalgic
want to
hook.
pay and watch it on the big screen.
Yeah, I'd quite like to.
Right, you're one person, so like you said,
he's going to buy 1 million tickets.
right. That's it. So
he's going to go twice.
I'm going to start a GoFundMe.
So that's it. They want everybody.
And if you don't get it, you're going to sue.
I got money from Acme, right?
I'm going to get John Cena to be my lawyer.
Yeah.
But you're one person. They actually want the family of 5 to go. Mum, dad, and 3 little kids.
Of course,
that's every movie.
For a family movie, yeah.
Even kids nowadays, you look at what happened with Minecraft. They wanted the kids to go see Minecraft,
and they did.
And instead, it was a bunch of young 20-year-olds go in because it all become a meme.
Yeah.
They made all the money. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. Obviously, Warner Brothers aren't making the money. They're trying to sell it off.
Alrighty, well, next piece of news.
I'm so going to see this movie now.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel is now in the works from writer Quentin Tarantino and director David Fincher. The plot is set to follow stuntman Cliff Booth, played again by Brad Pitt, who regularly works with Fincher. But no news yet if Leonardo DiCaprio will be returning as Rick Dalton.
Probably not.
Tarantino has previously expanded on Booth's life in his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood novelization, and the material which goes beyond the original film is in there. Will probably be the basis for his continued script, which Fincher will adapt and likely be for Netflix, as Fincher signed loads of deals with Netflix for various movies and shows. So very likely going to be a Netflix original. But yeah, that's good.
I fucking love Once Upon a Time.
I like this idea if it's done like this. It's kind of like it's not quite the same, but it's like, you know, like the Gentleman movie, and then they did the series,
and
it's not a continuation. It's kind of almost like inspired by
it's like
same similar worlds, you know. But the idea of, you know, just sequelizing the movie. And obviously it means, you can tell the story for longer, can't you?
Nobody kicks Bruce Lee's ass.
That was such a good scene. But yeah, it's funny that so what Dave says there. I saw that and I had to check the date. Is this an April Fool's?
Right.
I was like, what the fuck? Really? But then,
two artists.
Well, I read it and it was one of those where I was like, yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's got said Tarantino, so you have my attention.
And Fincher.
Attention at Tarantino. Yeah.
But no one wants this, Gary.
Oh damn it!
Oh no, they want that.
It's just one person.
They want that. They want that more than anything.
Oh, Netflix are going to shelve it.
Netflix shelved shit,
mate.
Well, they shelved me.
They'll at least give it two. They'll at least give it 2 seasons.
They're gonna get their money back.
Cliffhanger. Mate, fucking Netflix should buy the fucking Acme shit. And then fucking everybody can fucking watch, and they'll have to fuck off to the fucking cinema and have some fucking cunt come up there and tell you you're in the wrong fucking seat 3 hours early.
It does feel like something that Netflix would buy at the end of like a season where someone's like, fuck, I got $20 million. If I don't spend it, I don't get the same next year.
Right.
What's for sale? Acme versus fucking Cody? Sold.
Yeah.
Alrighty, a new video game in the works called Code Name Xeno. And it's being called the spiritual successor to Alien vs. Predator by the dev team that worked on Alien vs. Predator for the Atari Jaguar.
Yeah.
This new team has staff from Forza, GoldenEye 64 and The Sims, including the original development team of Alien vs. Predator. They've said that they've got this new IP that's set for release on PS5, PC and Xbox currently. Codename Xeno is being touted as a landmark open-world game of exploration, survival and high-stakes tension in combat. Jane Whitaker, the CEO of Athena World, said that it's been a very personal journey for them, who is also the AI and gameplay programmer designer for Alien vs. Predator. They said that so many people still talk about our work on AVP to this day. It still has a massive following. And I've been asked for over 30 years to create my next survival stealth strategy game. And I'm beyond thrilled to say that thanks to the generous support, my day has come. We're making a whole new monster hunting game. And this is not the Alien license or any attempt to copy it, but it gives us much more creative freedom to go crazy with our own creations. They also pointed out, like, Team 17 did Alien Breed, and that there's been all these other Aliens games, and that's what they're doing. So there will be xenomorphs, but it will be
with a Z.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like, man, that sounds really exciting.
There'll be purple.
Yeah, they'll be all palette swapped and stuff.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I've got some quick fire news for you.
Nice.
Not long ago, news broke out that Matthew Lillard will be returning to Woodsboro. But now it also seems David Arquette is rumoured to return in Scream 7 as Deputy Dewey Riley, despite being very dead.
Yeah.
So this film's got a lot of dead cast members coming back. I'm sorry, if you've not put up with Scream, you either don't care or you don't care.
I like, funny enough, so, out of all the Halloween series of films that we've done, we've not touched Scream yet.
It's because there's really like only one good one.
Or two with Timothy Oliphant and everything else.
But I do enjoy, like, 3 is the only one I really, really, really hate. I hate 3 a lot.
And that's why I won't watch any more, because
4 was okay. 5 was meh.
Do you know what? Honestly, I literally can't remember anything about like 4 and 5 at all. Scream, I love.
It's the same.
I like New York.
2 is kind of like
a different setting.
2's kind of like, yeah, okay, this is all right. 3 is I'm the same as you. That's where I kind of fell off franchise. So 4 and 5 I don't remember. So then I watched like 6 and 7. And I watched it with a kid and stuff. And like 6 was the one that really pissed me off.
That's the New York one.
And 6. Sorry, I watched with a kid, and I was like, no. So it must have been. Was it 5?
Yeah, it would be 5 and 6 with Jenny Ortega.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you. So it's 4. I can't remember.
And I've not watched them.
I thought there was 2 of them. 5 pissed me off because they basically kind of really insulted horror fans in it with what they did. It was
That's why I won't watch it.
It was a massive fuck you. 6 was kind of like just meh. It was just meh. That's the only way I can describe it, to be honest. So
better than Romulus, though. There's no
Alrighty,
no cousins in it.
Keanu Reeves has now confirmed that he's also coming back from the dead. Spoilers for John Wick 5. After appearing dead in the last film.
Well, we didn't see him dead.
No, this is true. He was
lying
buried.
there, and
something was buried.
Something was buried.
Yeah. I mean, they did that as an out.
Yeah.
So that if they wanted to do another one, they would. And Keanu pretty much said, I'll only come back if the script is good. Well, I'm guessing it's not been very bloody long, because now they're getting ready to roll on John Wick 5.
I just want his dog to come along and start scratching at the fucking bursts out of it.
At least can he come back as that dog guy from Freaked? So
Yeah.
now he's a combo.
So now he's the dog boy.
He's the dog boy trying to get revenge for his dead dog parents.
But there's two other John Wick movies also about to go into production as well. And I believe Donnie Yen is also directing or acting in
Probably
one
both.
of them as well. Doing both, yeah.
I really hope they don't burn the wick from both ends.
Well, it seems like it.
Deary me.
Okay, well, Sam Neill. Everyone loves Sam Neill.
Do love Sam Neill.
He's going from dinosaurs to kaijus. He's the latest casting in the next Godzilla X Kong sequel.
We need some goddamn integrity in this movie.
I was gonna
Get
say,
me Sam Neill.
I might be. I thought Sam Neill was going through like a medical thing.
He was,
Yeah,
I think he's
so,
okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, this
Yeah.
is a chance for him to at least either get back in front of the screen and continue, or at least.
I hope he has a prominent role.
I'm hoping at least
He's not the opening kill.
Well, I'm at least hoping, because I remember when Bruce Willis was knocking out a lot of like really duff movies, that I was thinking something must be wrong if you're doing that.
Because he's about to retire.
Paycheck.
And I'm not, fingers crossed, I'm not saying that that's the thing that might be with Sam Neill, but at least I'd hope that.
Dude, those movies make money, to be fair. So
Yeah,
he
he at least does prominent roles in not so great movies that we go, oh, Sam Neill's
You
in it,
know,
yeah.
I came in the other day, Jessica was watching Thor Love and Thunder.
I
and
love
it was
Thor, Love
just
and
that
Thunder.
moment where he's on stage as Odin and he pulls the glitter out and he's like, look, I'm fading. I'm putting away. I was like, that might be the best bit of the movie.
I love Gore the God Killer. I fucking love Thor and Love and Thunder.
It's so funny.
Stick that in your Acme fucking coat movie, motherfucker.
What, that piece of shit movie?
At least it got released.
Yeah, because fucking Disney release all kinds of shit these
And they
days.
do, and they make money from
don't
it.
know, I mean,
not like Warner Brothers.
Unlike Snow White, right?
But you can.
Unlike Batman.
They're still making. They make more money through Disneyland on a daily basis than what Snow White
Not
did.
Star Wars Disneyland.
Not Star Wars.
Yeah, no.
Well, speaking of Star Wars,
Yeah.
a new Star Wars film announcement.
It's Kathleen Kennedy under my bed.
Oh god, she's still going. The rumours of her leaving were fabricated lies that just keep ruining everything.
She's the dark force.
Wouldn't it
planning
be
our
amazing
minds.
if there was an argument in the boardroom and they were like, ah, you've got to go. Everyone hates you. She's like, no, they don't. I'll show you. I'm going to announce I'm leaving just to see what the internet does. And she was just like, oh, shit. Well, fine. Now I'm going to spite them.
No, I'm not going. Well, no, she stood there like fucking Emperor Palpatine and fucking Red Zip, like, yeah, let me feel your hell.
Your
What a
hatred
chicken, make her
fuels me.
They shot her and they just brought out another clone. She's like, you can't stop
She's going
me.
to come out like 20 years younger, rejuvenated from all the hate.
Somehow, Kathleen Kennedy returned.
Yes.
Right, but yeah,
But
sorry.
the big twist
I
for
was,
this
I
is
was
that-
excited for this, though.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling has
Yeah.
been cast to lead in the new Starfighter. When I saw the title, I was like, is Star Wars doing the last
Last Starfighter?
Starfighter? Right? I was like, well, Ryan Gosling, actually, he could do that. But yeah, so...
John Favreau, man.
Yeah, Jon Favreau.
Like-
I mean, he was there to talk about the Mandalorian Grogu movie that's coming out next before the other 4 Star Wars films go into production. There's another one of them.
It may have been an April Fool's. I didn't actually check the date of it or whatever, but there was an announcement that Ryan Gosling might be helping with a remake of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
No idea.
I have no idea
saw
on that one either.
I'm wondering if that was April Fool's. If it was April
that
Fool's,
might have
I'm
been.
glad I fell
Maybe you
for it.
dreamed it.
If not, if it's true that Ryan Gosling is just working with all this shit, go the fuck ahead, dude, because Ryan Gosling, yes. All the yes. I don't know, like, Ryan Gosling wants to feed me glass? Okay.
Alrighty, now here's a film sequel that I am excited for.
Yeah.
Ready or Not. And they've also announced the film's title, Ready or Not, Here I Come.
Man, with Samara Weaving and fucking Sarah Michelle Gellar in it,
Well, that's it.
I am that title.
Sarah Michelle Gellar has joined the cast along with Elijah Wood and legendary horror filmmaker David Cronenberg, and I believe filming is due to begin this week. So I'm
The first
I'm
one
happy.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Samara Weaving should get fucking a lot
She's
of
my
fucking roles.
number 1 scream queen of modern times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, we got some trailers to go over.
real
we
quick
take a
one
small
before you
break?
start, since we're on the trailers as well.
Yeah.
I assume you've seen it because I don't think it's in your thing, but saw the new trailer for 28 Years Later yesterday.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It was in the cinema, so I had no choice. I was kind of like, I did the like, I'm gonna.
You could have just, you know.
Do you know what, mate? As soon as it started, I was like, I know exactly what this is because it had that really thumping sort of like, you know,
soundtrack.
I mean, it looked good.
It's promising.
Did it show? I wouldn't even say it necessarily showed too much.
Zombie
but it was,
attack gore is what I read in a headline
it looked
yesterday.
very visceral, but I was kind of like,
the story.
Fucking should
Yeah.
be.
The story's got to work.
Well,
Yeah,
it's the beginning of a trilogy, so
Well, that's my
Yeah.
only other issue is that if they set things up in this and they don't get to pay it off, it's going to be just.
second film's already finished filming.
Sorry, another
so,
one.
Yeah.
Did they film this fucking thing on an iPhone? Is that right? Is this the one that they filmed on an iPhone?
Supposedly,
Because that's the one thing when I was watching the trailer, I kind of was like, that just popped into my head, and I was like, it doesn't look like it's done on an iPhone.
The camera work looks like.
But by the way, sorry, that's the other thing is when you go see Sinners, fucking go to IMAX because I wished I'd seen it in IMAX. I think it is shown in it, so go and see it in that because it's worth it. But
I also, before we do the trailer, did you put the trailer for I Know What You Did Last Summer on there?
No.
oh, sorry. Do you know what I did see? It's funny
you
you
see
mentioned
that
about that
trailer?
one. Yeah, but because also I saw
Freddie Prinze.
Final Destination Bloodlines.
Nice. I haven't seen the full.
Final
I've only seen the
Destination
teaser
Bloodlines.
still.
That's the one I saw with the fucking chain.
Yeah,
and I was like,
the tattoo
amazing.
parlor.
that's cool.
Yes.
Before we get into some of the good trailers that we saw, I watched the trailer for I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, I know a lot of people complain that
If Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Wait. I know a lot of
Said
people
something else.
complain that I rant a lot about movies
Yeah.
and that I'm
We know who
very
the killer is.
opinionated and stuff like that.
It's Will Benson.
This trailer is such a giant pile of wank. I cannot even believe that I didn't just smash my phone against the wall after watching it, right? Because you've got 5 kids living in the same fucking town who are obviously being
Is
tormented.
it an urban legend now about the fisherman killer?
Right, let me know.
Sorry, master.
You get this boy and this girl who are at this house, and it's set up kind of like a Scream thing, and then the girl goes off to go in the bath, and the boy gets harpooned and gets pulled, and then the killer turns up with this hook. And I'm like, this is fucking bullshit, because these friends supposedly did something the year before, and this killer, who could have probably gotten away with whatever they got involved in when he did it, has waited an entire year to come back because they're in the same town.
You watched Halloween Ends and was like, right, I need to hide in a sewer.
Because they're in the same town, because Freddie Prinze Jr., there's a cop doing a talk about how these kids are being killed and they're investigating it, and Freddie Prinze Jr. comes out the crowd going, well, actually, there's a bit of a history involving these. And I'm like, oh, you're fucking kidding me. You're actually...
He's the exposition lore guy.
Yeah, you're actually saying that the
meta as fuck,
the killer has stolen the idea from what happened before to dress up as this killer because he thought it was a good idea and nobody talked about the second one. But
Is there another franchise that's ever done that?
But the lead girl does go up to Jennifer Love Hewitt, who does one of those dramatic trailer turnarounds. You see the back of her head, and she turns around, and she's like,
and it's Joe Hendry,
and you're like, oh my god! And she goes, "There's only one thing I need to know." And I paused my trailer, I looked at Linda, and went, "I know, I need to know what you did last summer."
Yeah.
And Linda looked at me, and I hit play, and she said the same thing. And I went, "Fuck you, bitch, fuck you." So,
at this point, he was kicked out of Weatherspoons.
Fuck that film. Fuck that trailer. It's going to be worse than Romulus. It's going to be worse than Halloween Ends. It's going to be
worse than Scream.
It's fucking, oh my god. Oh, it's so shit. There's no way they're going to save this fucking movie. I don't even care. I
still like the original one.
I know.
Yeah, I like that first one.
Yeah. You just know that one of the survivors or one of the friends is gonna turn out to be the killer and go, the reason why I'm killing you all is because
you cheated on me. Because you ran over my big toe.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid, isn't it? But yeah, the Final Destination one is just a teaser trailer. Did you see that one?
I've seen the teaser trailer and the one in the
There's the
store.
theatrical one
in
now.
the store.
Yeah, where he's...
And did you see the one with the garden?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, the one with the garden was fucking funky as fuck.
Do you know what's great? Is like if they're basically just selling this as like, we're gonna just give you gnarly kill after gnarly kill after gnarly kill.
Right.
I'm like, great,
No, right.
fucking that's all you need to do.
I don't mean this.
Because also there was
right?
no, but I saw the picture of Tony Todd from it. And
Tony
he looks
Todd's
so
in it, right?
Well,
gone, doesn't
yeah.
there's
There's
such a shame.
the kind of spoilers because of the trailer. There's a granny who has a book About.
I'm right here. You don't have to fucking yell at me. I'm right here.
I was
She's
excited.
been taking notes. She watched all the movies.
She has. She opened up this book.
She's got
and
the
it's like,
plane,
there's
the car pile,
the car park,
the
the
theme
fucking
park.
train, the track. And it turns out, like, during the 1950s, she went on a date and she had a premonition.
She's deaf.
And she avoided it, and so Death has been kind of trying to chase her whole entire family.
And all the events of all the other films have all been in some way
connected
to get this one woman that started it all in the beginning. I don't know. That's my theory. It's going to connect them all because of the bloodline.
Yeah, so
that one I'm watching because me and Jessica watched them through recently. I think all but like maybe the last one, second to last one, but yeah, she likes those. That what was it? Watching her on the one with the two girls die in the fucking sunbeds. She cackled so much I was a little bit worried about her. I was like, all right, you fucking sociopath. She's like, that is funny as balls.
Yeah, they're good fun films.
They are fun films.
I mean, there are some weekend treats.
They know what they are.
Like
but they at least know what they are.
Yeah.
And the one time they tried to be a little bit clever, they were actually quite clever when it loops back round.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, that was great.
Fucking
Great
slow
little
golf
twist.
clap. Yeah, nicely done. They don't try and do too much. They know what their audience is.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, the first trailer I also want to bring up is the new Naked Gun trailer.
Yeah.
The Police Squad, the new version. And for me, it seems like they nailed the tone, and the trailer definitely got a couple of laughs from me. This could still be a train wreck, but I think the world is, ready for some good old-fashioned absurd humor.
Yeah.
I think spoof's a great idea. I'd love to see him come back because they're one of my favourite genres. To be honest. I love the Naked Gun movies. I love obviously the airplane movies. We talked about a bunch,
Loaded
and I love
Weapon.
the fucking loaded weapon.
Loaded Weapon's
I
amazing.
love the original Police Squad show as well.
Yeah,
we talked about. This trailer, I gotta admit, did this to me because I kind of was like, Liam Neeson pops up, and when he does the pose in the skirt, I was like, like
cringe.
that wasn't the spoof humor that Leslie Nielsen did. Leslie Nielsen was way smarter than that. And it was actually, this sounds funny considering what kind of movies they were, but almost more sophisticated. But when they're in the fucking, looking at the pictures,
attributing all of the fallen,
and like you said, mate, you play Stingrays in it, which I was like, so sorry, I was like, great casting. And then it goes to the black guy looking at O.J. Simpson's Norberg picture.
Because
then you get like, first of all, you get Frank Drebin go, I'm sorry, Dad. And then it's like, I'm sorry, Dad. And he just looks at the camera like, I was like, that's fucking funny. I was like, okay.
Absolutely. So it was that moment that I was like, I'm in now.
It might be up and down, but I was like, you saved it at the end with that joke.
I like the idea as well that Pamela Anderson's in it. I'm hoping that she's the
she's got a dick again.
I'm hoping
Smith.
that she's the head of Police Squad.
Right.
And then I'm hoping that she turns out to be the evil person behind the whole thing behind it. And she whips off a mask or something. That'd be fucking great.
Alright, next trailer is Predator, Killer of Killers, an animated anthology Predator film that spans across the ages. Dan Trachtenberg's Prey was the launching point, and now we have more Predator media coming than ever before.
All over the shop.
With this animated film to hold us over until the live-action Badlands releases. This time we get to see the Predator go to battle against the samurai, versus the Vikings, and versus World War II fighter pilots. I think this looks absolutely incredible. It's coming out on the 6th of June, so we don't have long to wait now for this one.
No,
I love the art style.
Yeah.
It looks very much like it was the Netflix show.
Love and Robots and shit.
No, it was
Secret Level.
No.
Kengan Azura.
No, it was the one about the two battling sisters.
Oh, the
Based on the
Battling
video
Sisters.
game.
Two girls with
Borderlands. No.
No.
Battle Arena to
But it has
Shinden.
an art style very reminiscent of that. And it looks like they've got some... They're not shying away from any of the gore either, and the trailer highlights some of that.
You're thinking Arcane.
Arcane, thank you, Ian. Yes,
well,
that was the one.
it's an anthology, so I'm assuming it's going to be some maybe good, some maybe shit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm going to watch it.
Is
Because it's got a Predator in it.
the people gonna die?
The Predator Badlands trailer has recently dropped with Ellie Fanning and Demetrius Schuster
Yeah.
Go on, have a punt.
Yeah, go on in.
Kolomatangi?
Kolo Amagatanga.
That's the Predator.
Yeah.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. I'm
Bless you.
sorry, I bless his name.
Yeah.
There's stunning shots of some interstellar landscapes, the predator rituals and training grounds, Weyland-Yutani androids, giant monsters,
Big
dinosaur-looking
fucking
creatures,
Yep.
coming out on the 7th of November.
That is too far away.
And no cousin fucking.
But
Not that you've
A
seen
very-
yet.
Well, yeah, if it turns out that's the reason why he gets kicked out of his clan, then yeah, I'm out of the movie.
That
So-
would be amazing.
I have to ask, what do you guys think of the Predator?
I thought he looked great. It's like a
That's
young fucking.
what-
He looked different. We talked earlier, didn't we, about like we said, like we were comparing the Predators, saying about the first.
Yeah.
It is pretty much the first couple were the best in general.
Iconic, yeah.
I loved the one in Prey, and we all kind of agreed that like the one in Prey, it's like it's practical, touched up with CGI, and we like that's the way to go. I would have thought.
It reminds me of the Berserkers from Predators.
So you can have prosthetics,
a little bit.
You know, animated
there's
mandibles
been
and
so
stuff.
many different, and you've got so much more artistic license with Predators than you do with the Aliens, I think, because you've seen so many different versions.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought it looked great in the trailer. There was like the picture of it, like face on, and it looks a little bit fucking. It looks, it's just not in motion, so it doesn't look as good.
It looks like somebody snapped a surprise photo.
Yeah, a
and the
little
flash
bit.
went off, and he was like.
This is why it was a teasing
But then, like the exact
trailer.
next frame, he looks great.
They teased it out there for everybody to look at, so then they see what the reactions are. And obviously, what made me laugh is that, like, we do it, and we're all guilty of it, but everybody tried to make out like they know what to do with special effects. Like, everybody looked at the image and went, "Oh yeah, that looked terrible," and I'm like, right, so somebody in an office somewhere just has to touch it up over the next 8 hours or a couple of months to make the lighting look right and stuff like that. You making a big, massive deal about it all over Twitter doesn't do anything because you actually...
It does. I mean, it did with Sonic.
Now Sonic looked shit.
But there was
Sonic
a big kickoff about
and
it.
there was a big kickoff. But what I'm saying is Sonic looked shit and they changed it. Some VFX artist sat there at a computer and worked on it. None of us Joes know how to do that. So... They will fix it. Don't worry, kids.
I don't think it needs that much fixing, to be honest.
Some people don't think
I don't think they will fix it either.
Because if you watched The Predator, and you saw that 8-foot CGI fucking thing they had running around,
I never want to see that again.
Yeah, but do you remember like where you see at the end of like the Predator killer suit, and you were like, do you know what? Nothing else is that bad. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was saying to you guys before we started the podcast, I was on I saw a picture. It had that picture of it face on, which admittedly it's not a great picture.
It doesn't look good in the still.
It is like that picture of fucking Rachel
Warhead
Zegler from Snow White, where she's like
Dark face.
But and I'd seen the trailer first, so when I first saw the picture, I was just like, oh, it's just a fucking still. It doesn't look great.
Do it justice.
But someone in the comments had put a picture, and all they'd done is they put the original hair
The
on
dreads.
it and sat there like fixed it, and I was like, I couldn't help but write. I was like, cunt, you just took its scrunchy out, calm down, fixed it. Like it's got its hair tied back, and you just fucking put it down, whatever. It's like, everyone's such a fucking expert. And it's like, I watched the trailer, in motion. I thought it looked good.
In motion, I was still looking at it like that's not the Predator we're following in this film, right?
Yeah.
Like
when it was running through, there was loads of explosions around and stuff. I thought it looked really fucking.
I like the fucking was it swords
I just
or whips?
For me, it's just a big downgrade. Like I was like in 1987, we had the Predator, and it looks so cool in every image, in every still image from every angle. It looked cool.
There's a multiverse right now where we're watching this trailer, but in the original they never fired Jean-Claude Van Damme, and it looks like that, and we're like, how good's the new Predator look?
Oh my god!
Yeah. So for me, it just doesn't.
Listen, I would say a lot of people react when they first saw the Prey Predator because he's got that bone mask, and people freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Let's watch it.
That's why.
And again, it's like Prey bought a lot of fucking
goodwill.
I
think the film looks. The trailer, I think, is great. I think it's a great trailer.
They drop it out there.
It's given me.
The reactions are. Then they fix it. Same with Naked Gun. This is also my only other problem with the Alien Earth stuff, because we've had one teaser trailer for Predator, and people are like, "Oh, the only bad thing I can see is the way he looks." That can be easily rectified. We've had like 3 teaser trailers for Alien Earth, and I know people are kind of hit with the nostalgic hits of how it all looks, but that
because it's selling it on its visuals and audio, but no character or story.
It's and like I said, they're testing it.
The presumption that it has either of those.
None of that. And they're visual. So November 7th, and why is that cool? Why is that cool, guys? Why is November 7th cool?
It's not your birthday.
Wait, it's 2 days before my birthday.
It's not your birthday, though.
My birthday's
so random.
Just so you know,
2 days before.
My birthday's gonna be on a Sunday this year because that movie drops on the Friday.
But I'm gonna guess you're still not gonna go to cinema to see it.
No, fuck that.
I'll go with you on that one. We'll do that one together.
I'm gonna wait for it to drop on Disney Plus at Christmas time and then watch it on the big screen before Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hope so, because they're taking fucking ages to put stuff on Disney Plus, and they're really milking shit. And I'm like, come on. I'm like, listen, Disney, I'm not paying to see the new Captain America, right? So
I'd
just
love to see this in the cinema, but at the same time, if I go there and some cunt turns up and tells me that I'm
You're in the
sitting
wrong
in their
seat.
chair 3 hours before they're supposed to go to a movie, or I have some.
Hey, no, wait a minute. Sorry, just one thing. They didn't even drop Prey in the cinema, did they? That went
No,
straight to
that,
stream, didn't it?
yeah, but
Oh,
because
okay.
it did so well,
Right on,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah, no,
this
that's
one
what I was
is.
thinking of,
And it's
yeah.
also why the last Alien film did, because that was going to
You
go
imagine
streaming
if they do it
Romulus.
Imagine if they do it both. They're just like, all right, we'll just drop it on the cinema and on streaming if you want to watch it.
I'd quite
It
happily still
probably
go to
will
the
be.
cinema. and
Yeah,
see it
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have the option. Oh,
Yeah.
should we watch it?
I think more films will do that. In
yeah,
the
I
future,
think-
yeah.
Just fuck it. You save yourself some fucking money.
Yeah.
Let's get some Predator in. Come on.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, that's going to conclude this part of the podcast. We're going to take a small break, but when we come back, we'll be discussing WrestleMania.
The Colossal Tussle!
Woo! And welcome back to the second part of the podcast where we're going to be discussing WrestleMania 41. And for this, I'm going to pass you over to Andy.
Hi. Alright, so the 41st WrestleMania coming from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. So this one had I noticed that they kept the Raw style opening to this one, so we get to see certain, competitors arrive, and you get a little tail of the tape from Michael Cole again. We get Triple H coming out to, you know who that is. Triple H coming out to welcome everyone to WrestleMania, talking about how this is the first one watched by the entire globe, because I believe this is the first one of the Netflix era, so
That's
it is
right.
being seen by the most. I think this one was a great stage as well in Vegas. It's like huge skyscrapers
I think
up, and
that's
you
the
had,
message, Ian. I was like, the
stage is amazing,
was
wasn't
so
it?
impressive.
and you had
Yeah.
seating in
They were-
the stage,
Yeah.
which was nuts. That's the first time they've done that.
Why? But
I thought that the hanging banners were AI at first as well. I thought
Really?
when they
I did as
when
well.
they do the big like Roman Reigns that
Yeah.
pops up, until I noticed like
they were real.
they were real. I was
and then
shit,
I thought,
well done.
oh shit, Final Destination. If any
I
of
know,
them
it's,
snap,
yeah, it does.
they're
It
like,
does
if
have
any
that,
of
doesn't
them
it?
go, we got a fucking mascot thing.
And just before we start as well, I just got to shout out fucking Wade Barrett, WrestleMania debut,
Fuck
3-man
yeah.
booth, which I'm not always a fan of. I prefer the 2-man format normally, but Michael Cole, Wade Barrett,
Yeah.
and Pat, great.
I'm
It seems
glad
like everyone brought something different, didn't they?
I'm glad you brought that up now. I'll say it now as well. I've got it in my notes. Absolutely love the commentators this year. They actually
killed
kept me
it.
going. A few WrestleManias, I think I get bored, and maybe it is because of the 2-man thing, because I've listened to two people so much that I was just like, that's absolutely terrible.
Is there a fucking dog downstairs?
There's a dog outside, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's outside.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's right.
Sorry, I know we're podcast, but I see a dog. I'm gonna fucking go settle in with the dog. Sorry.
But Wade Barrett, who is obviously an old British wrestler, working for WWE, he's been on commentators for a while, doing NXT.
He's
and
a
stuff like
brilliant commentator. He really is. Yeah.
Yeah, first 2-night WrestleMania with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, and the energy was there. It was
Yeah.
like you could feel, especially with Wade Barrett, he was
And the
excited to
fact
be
they
there
didn't
and happy
swap,
to be
because they've
there.
done that before, didn't they? Where they'd pull like the SmackDown, and that was, obviously Wade's on
Yeah.
SmackDown and stuff like that. So yeah, it was brilliant. So we got our opening match, which is Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. And to be
Yes.
fair, I was like, I think I said, I was like, I thought this would open the show. It's a high energy match to open, because the entire crowd's about to stand up and do this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it makes perfect sense
We've
to put
known
on.
I
about
agree.
this match since
Yeah.
January, since the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
So just get it out of the way right now.
Jay won the Rumble, so he's going to go first. And I'll say this: I wrote down Jay is fucking over. The crowd were nuts. Crowd energy for this one was massive. I felt really bad for whoever was going on second, because I was like, this. I mean, having been to a few wrestling shows, fatigue's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a weird start. I was like, what's up with Jay's arm? He was like favoring his arm and sat in the corner for a little bit, and I was like, is this gonna be like a weird start? But he actually ends up coming out strong. Obviously, he's telling the story how he's like 0-3 against Gunther at this point. Somebody's never beaten him. So he comes out strong. Gunther does Gunther, with Jay sort of like trying to pick the tempo up. And I will admit, it was more than just super kicks. There was a bit more substance to it than normal for a Jey Uso match, which was good. There's a lot of stop and start, showing Gunther's power. That's how Gunther works. He tends to like chop you down and then you pull back against him, which was good. The crowd were there for absolutely everything that Jay does. We got finisher kickouts and reversals. Gunther actually at one point goes to leave. He grabs his belt, and as Jay comes to dive out against him, he knocks the ref out of the way, and Gunther fucking twats him with the belt.
Yeah.
Gets up and splashes him, which I was like, that could have been the ending, but we get a kick out. Gunther puts Jay in the sleeper, which is, apart from being his finisher move, they sell it on commentary as a callback to him choking his brother out a few weeks before on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Crowd at this point are going fucking yeet mad, and Jay uses that to get to the ropes, which is great. more back and forth with Jay getting the upper hand. Jay ends up doing 3 Uso splashes.
Because one's not enough anymore.
Well, it never is. But I mean, I didn't find that in this one because Gunther's a badass. But then
a heavy target.
The one contentious thing, apart from if you didn't like, who won it, but Jay then puts Gunther in the choke, which was great. But Gunther taps out really fast.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very quick tap out. But again, I will say he has just been hit by 3 finishers. So Jay Uso's your new World Heavyweight Champion. Huge pop from the crowd. Great. Feel-good moment, I will say, to start the show off. His brother Jimmy comes out to celebrate with him. They leave through the crowd.
Now,
what do we think of the opening match?
I absolutely loved the opening match on the simple idea alone. Main event Jey Uso.
Finally pushing Jay to what he should be, right?
Has won the Royal Rumble. They've been pushing him for months. He's got Yeet over. He's got his merchandise. He is the Samoan John Cena if you want him to be. You just need to put a belt on him or the main event stuff, and the Yeeting loses momentum real fast.
I'll agree. It's like, if we weren't going to do it now, when were you going to do it, to be honest?
Gunther is your boss, and Gunther has been your champion for an incredibly long time, but didn't really take on anybody. Jey Uso was probably his first rivalry. With the championship,
I gotta admit, there was nothing
Zayn,
huge of note.
Like if anything, Gunther was always. I always felt Gunther should have won at WrestleMania and then lost it on Raw to keep the build up on Jay. But now you've pulled the trigger on Jay. You got to keep that momentum
I think
going.
you'd have killed the crowd. You'd have killed that crowd dead, wouldn't you? Yeah.
But you had to give Gunther his time off. Let's be realistic. If you're a wrestling fan, he's sports. He's been carrying title for.
Well, he's now suspended indefinitely.
Yeah,
what?
Because he beat up. Obviously, but on Raw after Mania, he beat up Michael Cole and Pat McAfee,
and he's suspended indefinitely. So he's going to be off for about.
He's having a break. It's a great idea. No, but it's a great idea with such a stacked roster to rotate people out. But
that's why I love it.
What did you make of the first match?
Yeah.
Because you'd watched the Rumble, hadn't you? So you were
I
aware of the story of that.
Watching the moment WWE was on Netflix, I've watched mostly every Raw.
Yeah.
I only missed 1 or 2 really.
He mostly watches Raw. Mostly.
But I don't watch SmackDown, NXT, or any other wrestling at the moment. That was enough.
Yeah.
And it was mainly because last year I started playing WWE 2K24.
Started learning the roster.
No, absolutely right. And the weirdest thing is I used to grow up playing video games and then they'd make movies about them. I haven't watched wrestling properly in 20 years, so I'm playing a wrestling game. I don't know who any of these people are. And then I see them in live action. I'm like, oh, they made a TV show about these people. It's a weird disconnect.
Oh, they made a show based on the game. Wrestling fans like, you motherfucker.
Right.
It's alright, the finish is fake.
So yeah, I've dipped my toes back into wrestling. Obviously, if you remember, I think it was one of the podcast 50 something we did a WrestleMania podcast. I basically had no input on that other than the main event stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've kind of been dipping my toes back into wrestling, and the opening match of Raw on Netflix was the very first wrestler I got introduced to was Jey Uso. And I saw Michael Cole and Pat McAfee get up on the announcer's desk yeeting, and I was like, oh, I'm watching this. What am I doing? This is not how you get me back in.
This is so sensible.
And then 2 weeks later, when that music hit, I was like, yeet!
Because you played 12 hours.
I guess I like Jey Uso.
That's the thing, man. Yeah.
That energy was infectious.
Whether you like it or not, he got that shit over. And if I was in that crowd, I'd have been fucking doing it.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, I'm gonna pay for this.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, I have tapped into wrestling and watched Undertaker retire and Triple H retire and some other matches here and there with names that I remember when Edge came back, and I was like, I'm going to tune in to see some Edge, and. So I knew who Gunther was before watching Raw on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I already thought he was intimidating, powerful,
phenomenal.
and impressive in the ring. Don't much like his character, his persona, I suppose. But his
that's good. You're not supposed to.
Exactly. But his in-ring ability, I was like, he is a champion. He is good on the ability. So the whole storyline build-up with those two, I felt, had more energy, more personal stakes, and more anything than any match going into WrestleMania. The Cena heel turn, fine. and the whole Paul Heyman, who's he a friend with, his best friend, the person he's helped.
The custody of Paul Heyman ladder match.
Yeah, exactly. So I was I was more invested in this match, and so no surprise, it was the opening match because I felt going to be a big one.
It was the best place for it.
Yeah, I agree. So I was really entertained by the match. It set me in a good place to watch the rest of night one. Yeah. Really enjoyed the match. Great outcome.
Yeah. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a good opening match. Yeah. Night 2 would have a far superior opening match, but we'll get there. So the next match was New Day versus the War Raiders for the Raw Tag Team titles. This might have been the only match that didn't have an opening package because there wasn't really much of a build.
First time I've ever seen.
I'm not going to lie, this could have been a match that was just on Raw and no one would have given a fuck. But it was nice to get the tag titles on WrestleMania because on WrestleMania because the SmackDown ones weren't, but there was one banger of a tag match on SmackDown today. So you have New Day come out in some terrible fucking ring gear.
I was about to intercept and just say the theming of the costumes on this WrestleMania made me puke in my eye sockets.
I will get there individually, but
thank you.
We'll talk about Doom later.
What a choice!
There were some there were some good ones though. There were some good ones, but in general they were fucking dreadful. I thought that was bad until the War Raiders came out in the worst basement Viking cosplay I've ever seen.
This is my first time seeing them.
I'm watching it and I'm just going fucking Clash of Clans.
Is that how they really dress?
That's what it was based on. Was Clash of Clans.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
So
I saw them in the game and also they were intimidating.
It was like they blasted the advert
dude, War Machine were like killers.
Yeah.
They were fucking killers, and they look shit. Anyway, it's a quick start with just the Raiders showing off their toughness and chucking the New Day around. Again, there was no real build. It's basically. It's kind of similar to another match the next night where it's double teams until Ivar can come in on the hot tag, do shit that a guy his size legitimately should not be able to do,
and
which is very good.
He almost did not pull off that moonsault.
No, you are right. It was a moment made me pucker my asshole, I'm not going to lie.
But he did manage to...
But that's all it was. It was a hot tag, and then New Day basically end up hitting the daylight finisher, and Kofi holds his leg down. New Day cheat to win and leave.
Always do, yeah.
I mean, crazily, you pointed out to me, though, that this is the first time the New Day have actually won the tag titles at WrestleMania.
It's the first time they've won at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm like, it's such a
Kofi has won at Mania. Obviously, he won the title, but New Day have never won a match at WrestleMania until now.
I totally get it. This is wrestle fan talk, so everybody can hate and be like, oh, he's boring, whatever. But
you're still here.
The New Day have been on a fucking path for 10 plus years.
Yeah,
they're a tag team that should never, ever should have got off board, because originally the whole New Day idea was a religious aspect, them being in a church thing.
Yeah.
Then they went, no.
Power of positivity.
Yeah. Then they went, no, Vince, this isn't working. Let us do something that we want to do. And they started bringing in all the unicorns and the cereal and the Dragon Ball ideas, and they had Big E with them, and it was weird, and I hate to use the word, but it kind of looked a bit gay, and made me actually, I was thinking about it a couple of days ago. I was just like, actually, you don't really see bronies anymore, do you? Where did all the bronies go? But yeah, the unicorns on their head, and they had fun with it for fucking 10 years. So now for them to take a heel turn, I'm like, yes, because now they're doing the Uso penitentiary style of things, where they had a great period.
Absolutely.
They're the evil guys now, and the other tag divisions have to kind of get to the New Day's level. So I thought the match was, like you said, mediocre. It could have been a 4-way. Could have had more. You should have showcased more talent there.
You should have put it on Raw.
Nothing against the War Raiders, but I don't actually think the War Raiders are at the New Day level.
Well, I like War. I think they're a great team. I just think that it was a by the numbers match.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
really,
by numbers. And New Day won it. New champions.
Moderately entertained. I was disgusted by their outfits. I was impressed by their in-ring ability.
How happy were you when they took the tops off at least?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thank fuck, we haven't got to look at the whole ensemble. For the
what was it representing, or was it just horrible colour?
Because they had, it was all like spray. It looked like John Gonzalez shit. But they had there's basically they had the unicorns on the back, and it was one of the heads was dead, and that was representing Big E. And it's kind of like the thing is because they're not doing anything with Big E. It's like, just stop referencing it. You've already done it, so I'd like to see them carry on as a good heel team.
Yeah, but a bit flamboyant.
Sorry. The next is Jade Cargill versus Naomi, which is a good video recap, because this is actually a decent build. This has been building for a while because of Naomi being taken, Jade Cargill being taken out by a mystery attacker. It turned out to be Naomi and coming back to attack. So this is okay, and obviously Jade Cargill is, she's a bit green and stuff. So But I thought it was alright.
Jade.
I think that this could have benefited from a stipulation, this match. Like, this could have been a street fight or a cage match or something that meant a bit sort of like, you know,
but they can't injure Jade at this age.
Well, exactly.
Stage.
So,
Come back.
you know, Naomi comes out with her new. I quite like her new entrance music. That's good. Jade gets a weatherman. What the fuck?
Because there's a storm.
Yeah, there's a storm coming.
Because doesn't she look like Storm? Look at her hair.
She is. She does look amazing, but that opening was shit. It was a good opening attack from Jade.
CGI like storm cloud that they.
It was a fucking weatherman outside. That was there's lightning now. There's
the stadium was fine.
Oh my god, shit. But
it was
I
almost
got to admit, this I think is probably her best match so far I've seen, though.
And it was almost a mess. That's how good Jade is.
I'll kind of say is I've actually written here as I've put, like, there's a couple of spots that had hesitations because I think they were trying to go at a fast pace and she wasn't quite hitting that pace. But there was some good bumps from Naomi to her off-end, and to be fair, there was an X Factor on the floor that was like perfect clean as well to Jade, so fair play to her for that. There's a couple of really good strength spots from Jade, like the suplex catch was absolutely nuts. Naomi jumps off the top, she catches her in a suplex position and hits it. That's just, you can't teach fucking power like that. It was incredible. They then did it again with like a fall-away slam, and I was kind of like, it's even from the same corner. I was like, I don't think we needed to do that twice, but okay. It was still impressive no matter what. Her matches still feel a little bit by the numbers with the high spots centering on the strength stuff she can do well. That's not a bad thing. It does limit the matches a little bit. But like I said, I still think this is probably one of the better ones that I've seen her do. And there's a clear improvement. There's a big power finish where she hits Jaded. This was fine.
She almost messed up that ending. There was almost
there was lots of points she almost messed up.
But the ending itself, particularly the power bomb, was it a power bomb? Finished to Naomi. Even the commentators were just like, ooh.
She gets away with a lot because she's so fucking strong. She could just power muscle people around and put them into a position. And luckily she spotted. She's like, I gotta move you. Basically, and she fucking moved her.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, it was fine, you know, but I think it would have done well with a stipulation. But I'm saying that also thinking like, but don't get her to do too much because you don't want her to fucking hurt herself again. Yeah, you don't want her to hurt herself or anyone else, you know. But it was definitely one of the better matches. Over. I know, right? The next match we get is LA Knight. Thoughts on Jade. My bad.
Sorry, I skipped this one.
Yeah, okay. Do you know what?
I saw Jade when she turned up at Elimination Chamber, and then she never turned up on Raw again.
Just check it.
And neither is Naomi. So I'm like, were they going to be SmackDown people?
Basically, Naomi. I figured, so we get LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the US title.
Jacob Fatu, man.
This is a sleeper hit for me, this one. So Jacob gets a cool werewolf mask, and Knight gets a Maserati. I was like, what the fuck? Like, if I was Jacob, I'd be like, he got a car? Jacob had Solo at his entrance as well, and I totally realised, I was like, Solo has never had a Mania match.
No, not yet.
He's been at a couple, and he's been in the main event, technically, because he comes out with it, but he's still never had a Mania match, but there you go.
Jacob comes in and just gets
There was a big sell on commentary about how Knight had competed like twice the night before on SmackDown, and I'm like, well, he's losing. But he's still so over with the crowd, which is good to see as well, I thought.
Every title so far had changed hands,
exactly,
so when these were coming in, I was like, title's changing again.
Yeah, I was like, fucking hell, they're really going for it. I was really surprised and happy as well that Knight took control early and looked strong, because too many times face champions, they have to do the fight from underneath. Cody does it very well, but that's Cody's thing. But I was glad that they kicked the fucking shit out of each other in this match, I thought.
They run to,
So, I mean, Jacob kept speeding the pace up as well. He should not be able to do what he does. Samoan drops and spinning elbows is amazing, but Knight keeps giving as good as he's getting as well. They're both bumping around for each other. The jumping standing elbow that Knight does, jumps up onto the top rope, hits you with an elbow when you're stood up.
He defies gravity when he gets up to that.
It is crazy. He's got amazing hang time when he does it.
Yeah.
Blocking the moonsault as well was good storytelling, because that's the whole thing. Jacob's been coming out and hitting you with like 3 of those ridiculously good jump up moonsaults that he does, so him blocking it was a good bit of psychology. We get a huge belly to back off the top as well after he just jumped up to the top rope and belly the backed him off the top. It was amazing. Then we get dueling chants from the crowd, which is when you know you've fucking got them as well. They're both over completely. An incredible blunt force trauma from the moonsault, which I was like, that's the new RKO spot. It was so crisp and so good. And the fact as well that he hit that road straight to a pin, and Jacob broke it with a rope break rather than kicking out, protected it really well as well. And that's the first. And again, it's like making Jacob look vulnerable in it as well, which is difficult to do. You then end up, Jacob ends up with him on the top rope. He does a Samoan drop from the top, man, which I was like, that had to hurt. And then hits him with 2 of those jumping moonsaults that are just smooth as butter. New champion. Haku comes out as well, the most dangerous man in the world, to say congratulations. I wrote down this was my sort of second best match of the night. And it was, as much as I was looking forward to it, because I liked both of them, I didn't really have any kind of expectations for this match, but I was just sat there like, that was a fucking banger. That was a non-stop banger.
I agree. This was the first time I'd seen either of these two wrestle. I've wrestled against them in the video game. But yeah, they're both SmackDown or elsewhere wrestlers.
Yes, they are. Yes.
But I've heard good things about both of them. So when they were coming in, I was like, the first time hearing their music or seeing them like do that thing, I was very impressed by both of them. I kind of was rooting for LA Knight because I was like, I'd like to see a champion retain.
That's it.
But like you said,
I'd have been happy with any outcome on this one.
But the commentators, like you said, as soon as they were saying he had wrestled twice the night before on SmackDown, I was like, who did that to him? Like,
it's good way though good booking to keep him strong in defeat. I thought as well, you know. Fucking Jacob came out on SmackDown and I watched it this morning, and I was like, over. The crowd are going nuts.
Nice,
amazing. What did you think?
That was the thing for me. It's like the crowd were way behind LA Knight, and they're way behind Jacob Fatu, and I'm sat there. I'm like with Gary. I haven't seen as much for Jacob Fatu. I need to watch a few more matches, and now all of a sudden he's in a title match, and I'm pretty certain he's going to win this match. Then I watch the match, and I'm like, you know what? Give this man all the matches,
mate. I watched Jacob Fatu wrestle and just felt so bad for Solo.
Here's the crazy thing. I did really also like Solo Sikoa when he was coming in. I just, all of a sudden there just seemed to be this massive influx of Bloodline new Samoan members, but you needed to showcase them. And all of a sudden we're at WrestleMania. Jacob Fatu's in a championship match. He's just nailed a fucking banger of a match with LA Knight. Like we always say, the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania is your sleeper. Now it's the US title match. If they're fighting over that belt, they're going to make that match look
mid-card,
sweet.
Mid-card belt.
All the other boys might not watch the match, but all the boys in the back are going to hear how good their match was. So when your match comes up, you better be on it. Because the matches before the US title match didn't really have much to do. They had to get the crowd ready. Jacob Fatu's just come back, and you can tell he's already lined up for maybe more championship material.
Oh, it delivered. Yeah, absolutely delivered the way it had to, So we move on to El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix.
Is this racism? I have to ask. I have been watching this for weeks, and basically it just feels like they are mocking...
Why would he? He's from the Gulf of America. I don't see what the problem is.
No, that was a mistake. It's the Gulf of Mexico.
This is so fucking stupid, this whole setup, but I'm loving it. I gotta admit, obviously it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio who got injured, so obviously Rey Fenix came in.
Dun, dun, dun.
We get a sepia-style Mexican entrance for El Grande Americano, which was pretty great. It's just fucking stupid. Sometimes stupid wrestling's fun. Ray doesn't. It's funny because I was like, Jessica was watching with me and she was like, "Well, didn't do anything for his entrance." I'm like, "Babe, he only got put into the match about 9 minutes ago. They didn't have any fucking time to do anything." So there you go. And we get the announcement as well, sort of just before that WWE have bought AAA, which is a lucha promotion, huge acquisition. I noticed their champion wasn't there. So anyway, I wonder if he's going to get Jeff Jarretted. Anyway, that's another thing. But some guy, I don't watch it. Some guy from there was in the crowd.
Vikingo actually had been on AEW a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
A few weeks before in some of their tournaments, and AEW All Elite Wrestling had been delving into the Mexican luchadorian wrestlers as well, because they already had Penta and Rey Fenix on their shows a couple of months ago. But Rey Fenix...
Triple H just pulled the checkbook out. Fuck you!
He didn't have to.
I'll buy the airline.
Just had to wait for their contract to expire. They wanted out. And all of a sudden, Rey Fenix, on his second week in WWE, like the first week he had a match on SmackDown, the second week he had a match on SmackDown, and then he's in a WrestleMania match.
Did I put both these guys have only had 2 matches? Technically.
It was, it was crazy. But at the same time, I still couldn't get over the fact that you have a literal luchadorian Mexican wrestler there in Rey Fenix, who you are absolutely praising, and his opponent is an American guy, Chad Gable, in a mask.
I'm sorry,
pretending.
Who do you know?
Pretending.
How do you know that?
Gable wasn't there.
You don't fucking know that.
It's the reason why this Wrestlemania sucked for me. It's my favourite current wrestler.
Yeah.
This whole history and everything, and I'm like, this is racist.
Anyway, let's get there. Okay. But, so anyway, the guy in the crowd kicks Grande Americano in the face.
Yeah.
There's some good lucha back and forth. Ray Phoenix is kind of new to me, but like, you know, so he's not had such a time for me to see him sort of stand out. But again, this felt like a good, you know, high flying match for the most part of it.
Yeah.
The crowd are a little bit sort of meh, but they've just gone through that battle, you know, sort of like before. But
they're behind Ray.
Cole and Barrett were very good. They were behind Ray. You're absolutely right. There's the backflip from the top rope was amazing that he did. You know, fuck it, Chad trying to take his mask off obviously is really funny, and Cole and Barrett going at each other on commentary is really funny again. So he does the metal plate in the forehead. So he puts it underneath his mask so he can do it. I thought there was a really good bit of psychology again where Ray jumps up to the top rope, goes and kicks him in the head, but then starts favouring his leg. And even commentary for a minute, but like, what did he do to his leg? And it's like, oh, he's got a metal plate under his mask. That's why he hurt his foot. I was like, that's quite good. So he sets him up for the ankle lock from that as well. He does a roll through and a second rope dive.
Or it was a lot of Chad's moves.
Catches it. He does. Weird. Catches in with a headbutt in midair, which was quite cool, and then goes up for the diving headbutt, all with a loaded mask. Again, I suppose an early defeat in Ray Phoenix's career, but he got twatted with a metal plate several times.
Ray Phoenix has just had his WrestleMania match.
And he gets his debut, which is great.
Like,
so, again, this was fine.
Not just fine, but what?
Well, I mean, for me, I thought it was fine.
I had been, like I said, I'd been watching Ray Phoenix and Penta matches leading up to them leaving AEW and going to WWE. I did not. I thought Ray might be an NXT guy. Like Penta definitely was going to be going to Raw. I didn't think they did.
It's different now, isn't it? You can't always call if they're going to go to NXT or where they're going to go to.
Watching his matches in AEW, the ones leading up to his leaving, it seemed like Ray Phoenix was being really dangerous. Not just to himself, but the wrestlers that he was going up against. And I'm like, why would they want this guy? Like, he is trying to hurt himself. And I think he was trying to hurt himself because Penta was hurt, and they wanted to end their contracts with AEW off so they could sign with WWE.
Wow.
Yeah? So then when he's on there, I'm watching him, and the fact that, like, once again, another match where the boys in the back would be like, let's see how Ray Phoenix goes. Oh my God. That was good.
We've seen more and more frequent injuries because it's just a much more physical style now at the end of the day. I think.
True, yeah.
So we get.
I actually really enjoyed this match. Like I said, I said it aside earlier. Chad Gable is actually one of my favourite wrestlers on the roster to watch wrestle. I think that his potential is so much better than this crap storyline that they're putting him through.
Shorty G.
Do you know what? You don't know. This is actually some of the better stuff they've ever given him.
Oh.
Yeah, like somebody save Chad Gable because his potential, what I see, is a mini Kurt Angle. You know, this guy I think can go far and put on some spectacular matches, but I think he's been handicapped by some awful storytelling. But this is only my small window of seeing who this person is.
Yeah, but he makes it work.
It was a very impressive, high-flying match. That I enjoyed this more than the LA Knight Fatu match.
They need to move the Alpha Academy to SmackDown because El Grande Americano needs the American title at some point. They need to not yet. I'm just saying, we've just got Fatu, but I'm just saying at some point he's got to have that title. It'd be amazing. Change it to the Mexican Championship or something. HBK comes out and announces the 61,000 odd people. It's funny, it was 61,000 the first night, 63, but both nights were a sellout. I was like, how does that work? Anyway,
they definitely weren't sellouts because
that's interesting.
They had to cover some of the seats with.
All right. To be fair, I saw those pictures. But they were behind the set.
Yes, true.
So you couldn't put people. If you put me in that seat, I'd have been like, "Yo!"
I can't even see the screen.
I was even amazed.
But anyway,
I was amazed.
It's always funny. There was a lot of chatter about it, and I'm like, "It's a fuck ton of people."
The people
like,
the people that were sat on the set, I'm like, that's a worse seat than those people that are up in the rafters.
Seriously? On the set?
Well, yeah, because literally you're here and you turn right, you watch the wrestler come out, you're like, oh, okay, that's cool, yeah, I'm watching the back of them,
You're looking at the ring,
now
man.
I'm watching the ring, and the ring's down there, but I'm obviously going to want to watch the screen because the screen's bad. It turns out, I was reading this, there were people up in the rafters who were really high up. They were streaming.
Yeah, they were watching on their phones. Yeah,
they were watching on their phones.
$400. $400 for the cheap seats.
Just up there. Yeah.
But you know what's funny is because I was like, yeah, if you said, oh, it's $400, like, but we're gonna have to watch it on our phones, I would be like, yeah, it's not for me because you got to get out of that bitch as well. But there were so many people that I saw online that were like, do you know what? It's like. Is watching it, but with that atmosphere, they were like, "Let's fine with it." I was like, "Well," I was like, "Do you know what? It's your money, and you went to Wrestlemania, and I didn't.
Man,
so good
Dan
on you."
and I were playing 2K25, obviously the week before making our predictions, and when we were, you can free move the camera up, and so we moved it right up into the rafters, looked down, and we're like, "Oh, this isn't too bad. That's pretty good." And then we're like, "Where's the toilets?" And we're looking left, and there's like a little door. Yeah. We're like, "Yeah, no,
Nightmare." So after that, we get Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Title, yes.
Tiff comes out first. That annoys me. She was the champion, but at least in the ring intro, she got introduced second.
You always get annoyed by that, don't you?
It bugs
champion
first. But anyway, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
She gets this big Barbie entrance. Everyone goes pink, and this was brilliant. There was 3 boxes in the middle.
Yeah.
So 2 obviously got like artificial of Tiffany
Videos.
being filmed, and she's dancing around. One of them, she's in like a boxing outfit. I can't remember the other one. And then she's in the middle one. But this is the best bit: is she walks out of the one in the middle, and dead quiet on commentary, McAfee just goes, "That was her in the middle." And Cole's like, "That's why you're the best analyst in the game, Pat." And it just, me and Jessica just laughed our asses out. It was so funny. It's the fact that he let it a couple of steps, like, "Oh, that was her in the middle." It's just so funny. Charlotte arrives in like a Rolls Royce, very Flair, and she's got the knee brace on, selling the genuine MCL repair that she's had, and it will come into the match as well. Crowd do not like Flair at all. And huge pop for Tiffy, which we knew was going to happen. Very aggressive start. Commentary rerun, all the personal comments. This is a build that kind of, you either liked it or you didn't, to be honest. It kind of was weak, and then it was good if you liked the way they made it personal. If you didn't, then it was just weak.
It definitely felt like there was a lot of stiff landing, moves in this match. It felt like
weren't there ever,
I mean, like, The Rock, and many other wrestlers have always said, like, everything is for the show. Yeah. So the whole drama that was, it's all been fabricated, it's all been made up, it's all been planned. Like, there's no actual drama. It's just, this is what's been planned. Whether they just say that as a defense still, I don't know, because it did genuinely feel like these two wanted to hurt each other.
They were fucking hitting each other.
And it showed in the match, so I was happy to see that.
Yeah, man, there were some heavy-looking forearms and chops. Jessica really enjoyed this one as well, watching them beat the shit out of each other.
It was crazy, because at one point, and when you're watching these matches, you're wondering how much trust they have in each other. So if you go back and you have a look at the Jade-Naomi match, it feels like Jade is waiting for Naomi to lead her because Naomi's the more experienced. And Naomi's like, no, we need to build you up. So that's where I saw a couple of falterings with them, but Jade was able to recover. In this one, it seriously felt like Charlotte, who is the more experienced, wasn't
given that guidance.
Control. Was waiting for Tiffany to take control because Tiffany maybe said she was going to or needed it, and Tiffany faltered a little bit. Charlotte had to take control to make it look like a fight. Something happened. We're still not entirely sure, but something happened with Tiffany's face, with her lip, and you can see it on camera. But they recovered it. They did recover it. They did manage to pull off the end. Like, how's it? It goes towards obviously the figure 4. She goes to figure 4.
Hang on, I'll have to go from it. No, skip to the end. Hang on.
Well, go from because where did you see the faltering part?
I didn't really see. Well, it wasn't so much like obvious faltering part like that. Hang on a minute. Sorry, you fucked me up now. I told you about this. So yeah, I mean, they start off. You get like there's work outside the ring, and Charlotte's trying to like work the leg for a finisher, which is kind of standard fare. And again, you just get continued like heavy shots against the barricade. She stole Stephanie Vaquera's move as well. I noticed where she starts bashing her head against the floor.
Yeah.
Charlotte took control back for a while with Tiff making more sort of comebacks, including a really good, nice big spine buster that she does, which is a great move. There's lots of back and forth, then followed with reversals, and there was a couple of spots then where like there's one where like Charlotte goes to like knock her off the apron and sort of like moves before Tiffy does, and Tiffy has to counter, and then Tiffy kind of cartwheeled herself into a pile driver position.
Yes,
that was very weird. So there was a couple of weird. Again, it's not a botch necessarily. It's just like the timing looked off a little bit there. But I mean, they're probably fucking tired at this point. You had several attempts.
Match, I think,
it was a good long match. Yeah, it was a decent one, and there were several attempts by Charlotte to injure the leg and set up the finish. Tiffy showing as well that she can go. She this was her coming out party as being resilient. I think for Tiffany Stratton.
Looking strong because leads to the finish where Tiffy retains. Now, we speculated from the Royal Rumble that Charlotte was going to be...
I thought Charlotte was going to win this one.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to go back. I thought this was a 3-match program.
Do we think they changed the ending before the girls went out, or it was...
No, I think this is going to be a one and done, and we just thought it was a 3-match program. I don't think they wrestle again, or at least not as in like that's continuing feud. And based on SmackDown, I'm right because
Nia
Jax came after her.
Oh, okay, right.
So I think this is just now. It was a one and done. And they might do it again later. But it'll be a big event, something like that.
I think once again it was Charlotte.
I'm just surprised that Charlotte lost at Mania again.
I think Charlotte was waiting for Tiffany to start taking control. She couldn't, so Charlotte had to take more control of the match to get more of the booze, to get more of the heat, to rebuild Tiffy up more, so that when Tiffy got the win, it was a big thing. But that lip thing.
I still she looked bad at the end. I still enjoyed this. Was again one of my better matches of the night, I thought, because
good drama behind the story.
There was good drama, and I just thought it was a hard hitting match. You know what I mean? I thought it was a good match for both of them, but especially for Tiffany Stratton, who I'm a big fan of, so that was cool. And then before the main event, we got the Hall of Fame class comes out like they always do. Fucking funny as hell moment when Triple H shook Bret Hart's hand, and Bret Hart visually rolls his eyes like this fucking guy. Bret, never change. Then we move on to the main event. So this is a bit of a long one, so bear with me. So obviously we've got CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, with Punk having Heyman in his corner. Really good video package before this one. Machine Head set sail into the black. Nice to see Triple H is still a metal fan considering the rest of the shite that was on there. Seth comes out with a flamethrower because
that was pretty badass.
Roman's got new Jordans, and all the drop-in screens came down with the Samoan Dynasty all over.
Big black outfit thing.
It went blacked out and then it came out.
You missed that flamethrower.
Well, mate, that was just fucking madness. I only think everyone was like, "Oh, he's joining up with The Rock because The Rock did that one time."
Yeah, no,
I was
just...
okay. And then Punk gets another video package with his original kill switch engaged, a piano version of that playing, and he comes out with his Wise Man and Living Colour to play him in for, I think, the second time at WrestleMania. Right. I know they've done it at least once, which is cool.
That was cool.
So we get a bit of a drawn-out start with the guys staring at each other. We get some Roman chants straight away, and he's looking at Heyman, who he normally gives the Ula Fala to, and he ends up having to put it in the corner, and Punk's laughing his ass off. So there's a lot of really good...
emotional build-up.
This is this is a really good example of WWE is kind of an elevated version of silent movie acting. The facials in this tell stories all the way through, which is great. So Punk ends up rolling out to get a bit of counsel from Heyman and what he's going to do, which is obviously pissing Roman off. Seth's then trying to strike up an alliance with Roman as former tag partners, which doesn't work. So we just get some back and forth between the three of them, lots of dives to the outside, stairs and barricade shots. Really good psychology between Seth and Punk with a hockey fight through the crowd while Roman's down for a minute. Really good as well that after they get through that, Reigns is up pretty quickly with this dive over the barricade. And a lot of the time in WWE, triple threats can suffer from, so all three of us in the ring, and now, you get kicked to the outside and hurt real bad, and now you're going to take a 10-minute powder, and me and him are going to fight, and then I'm going to get dumped over just as you get in. They didn't have that in this. Well, frankly, any of the multi-matches, the work rate was high on this one.
The thing in this match, sorry to go on a tangent there, one of the things that I noticed in this match which annoyed me, and I think it was Seth Rollins that did it the most, and that was constantly double checking where the other wrestler was because they were setting up the move. He was like, is he in position yet? No.
Yeah,
right,
so
let's do this and this and that.
Yeah.
He's in position. Let's do this bit now.
Probably waiting for one of the 15 spears he took from Roman, to be fair. So, probably if I'm doing nothing, I'm probably getting speared.
It was a little bit distracting.
Was that because it was too noticeable, or that you've been watching it enough now that you're starting to pick it up?
Maybe, but for me it felt too
either of the
noticeable,
two.
but not as noticeable
Sometimes
as
it's a similar size
Cena
like when you
calling the match.
I was just about to say, but you hear that sometimes, don't you? You can hear them call matches and that snap you out of it. So things like that can do.
It can do.
But the crowd start chanting for tables. The tables, by the way, look great the way they've set them up. They actually look like when you go through that's gonna fucking hurt. The announce tables I'm talking of. Prime bottle shots are dumb. Don't hit people with a giant plastic prime bottle.
Right, and them selling it.
Selling it.
Embarrassing.
Rollins sold that prime bottle like he'd been shot in the back.
I hate that.
I don't mind it being there. Don't hit people with the prime bottle. It's fucking stupid.
Right.
Back in the ring, Punk steals taunt from Roman and gets dropped when he tries a running knee. Rollins reverses again as Punk hits the running knee to Reigns, and then he gets like a heel kick into Rollins. So the work rate again in this one is really high. We get like a double DDT and neckbreaker spot by Punk on both guys, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then we get like a Doomsday device from Punk to Rollins off of Reigns' shoulders.
Yeah.
But again, there's no alliances. They just all end up in these positions and just take advantage in the moment, which was quite cool. We get Superman punch into 2 counts, and Roman starts to take control. Anaconda Vice into Reigns as well, and then Rollins breaks it up by splashing him, which is a theme for the event. There's a lot of splashing, breaking up stuff. Buckle bombs for everyone.
I was very surprised with, because
he's been using it more again now.
But crazily enough, was it last week somebody in AEW used a buckle bomb and re-injured Pac?
Yeah, it's a fucking dangerous move.
And obviously Seth Rollins was the one who did it on Sting, that we're untoo sure if it was just Sting's age at the time.
It's like, did he injure Sting, or was Sting just falling to pieces?
Yeah,
he was just the one who finally broke him.
He hit one on Punk, and I was like, whoa. And then he hits one on Reigns, and I'm like, okay, so they're allowing this at the moment? Okay.
Yeah. So you get a lot of finisher reversals, a lot of attempted pedigrees into reversals until Rollins hits pedigree on Roman's out of a spear, which was crisp. It was good.
Which they'd hook the arms.
Really good. Well, I mean, he's got to catch it in the moment, so if he could have, he would have. But he caught one, but not quite the other. But it was good. And again, he sort of like stomps. He kicks Punk out of the ring. Kick out. You'll get a lot of this in. There's so many finisher kick outs. It's crazy. Lots of back and forth finishers and kick outs. I've put Rollins talks shit to Reigns as well, saying how they should take out Punk, and they tried to set him up for the Shield bomb before Roman, before he does his big ooh-ah taunt, just twats him right in the mush, and then puts them both through tables like I'll fucking do it myself. You get the big spear from Reigns coming off a bit of the ropes and another kick out. Reigns is fucking pissed. He gets the guillotine choke onto Punk, which is then reversed into Anaconda Vice. Rollins then puts Punk into the sharpshooter. It's just basically everyone's got all their full signature moves and finishers, and they're spamming the shit out of them.
Yeah. Reversal.
Nobody can finish.
No, Reigns ends up choking Rollins again, but it's broken out by a stomp by Punk this time. Everyone's stealing everyone's moves as well. It's a GTS to Rollins and another fucking kick out. The crowd, by the way, I've got to admit, there's no crowd fatigue. The crowd are there for everything. They're absolutely going nuts. There's another GTS to Rollins. Roman spears Punk and Rollins stomps Reigns to put all 3 men down. And this is when we start the fucking drama. So Heyman grabs the chair. I thought it was going to be the Brock and Roman spot from the SummerSlam where he slides the chair in between them.
Yeah.
So you got Heyman on the outside, grabs a chair, and you've got predominantly you see Rollins at the back of the ring from the shot, and you've got Punk and Roman down.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to slide it between them and be like, you two fucking fight it out, but he doesn't. He goes another way, which was better, and he gives gives the chair to Punk.
CM Punk
Gets in the ring, just as Punk's about to hit Reigns. Boom! You get a low blow from Heyman to Punk. The crowd go nuts to it. So Heyman is siding. He's back to side with his tribal chief, who
Roman
starts
Reigns
wailing. Oh man! Again, facials. Because there's so much from betrayal to. I mean, he's not just grinning; he's laughing his ass off. Like I fucking do.
The crowd are
so good.
So behind the
crowd are just fucking jumping on it. So he starts wailing on Punk, and then Heyman points out that Seth is getting up, and he's obviously got his back to him, and he's like literally yelling, "Remember the Shield." So we're going to get the spot, and just before Roman can hit Seth, Heyman drops another low blow to the OTC. The crowd and commentary are going nuts at this point. Heyman hands the chair to Rollins. Crowd sings Seth's song as well, I might add, while he smashes Roman in the back. Stomp, and Heyman looks on in the corner as Rollins wins the main event of WrestleMania. I was very sports entertained. This was the match that it's very similar to Cody and Roman's match, where I was like, this was so overbooked, and I was so happy for it because it was like that's
no
fine.
title on the line,
nothing,
just
grudges, pride, and a turn that you kind of knew some shenanigans were going to go down with Heyman.
I never predicted that.
I don't think a lot of people would have. To be fair, if you did, great, but it didn't suck my enjoyment out of it at all. Yeah, it was a finisher spamming, ridiculous kick out sports entertainment match. Yeah. If you're gonna do it at the main event of WrestleMania.
Definitely,
Loved it.
I was really entertained by this match as
Really
well. I enjoyed the story.
Yeah.
I've heard over the last 20 years stories of CM Punk, but never got to see him properly wrestle.
Right, cool.
Seeing him in like the Raws, he doesn't wrestle. But
there was no build. Yeah,
he does do. Yeah,
no matches.
Yeah, no matches.
Wrestles on so many house shows as well. He's not on Raw. It's weird.
So, but the last I saw him wrestle was the Elimination Chamber, and I was like, okay, he's impressive. Seth Rollins, very impressive to watch. Surprised he took the victory though.
Yeah.
But the Paul Heyman betraying both of them. Yeah, I did not see that coming. Despite
deserved it as well. I thought
all of the weird
Seth's worked
storylines
hard the last couple of years, so I think he deserved it as well.
The thing for me, obviously, I had a feeling something was going on.
Did you enjoy this one?
I did. Man, this is fucking the main event of WrestleMania. Yeah. Like, how do you not, unless Brock Lesnar's involved in it, it's Goldberg.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen some bad WrestleMania main events. We'll get tonight too.
It'd been building up for weeks. That thing with Seth Rollins wanting to go and stomp Heyman and then saying you owe me a favor.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to pay off somehow in the main event. Heyman betraying both Reigns and Punk. My God, how good is Punk? Like,
especially considering his age and the miles on him.
I'm just going to say, when people turn to me and go, oh, I don't watch wrestling, it's not very good nowadays, it's like, stop watching it then. Don't go and watch more wrestling that you're not going to enjoy and come back and tell me that you're not enjoying it. Because I'm watching it, and because I'm watching it, I'm following these guys' lives, their careers. CM Punk wasn't going to wrestle anymore after he left WWE back in, 2013?
Yeah, it was like 10 years.
Like 10 years. Yeah. He wasn't going to do anything, but he's gone off and done other things, and it's not paid off. He said in his promo at the beginning, wrestling is his addiction, and he mocks people, or he doesn't mock people, but he kind of looks down on people who do have like drug and drink and other kind of addictions, but he's the guy who couldn't give it up. He went to AEW and he did his best there, but that place is not great, and he got hurt, he got damaged, and he had to come back to the place he didn't want to come back to, but it was different. The environment in WWE is different. It's not the same WWE as everybody wants it to be or thinks it should be, like it was back in 1998. No. This is a whole different time. Vince is gone. Punk sat down with Triple H and had a whole year last year of him and McIntyre, of him and Rollins building up all this shit.
Obviously he had the injury as well, didn't he? He did his tricep, so...
Well. The Royal Rumble.
He wasn't even at WrestleMania last year. He was on commentary desk, wasn't he?
I don't mean to completely go off on one. I'm not a massive, huge CM Punk fan, but the same with Roman Reigns. The same I'll say of Roman Reigns. Everyone was dissing on Roman Reigns for like 10 years. Oh my God, the guy can't wrestle. Yeah,
well, but he found his character.
He found his wise man as well. That'll work. Who's not a Paul Heyman guy?
Oh man, he's gold, isn't he?
If you are not a Paul Heyman guy, because if you are, awesome. Get the F out. Because at the moment, you look at Raw, if you're watching Raw, pretty much everyone's coming to be a Paul Heyman guy. Seth Rollins doesn't need
Dangerous Alliance.
Seth Rollins doesn't need a title. He is
that's interesting that, again, this match, it kind of like, it transcended the title, didn't it? It was just great. Because I also think that this WrestleMania, from start to finish, like on both nights, was kind of like a... It was more of we're starting stories on this one.
Yeah, that's what Triple H said.
Last year was very much finishing stories. Yeah. This year was like a kind of destination.
Triple H said in an interview, he said, a lot of people think that WrestleMania is the end of a story, but how do you know it's not the beginning? And I was right, so, okay, night 2, but obviously just looking at time, I don't know if you want to bullet point some of the matches as we go.
I can run through them all real quick if you want.
Yeah, so starting with the women's match.
Triple threat of Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair, which this is one of the best fucking opening matches of any WrestleMania.
I said that to Ian. Ian and I were watching it live.
Why is Io out first again? I'm just saying. Anyway, but But in this time, it kind of plays into her being like the third wheel, like the afterthought of a match that she is the champion going into.
Yes.
So, Belair got dancers, and Rhea come out with a Batman Who Laughs mask.
Yeah.
That was the best fucking outfit the entire weekend, I will say. So this one, I'll try and I'm going to blitz through it, but I don't want to undersell how fucking good this match was. So,
totally, we won't.
Playing off the story of Io basically being ignored, she kind of stops to test the strength that the girl starts a very, very fast pace, especially compared to the other women's matches on the card. Io bounces out and we get power moves and hard hits, Bianca hitting Rhea in the corner and backflips to dodge Io, and then we get like double spots in the corner. The spots are so fucking smooth. Io hits a double blockbuster from the top with her feet. Like, just flips out and catches both of them perfectly, hooks and bang, plants them. It was amazing. They start flying around on the outside as well, hitting big moves. It's very similar. Again, no one powders out in this for a long time. It's similar to the other triple threat where everyone's pretty much involved for the most part. Back in and they take turns, taking each other out. Triple flow through suplexes by Bianca, which was I'm just like, that girl's so strong. You can see why they're keeping her and Jade separate, because you're like, that's money.
I was actually, because when I was watching it, I was surprised at how toned and muscular both Bianca and Rhea are, but also very impressed with Io Sky's in-ring abilities.
Man, that girl she's got to be the hardest girl in the world. She bounces so hard. I literally wrote at this point in my notes, this match is insane. There are more spots on the outside, but no one stays down at all. But not to the point of no selling. Lots of throwing Io into each other, which I loved. There's submission attempt by Ripley pulling Io through. Belair powers Rhea up on her shoulders, and we get a triple down. Crowd at this point are going nuts. This is a great opening match for him. Io starts really fast offense again and gets a triple suplex from the top for another triple down, and this is awesome chance. Rhea boots Bianca out of a leapfrog, which I was like, fuck me, that looked like that hurt. And huge kicks and spears from everyone. There's a 450 from Bianca, which looked amazing. Riptide and a kick out. Riptide gets reversed by Io, who basically gets her head kicked off on that one. Rhea attempts an avalanche Riptide to Io, who reverses that. Goes for a moonsault, but Rhea blocks that one. Bianca hits the KOD to Io, but Rhea breaks the pin, which was I thought that was the finish. More awesome chance. Bianca starts talking shit to Rhea, and we get some brawling. Rhea ends up on the top rope, knocks Bianca out. Io goes up to try and hurricane Rana Rhea off, but she gets dropped onto the post and gets potentially knocked out. Bianca hits the hair whip, which always looks fucking horrible.
And
it looks so painful. It sounds it. And then hits the KOD to pin Rhea, but then Io just flies out of nowhere from the top rope to break it up with the over the moonsault and get the pin to retain. Crowd are fucking just
beautiful.
If I was in that crowd, I'd have passed out after that match. It was non-stop. It's contender for match of the weekend for me, really. I mean, I've only watched these matches once, but undoubtedly one of the best openers I've ever seen.
They had to give Io her win at WrestleMania because
she deserved
I'm glad they did.
She definitely deserved it. She's been working for it for years. Obviously, it was kind of denied to her many times by whoever else was in charge of booking the matches. Bianca had hers. Rhea had hers. Both Bianca and Rhea could have both easily taken the title, I feel, as well, and it would have still been a big pop. The crowd would have been still happier. But the fact that you gave it to Io, all three of them now have had their WrestleMania spots. The crowd absolutely loved the opening.
The right girl won.
Yeah,
sure.
Agreed. Yeah.
But again, no one looked weak.
Yeah,
everyone walked out of that match looking like absolute megastars.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was great. So the next one we get is a street fight between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Drew comes out wearing if you thought the first night's gear was bad, the Doomslayer gear, but here's the thing as well, it was so fucking bad that Drew was visually pissed off. You saw him messing with his gauntlets, like there was a weird shrine that he sort of stood like, is my friend,
because his shield was, because the Doom shield's on it, because they're selling the Doom, the Dark Ages,
the big advert for it.
But did you see when he got it, like if he struggled to get in like under the ropes because of these massive shoulder pads, man, it panned out to a wide shot and I was looking at Drew in the ring because you could see he was pissed off. He whipped this. The poor guy that had to catch it because he whipped it at him. Guy took the bump of the night. He was so pissed. And then Damien comes out with Kerry King from Slayer, and I'm like, that's way better.
I'll be honest.
Drew.
Just before Andy goes through the points of the matches, this for me was the sleeper match. The actual sleeper match.
The one that
for
put
me.
you to sleep.
The one that I was actually. Like,
Not
a lot of the
expecting
times as a
anything
wrestling fan, you look at the women's matches, you think, oh, I'm not going to bother watching that. But this was like that for me.
It deserved a better build because there was more. There could have been more to it.
I am losing care in Drew McIntyre. Not Drew McIntyre, Damien Priest.
I think
And I think Drew is being brought back to work with Damien, and it's not fair on Drew.
Drew feels like he's being held on this leash a little bit, where it's like, fuck, if we let this guy off, he's unstoppable. So we kind of have to keep him here, because otherwise the question is, why the fuck are you not at the top of the card?
Yeah,
basically,
sure.
You know what I mean? Either Drew gets to main event next year at Mania, or they're like, Drew, we're gonna put WrestleMania in London and you get to go, or something like. I don't know, but anyway, I'm with you on that one. I feel bad for Damien because I thought I was really excited when he actually won the title.
Yeah.
But they've had a year to the day, literally, to build this, and it's been a little bit thrown together at the last minute. I still feel.
They didn't even know if Drew was going to be ready because he was injured before.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
The Royal Rumble thing didn't even work properly either.
There was just look. Sometimes it doesn't work at the end of the day.
And
You know,
both
so
of them pulled
they
off a
worked
good
hard.
match.
They worked hard in this match. It was just it wasn't quite.
The energy wasn't there.
Consider as well. There's no other ways. Like you said, Drew just came off one of the best blood feuds of all time with CM Punk.
Yeah.
It's very hard for him to hate anyone else as much.
Exactly.
So there you go. So, but Drew, he does jumpstart the match and starts. We get suplexes to the outside.
Yeah.
We get steps.
Yeah.
Damien brings tables into the ring. It was a good spot where Drew regained control and dropped Damien, then grabbed the phone from his brother at ringside to do his WrestleMania
That was
selfie.
great.
At work board, lol. That was cool.
This match that somebody got put through the commentator's table, and then they had to bring out a new commentator's table.
that's right. It might have been this one.
it might
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was this one because, ironically, the next part is they set the two tables up on the outside.
No, because I think it's Braun who puts.
Yes, it was.
yeah.
He put Carlitos through.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
From
yeah,
one
you're right.
table
They
to
had
the
to
other.
bring another
out
one.
the
Yeah.
table.
So they set up two tables on the outside by the commentary tables on top. So you're like, well, we know what's going to happen later. Damien throws a chair at Drew to try and soften a claymore, and only gets a 2 count. Drew wraps the chair around Priest's neck and goes for another claymore, but gets choke slammed. Priest wedges the chair in the corner, but Drew recovers. This is a street fight, by the way, if I didn't mention that.
Yeah,
So there's no rules in this one.
No rules.
If you're like, why weren't they all like this? So Drew recovers and hits a big spine buster. Goes for the white noise from the top, which was quite cool, stealing Sheamus's move.
Yeah,
But Priest reverses it into a razor's edge and puts him through a table in the ring. Drew kicks it too. Priest goes for a choke slam on the steps, but gets a thumb to the eye, and a future shock DDT on the steps, which also only gets a 2 count. Back and forth. Priest goes for old school, the Taker walking the ropes, but he's picked the wrong side of the ring because he gets pitched off into the 2 tables we set up earlier. Priest then he puts him against the chair that's wedged in the corner, puts his head next to it. I thought he was going to move, and he just fucking claymored him right against it. And I was like, that better be the finish, and it was.
Yeah.
Drew wins. Good heel work at the end. The ref's trying to check on him. He's like, no, fucking raise my hand and stuff like that. You can see him swearing his head off.
Yeah.
He's in his shit. It was great. So, again, this was fine. It was a hard hitting match. I just wish the bit of a
For
better
2
build,
wrestlers I don't have much investment in at all. Other than occasionally catching interviews with Drew on YouTube of all places. I just keep seeing random interviews.
I love Drew McIntyre.
So
He's
listening to
absolutely
him
one of my
talk
favourites.
and his insights in history, I'm like, okay, yeah.
He's a man.
So he's definitely one to watch.
I hope he gets what he deserves.
Yeah.
In the future going forward.
Yeah.
But this next match
Here
is the one that I
comes
was more excited for.
the feel-good moment of the year. Are you ready? So we have Braun Breaker,
Who?
some dude, Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor in the Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way. To mention, if you don't know, Dom and Finn are both members of the Judgment Day stable, so they're technically friends. Everyone gets a mask except Braun, I noticed.
Yeah. We actually played this match on 2K25 the week before.
Who won?
Leading up to WrestleMania.
Dom.
And we
As it fucking
I
should.
totally predicted.
I called that he would be pinning Finn
Balor.
for the title. I was like, because my prediction is
That's
that
how
the Finn Balor is gonna
the storyline would play out.
the aggravation he's been having with Dom all
absolutely
this build
about to
up,
happen,
yeah,
yes.
and I'm waiting for him to bring out the beast.
Oh,
the
what I
dragon.
loved as well, because at the start when they did the intro, similar to they do on Raw and SmackDown again, Cody got booed, if you noticed.
I haven't
Cody got booed.
since...
No, on WrestleMania Night 2, it shows Cody getting out of his bus, and the crowd booed him.
Yeah.
Because obviously those are shown in the stadium. But then it cut to Judgment Day and Dom, and the crowd went nuts. And I went, oh, that match is going to be good.
Yeah, and that's kind of what set me up to go for the final match. That the crowd were turning on.
Well, no, but that's the funny. We'll get there. But I noticed in that main event they didn't.
It wasn't.
Didn't.
It wasn't big, but
it was more dueling.
They wanted Cena to win.
Oh yeah.
I think they wanted to see that title, that record break.
Yeah, they wanted Cena to win.
And it's same with Jay. It would have been stupid not
in the Continental match, man, should have been a ladder.
It could have been, but I think they did great. I mean, it's still a no disqualification.
Should always have a ladder match at fucking WrestleMania.
I did miss a ladder match.
Should always have a ladder match.
We get straight away. You get Braun early attempt to spear Dom, and he teams with Balor a little bit and go to the outside. Penta hits an amazing tope dive to all of them, and the crowd are absolutely in for everything that Dom does in this match. Braun fucking comes and flies from absolutely nowhere and kills Penta on the outside. It's a spear to Dom, but Finn breaks that up. Penta hooks Finn for a Penta driver, and Braun picks them both up for a fucking German suplex, which is insane. Dom gets 2 amigos on Penta. With the third one, he gets Finn to help him. Goes for the same on Braun, who just goes, no, I'm going to suplex both of you at once, and powers him over. Doesn't do it fast either. Fucking holds him for a minute. You get the Frankensteiner to Finn, and then Dom betrays Finn with an attempted 619, which Finn blocks, and then proceeds to beat the shit out of Dom, which is quite funny. Carlito from the Judgment Day comes out and gets involved, and drops Braun. Gets a little bit of revenge for a moment before he gets on the announce table, and Braun runs across the other announce table to spear him through it. Penta then gets set up to take a 619. Dom tries to go up, but he's stopped by Finn. Finn hits the coup de grace, and as he pins Breaker, Dom flies in with a frog splash to break the pin and get the win over his Judgment Day stablemate. Crowd goes nuts. Dominic Mysterio, as you knew, Intercontinental Champion. It's so good. He's on the runway, and you've seen footage afterwards where the cameraman leans in and tells him to go back to the ring, which he's obviously got from gorilla position. Dom runs back into the ring, jumps out, and it's great because Finn's in this corner and is just staring at him like, you bastard. Crowd are going nuts. Brilliant. So well deserved as well, because he's been one of the best heels the last couple of years.
Really fun
match. I know we were kind of arguing about it earlier, but this is why I kind of feel like Ray may have just taken the step back, because you imagine your dad has been training you, or you've been working with your dad ever since you were young, when you were in there with Eddie Guerrero, your uncle, and they were fighting over your custody. Like Dominic Mysterio came in, and I was talking years ago, talking to Matt Midgley about wrestling, and we were like, God, don't you just hate this whole Rey Mysterio, fucking Dominic Mysterio kind of tag team they've got going, father and son? Don't you just want him to betray his dad? And then he does, and you're like, God, why is Dom such an asshole for betraying everybody? And then he gets stuck with Rhea Ripley, and you're like, how the hell is this guy so lucky to be there with sexy mommy?
It's the fact he managed to turn heel when he was a heel, when he went with Liv. Dude, I was there the night he kicked Ray in the balls in Cardiff, and mate, I'm telling you, there weren't a single person booing. That whole crowd, we went fucking nuts.
The whole change with Rhea to Liv, that's been great. I mean, I love all the stuff online where they're like, people are actually like, his wife should divorce him. How can she be still staying with him?
How can she just watch him do this?
Like, he's rocking the Eddie Guerrero mustache and mullet. He just the guy
so good.
Has gone from a boy to a man so quickly. I've loved the transition. He's earned it.
He's going to be a world champion someday.
Man,
I'll tell you right now, if they do crossover with AAA, he's going to win their world title.
Totally.
First, at least. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely, totally.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, we go to Randy Orton versus ...
Unknown challenger.
Kevin Owens a few weeks ago, unfortunately announced that he's got a neck surgery he's got to have. So,
yeah.
Randy Orton put out a
open challenge.
Open challenge. Thank you. Randy's song gets sung now. You can thank us for that, just so you know. Yeah, because Americans, I'm sorry, no offense to any of our brethren over the pond there, but you can literally just do the what chant. But ever since we've been singing Randy's song over in that string of rules in Europe, everyone sings his song.
I love the fact that...
And they've stolen our fucking, like, Roman Reigns, or whoever it is, they just apply it to everyone.
Everybody is like, CM, boom.
And I'm like, don't worry, they'll be back over here soon, we'll teach you some new songs, it's fine. But anyway, I love that they sing it now, so...
I love the fact that they have embraced his opponent. Like, I have not known who this guy is facing Randy Orton. I've seen the stuff online. I've seen the fact that he's obviously come out on TNA, and then all of a sudden, Joe Hendry's face, who is just a...
Say his name and he appears.
Man, like...
Amazing.
Yeah,
it's
this
amazing.
guy's come out of nowhere. And
real
again,
self-made, independent wrestler made good. It's a great story.
WrestleMania match here with Randy Orton.
Current TNA World Champion as well.
Yeah.
You know, so he comes out, he's a Scottish wrestler as well. He sings his own theme tune. It's hilarious. The thing he got really famous for, is like when he was working, say, like ICW in Scotland, and he's carried it through his whole career, is like he would take a song, and so if he was facing whoever, he'd change the lyrics
of their intro
to like take the mick out of it, you know, and stuff like that. So he's an amazing. He actually had. His song was like on Spotify and was trending worldwide. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, we get what is basically not quite a squash match. There's some offense, but it's a short match. So we get like a quick RKO attempt and a roll up. He sets up for the standing ovation, but Randy thumbs in the eye. There's a best power slam in the world by Randy Orton, and sets up for the DDT, which he gets a 2 count from. And then straight into the finish, Joe avoids the RKO and hits his freak of nature move. He does the turnaround taunt, and as the camera's on him and smiling, RKO out of nowhere. Randy gets the 3. He stands him up, he shakes his hand, and he fucking hits an RKO again just because he's a dick.
Yeah.
It was a moment. It was a WrestleMania moment.
Yeah,
it was barely a match, but it was.
But
it was fun.
You gotta love Joe Hendry's positioning on the hard cam, so that when
it was a great shot.
Which kind of brings to me the next matches coming up. Like the next one, Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. Once again, a no build-up sleeper match. I have no care or consideration for Logan Paul. I cannot deny the guy is really, really good, and the matches that he does, which are mainly at pay-per-views, are really good matches. His one with AJ Styles, I've seen AJ Styles pull off better matches, but maybe AJ Styles is just older now. But Logan Paul needs to do something, and needs to do something real fast, like this year, or his gimmick is going to not last. Because if Joe Hendry can come out of nowhere and have a crowd behind him, or Dominic Mysterio can do what he does for 3 years and have the crowd behind him, you aren't getting that with Logan Paul.
I just think he's an attraction match. So I think he's fine. You know, I think he'll carry on doing what he's doing, and then they'll put a title on him at some point. Just to really
but they did. They gave him the US Championship, and he didn't do anything with it.
Well, but that was the point. Is that he was a part timer and he was a heel and stuff. So it was like, you know,
Logan Paul. Before you know it,
I think they'll only put like a world title on him when he can be there.
I was saying to Gary, Logan Paul, before you know it, is going to start trying to do his own wrestling stuff, his own wrestling schools and stuff, because he was in WWE.
I mean, maybe
he's not doing the 320 odd days that
the rest of them. I gotta be honest. This is the thing.
He's treated more like a celebrity.
I just don't care about him as like his brand.
That's what
when he wrestles, I'm like, the fucking boy's a natural.
Yes.
You can't fuck with it.
Then make him do the 300 days.
He's such a natural. Well, he just doesn't. Why? He doesn't need to.
Yes, he does.
Just don't, mate. At the end of the day, again, I just don't care about it. It's
does.
like I'm not really interested in him as a person.
But
I enjoy his matches because I'm like, wow, that line. So he went all the way across the ring. That was fucking impressive.
Yeah, that one match. CM Punk, like you said, has this legacy of matches. That's why you'd rather watch that over Logan Paul. But
it was a Logan Paul match. I mean, having AJ Styles lose to me, I was like, fuck's sake.
Yeah,
really?
I was just.
But it's just everything that he does that's athletic. I appreciate.
It was the build up before the match on the Raw,
well,
where they were trying to get AJ ready to fight someone like Logan Paul. Yeah. He might have to do something that AJ's not comfortable doing, like be evil. Yeah,
having his fucking mate come out again.
Yeah, and all that distraction, all that ruined the match for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I did joke to a friend of mine saying fucking Karrion Kross will be in the Prime bottle or something like that, and he did come out and I was like, fuck, he wasn't in the Prime bottle.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a match. Yeah. I suppose.
Yeah.
After that, you get Liv and Raquel versus Lyra Valkyria and her mystery opponent, because Bayley's been taken out of it because I assume her daughter was wrestling somewhere, so she wanted to let her daughter have a match or something. I don't know. Yeah. But so it turns out to be returning Becky Lynch.
Huge
pop, and and again, it's kind of like the New Day. It was a match that was a let's build to a hot tag to Becky. I was surprised that they won. In a way,
I wasn't.
But not now that I know they dropped it the next night and Becky turned heel.
They did, on Raw.
Yeah, they switched it back. But Becky then turned on Lyra to be a heel, and then obviously so now you've got Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker together with Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you it was a good Raw.
Yeah.
And now Becky's here, so Becky can join her husband.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially after Seth winning the title and then having Becky Lynch come back, I was like, okay, nice. So we might actually get to see them as a couple,
like
in a faction.
The women's tag team title match, it wasn't very good because the women's tag team titles don't have a really good build up. You know, they keep being passed back and forth between.
I also don't like that Lyra's got the Intercontinental title, and it's like, just let her have that, and just let her raise that, because it's a new title as well.
Yeah, it's a new title.
It's done nothing.
And I think that's obviously what they're building up, is that Becky Lynch is going to want that title now to try to give it like prestige or whatever. But when they came out, I feel bad for Raquel Rodriguez. She doesn't seem to have any stance.
She always
outside.
just feels like she's on the periphery of what's
she feels
going
like
on.
like a Mexican Nicole Bass. I suppose.
She's in the Judgment Day, so I guess that works out for her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like Liv Morgan. She is incredible to watch.
When Becky hit, I was like, well, they're winning this match
Yeah,
unless they cheat, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So then Stone Cold tried to kill somebody with a fucking ATV.
Well, that's after he got lost trying to get to the ring.
Yeah. The ramps go up like that, and he decided to come this way and had to reverse it all the way back. I was like, man, his music's been playing for a while. Where the fuck is he?
We had to wait for some people that were at the arena to record what was happening because the WWE did not show it. They just showed this empty ramp with Stone Cold's music playing for ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he went round the ring and just fucking accelerated and hit the barricade. So.
Yeah.
Nick Khan came out and was like, if you want to sue, my first name's Tony.
Yeah.
Man, that woman was like, she like, did she get hit by like the aftershock or what? Because was she like, oh wait,
she got hit with the sudden realization that she might get paid.
Money. Yes.
Oh,
that's exactly what it looked like.
He came out to announce the figure again, which was good because I didn't. Everyone, he will come out for the main event. I was like, why?
Yeah, but he's
got no reason to. So I'm glad that they kept him out.
They paid him a ton to basically be puppeted out and to do his what gimmick, which the crowd weren't even doing until Pat on the commentary started doing the what's. And it was like, this is so cringy.
This is the same thing, obviously, with Shawn Michaels coming out the night before, because Shawn Michaels came out and he had the card hanging at an angle, and the numbers were written in big black letters.
I said that watching it. I said, well, he's just fucking sport the number.
That's it. So then Stone Cold comes out, almost crashes into the crowd. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, that was lucky.
He was drinking before he got out there.
That's it. And then when he got in the ring, he did
Bud Lights. How many can you fucking
all of them?
That's it. He says that his thing. He says how many he's there. He says it's a sellout, and everyone's so happy. But everybody, all 63,000 and how many million at home were like, we don't care. What's happening down there?
Yeah.
I mean, fair play. He did go and check on her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. But obviously it was like, no, you're not driving back if you have a few beers in the ring.
Yeah.
So.
More than a few, I think. Yeah.
So main event.
Main event time finally. So I really like John Cena's blackout entrance. Where it was just his name on the Tron. Everything was blacked out. Cody got dirt bikes and an Iron Man helmet. That was cool.
But the crowd were just not singing his song from the start like they have been in the past. It was like they would much prefer.
I didn't really notice anything. Because this one had a lot of dueling chants, so I think this one was like. I think the crowd were just like.
Cena.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was alright. In fact, I actually made a note saying that the crowd was quite hot on the thing.
It was a traditional great match.
I did not enjoy the match very much at all.
I get what they were frustrated.
To do. Yeah.
With how tired Cena looked, I was frustrated because I've said this many times already that since the Elimination Chamber I haven't seen either of these two wrestle.
Yeah,
I've seen them talk crap to each other week in week out on the build up to this, and some of the stuff they've had to say has been pretty hot. The whole Cena heel turn was pretty interesting after 2 decades of being the good guy, the Make-A-Wish guy, but then for this match to not. It didn't feel like they had any of that motivation and build-up that they had to this match. It felt like it was a blank slate match.
I think
and Cena calling so much audibly as well was just like, this is embarrassing for the main event.
That's his entire career, dude.
Yeah, well, like I said, I missed a lot of it. I stopped watching when he started.
I was like, are they trying to tell the story of every time Cody gets going, Cena puts the brakes on, and it's like, oh, you can't wrestle, I'm gonna do loads of headlocks and hurt wrestles, or are they making up for the fact that, like you said, maybe he can't go at that kind of pace anymore? But whichever it is, it made for quite a boring match. I mean, that's why I think the crowd didn't boo Cody, because to be fair, he was the only one doing anything for the most part. And look, I like John Cena, by the way, but obviously the ending just was shit, because look, this is the one time where I was like, where was The Rock? Okay,
yes.
The Rock should have fucking come out on this one.
This whole storyline's been building.
The ending was so bad.
Maybe I'm wrong. I keep getting told that Travis Scott is a megastar. I don't know.
I never heard of him until wrestling.
He weighs the same as my leg, which means when he gets up and even starts fucking barking at someone, going, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking do you over," I'm like, dude, I got a kid over there kick the shit out of you.
Yeah.
You know. I mean,
it was
fucking. He grabbed him. Cena grabs Cody. And Travis like, so he can hit him while he's on the apron, and the ref's right there. I'm like, well, go on, let him do it. It'll be a DQ.
It was almost as bad as that time that Snoop Dogg was in the match and was trying to wrestle because they had to cover.
Didn't he have to wrestle because somebody got injured?
Yeah, at least he fucking did it because he had to. Yeah, he was booked, man. So it was like
that was it.
It was such a wet fart. What they should have done, to me, if you were going to do this, I'd have been like, do you know what? They should have saved the heel turn. For tonight.
For now, yeah.
For now, they should have done the heel turn on that fucking show.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it basically you basically end up with, like, you know, just to give the finish is Travis Scott comes out, he goes to hit Cody, and at least Cody drops him.
Cody had pinned Cena for a 12 count by the crowd.
Ref was down,
Ref was down.
He gets, and what's it called? Cena gets in the ring with the belt, goes to hit Cody. Cody takes the belt away from him, goes to hit him. Cena does some acting, please don't hit me, Cody. And and Cody does some acting, John. And then John kicks him in the dick, and he hits him with the title, and the ref just recovers, and he pins him, and that's 17, and that was your wet fart of an ending.
But it was just after his birthday as well, so it was
happy fucking birthday.
It was aiming for that.
Thanks for the damp squib that was the end of the show.
I don't know about you guys. I said to Gary, I think earlier, I was like, this as WrestleManias go, when you package it all up together, WrestleMania 1 and 2 together, if you've got a column of bad WrestleManias and a column of good WrestleManias, it still goes in my good WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because LA Knight versus Fatu, because the main event of night 1, which clearly should have closed the show, fucking the triple threat women's title match, the fatal 4-way, intercontinental match. Yeah. And then even under that, Tiffany and Charlotte was still a good match. Do you know what I mean? The fucking spot with Joe Hendry was still really good. So it still goes in my thing, but it's such a someone. I think
Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest was a good match.
Hey man, it's a good work. They worked. They didn't phone it in by any means.
AJ,
There was just, and again, Logan Paul, no one phoned anything in.
Yeah.
Again, I'd say that was Jade Cargill's best match that I've seen personally, but. It does leave a bad taste in your mouth when the ending is so bad, and it's the last thing you see. I mean, for all the jokes about there was the old school thing of like Vince McMahon, where it was like the joke of or the running thing of WrestleMania, or a big thing was Hogan must pose.
Yeah,
it's Hulk Hogan needs to finish this show with his belt posing so the crowd go home happy. Now whether you like Hogan or whatever, I'm just saying is the thing was send that crowd home happy. I think if you'd have just flipped the main events, we'd be going nuts about it.
Waiting to find out what happens on Raw next.
And because also you could have done a bit of damage control on night 2 from the night before. You could have done something with it, maybe added a little bit of intrigue to it. But I don't want to say I still enjoyed this WrestleMania.
Yeah,
there were some amazing matches on there. Again, I'll put that women's opener on night 2 up with absolutely one of the best opening matches to a WrestleMania of all time.
Nice.
And again, from a main event on night 1, I was very sports entertained.
Very good. Yeah. As the first full WrestleMania that I've watched in 20 odd years.
Were you knackered after it all?
I was, because I was also trying to watch the 3-hour Hall of Fame thing as well.
Yeah.
It's so long.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in, but I actually did enjoy the majority of it. Like I said, there was only 2 matches I didn't really, the Drew McIntyre Damian Priest one I didn't watch too much of, and the Jade Cargill Naomi match I didn't really watch much of that one either. But every other match, I felt like the wrestlers knew it was WrestleMania and wanted to
volume went up. Volume went up, didn't it?
But the overall impact was that I also felt like all of the commercials in the ring still bugs the crap out of me.
Yeah, I hate the advertising.
All of the constant cutaways to the commercials, or that the wrestlers were wearing products to advertise stuff was really freaking awful.
I think I'm immune to it now because I've had longer.
Sure.
Yeah,
Fair,
yeah,
maybe.
I'd say the same.
So I can go back to like LA Knight versus Bray and the fucking Mountain Dew Lights Out match.
Yeah.
To me,
Or,
where we
mate,
started. So
what about if you want to go all the way back to fucking WCW, where fucking Randy Savage was having the fucking take up a fucking meaty snack.
well, that's what
match.
LA Knight's doing now, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, he's taking over. Yeah.
On top of that, all of the constant cuts to these famous people that are in
I knew
attendance.
50% of them.
Yeah.
I'd be like, who?
Yeah.
Who? Oh,
Yeah.
Jelly Roll, cool.
That's
who?
it.
Oh, Dana White, I know him. You know,
Macaulay
yeah,
Culkin
it's,
wasn't there this week. Well, is he
I
okay?
know,
Does
it's
anybody know?
crazy. I think
Richard
they know better. They all get boxes.
But
now,
then
so
having
so.
this other celebrity, Travis Scott, like be part of the main event of WrestleMania, get the fuck out of here, please.
I'll give you a moment that will make you love Logan Paul. Actually, I will give you a moment. Yeah, I mean, I saw it. Yeah, he's on the you know, they got the carts backstage, don't they? They cart everyone around and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's sitting on that after his match and carries in his face, and that fucking song was playing all night, wasn't it? Like, the main song that Travis Scott did.
Yeah.
And he literally looked at the camera and went, if I have to hear that song anymore, I'm going to punch Travis Scott in his fucking face. But this, I was like,
Oh, I want
you
to
know
see
what?
that.
Yeah, I was like, do it.
Okay, let's
you
make
will
this-
turn face overnight.
That's the main event of WrestleMania
Yes.
next year.
Yeah.
Jessica made me laugh because, like, when Paul came out, he had the drone, didn't he? And he sort of, like, he lets the drone off, and then he does that. And Jessica sat there with me, and she just goes, gay.
But yeah, otherwise, still entertained. Some quality matches. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking.
And again, I like that it started more.
I'm-
It seemed to start more than it finished.
I'm looking forward to next year's WrestleMania because I actually have a strong feeling that I'm strong feeling that by the end of this year,
Agreed,
WWE
Richie.
is going to literally be on the Netflix era. Like everything we're seeing coming to end this year is like the end of what the Attitude Era was, or what the end of the Ruthless Aggression Era was. This is the end of the John Cena era, the end of the Vince McMahon going into Netflix.
Well, I think, like you said, with John Cena, like, you know, audibly, you know.
You know, this feels like a change is coming. If it works, wrestling.
Hey, he did keep his promise. He said he was going to ruin wrestling.
Yeah, he was. And he is.
And at the end of that main event, I was like, "You motherfucker, you did
You
it."
almost did it. I mean, wrestling's always changing.
Only for that moment. Don't worry.
They
Don't
always
worry,
say
only for that
the
moment.
card is subject to change, and I'm always up for that. We've got what?
I just wish they'd do it now and again.
We've got what? 26 dates now to the end of the year that Cena
I
has.
really
Yeah.
liked that on Raw.
his
You wouldn't have
countdown.
seen that.
I
Yeah, he
haven't
came
yet.
out and he had like, because I think if he
And
had something
that's-
like 30 dates or 35
That's
dates announced,
dates.
didn't
That's
he?
not matches. He
Yeah.
just has to turn
Turn
up.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he
And-
seems to just turn up on every show and get
And so-
RKO'd or something, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah. So they are building up something with Cena. They're building up something with Seth. The WrestleMania was great for me. I'm glad I just got up in the morning and watched it. There's no way I could do
I
it.
stayed up for night one. Night two was the following day.
If I'd have stayed up for night one, I'd have been fine. If I'd have stayed up for night two, I'd have been pissed. But,
Yeah.
well, only because of the ending, though. But
Yeah.
John Cena on Raw, he came out and he kind of said it popped up. It said something like 35 on the Titantron, and he started rattling off the dates.
Yeah,
where
the
they
dates
started
that he
counting
showed.
down
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
it got to wherever. Well, they were in Vegas again. So when he said
Yeah.
Vegas again, it stopped, and he's got something like 28, and he's like, "You've got me 28 more times," or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Randy Orton fucking arcade out of nowhere.
He's taking that title with him. So
Oh, he's definitely
Awesome.
leaving with that belt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank you, Andy, for taking us through WrestleMania 41.
Yes.
We're going to take a very small
Same time
break.
again next year, chaps.
But when we come back, we'll be answering your questions. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to the third part of the podcast where we will be answering your questions.
Yeah.
First question today, or first announcement today, is from Stephen Sloan.
What
What
up,
up, Steven?
Steven?
It's my birthday today, boys.
Happy
if you could give
birthday.
me a birthday shout out, I'd appreciate it.
Happy birthday, Steven.
As for a quick
Jinx.
question, I'm Scottish. You got any favourite Scottish singers or bands? Thanks.
Joe Hendry.
Nice. I actually was really surprised with
Relevant.
this one. Because obviously I just wanted to really go with just the Proclaimers for a laugh.
Fair.
You know, because I do like that song.
Yeah.
Susan Boyle.
But I did decide to have a look. Annie Lennox.
Yeah, Annie Lennox is Scottish,
Fucking,
yeah.
I think,
Shirley Manson and Garbage.
yeah, there's a band I really like as well, Idlewild. They're pretty damn good. I mean, I do like a couple of Lewis Capaldi songs.
Fair, yeah.
You know.
I'd definitely say Biffy Clyro.
Oh, nice.
One
yes.
of my favourites. Jesus and Mary Chain as well. It was pretty awesome. They're like a alternative rock band. They did Snake Driver for the Crow soundtrack.
Nice.
Really
Nice.
cool. Travis as well. Travis
I'm going to go with AC/DC. Now, technically, they are an Australian creation.
I was gonna say.
I just noticed this at the bottom of Gary's notes. I'm like, what?
AC/DC were formed by Glasgow-born brothers Angus and Malcolm Young with another Scotsman lead singer, Bon Scott, who performed with the band until 1980 until he passed away.
He was already really
Dropping knowledge.
Yeah.
AC/DC are actually playing in Scotland this year as part of a tour, and they're going to Edinburgh to, pay tribute to the fact that that is their hometown originally. So AC/DC, awesome. They emigrated to Australia, then the band, but they're from Scotland.
Yeah,
so
from Scotland. There you go.
Motorhead as well. Like Lemmy is God, therefore he is all of us. So he's, he's also my favourite, black artist as well. So there you go. Lemmy.
Okay.
God rest you, Lenny.
Lemmy gets
Cheers for the question, Stephen. Hope you had a fantastic birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, dude.
Next question is from Natalie Holbert.
Hey,
what up,
Natalie?
Hello, my kittens. Hope you are well. It was many years ago that I attended a wrestling event in London. There was shock and outrage as it was discovered that Triple H and Stephanie were having a secret affair.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyway, I'll keep to the topic and ask what your wrestling name would be. Maybe we can borrow from the adult entertainment industry the formula and go with a type of movement.
Oh, I was just going to be like Lisa Ann.
The name of a childhood pet and the name of the first road that you lived on.
Oh, okay.
That would make me Wandering Cookie International. This is Natalie.
Okay.
But maybe not. Over to you.
Decent. Triple A for sure.
That would make me Bending Brett Keam. But my actual wrestling name was Crimson Soul, so there we go.
Just funny, I love how Natalie's things always start with where it's like, it was many years ago. It's like a fucking record scratch. You're probably wondering how I got in this situation.
Let me take you back, way back when.
What's the rules? So, alright, jumping...
It's a movement.
Odin high.
Did you say jumping?
Yeah, why not?
You stole jumping from me. I was about to do jumping.
Well, technically now you're stealing it from me. Or you do jumping.
So I can do
I'll
jumping.
say squatting then.
Okay.
Thrusting.
Yeah.
Lunging.
Lunging. Well, mine's pretty... I'm trying to think mine's pretty shit. Cause
What's the name of your first childhood pet?
Smudge.
That is bad.
And my street name, is it street name?
So your middle name's Smudge and your last name's
Folston. So it's like...
Smudge Folston.
So
Smudge Folston.
Lunging
Smudge
Folston.
See, I get the badass one with Odin and then like high. Like fucking, yeah.
Thanks, Natalie.
Every time I do one on WWE, I always call it Loken out of the Horus Heresy books.
Yes,
Nice,
yes.
very good. Thank you for the question, Natalie.
Which is way better.
Next question is from Terence Christopher Rogers.
What up, Terence?
What's up, Terence?
What's your opinion on Transformers 1? I only asked because not many people went to the cinema to see it, but in my opinion was better than the original Bayverse film. I'll be watching as always, my dudes.
I mean, better than the original Bay films is a low bar.
Because you said you
I did recently rewatch them and just spat fury into the air. I've not seen Transformers 1, so I'll let you guys say.
Transformers 1 is an animated one.
It's the one with Thor in, right?
Set on Cybertron, and I think it's a young Optimus Prime and a young Megatron being friends, and then something bad happens, and Megatron obviously becomes the leader of the Decepticons, and they realise they're actually going to battle now for the future. And
is there a Friends montage in the movie?
The trailer. In fairness, I don't know, but I saw the trailer and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna willingly watch that because this animated Transformers movie is going to be garbage in comparison to the 1984 original Transformers animated movie, which I absolutely adore. But then if you compare it to the Transformers Michael Bay franchise, it's actually a lot better because at least they might hold some continuity. Because as Andy said earlier, when he watched the movies and he got to the Anthony Hopkins one,
I was spitting fire before this podcast, I'm not going to lie.
I watched the one with the
Rise of the Beast.
Rise of the Beast with the...
That one was beyond a paywall, thankfully, so I
Optimus
stopped.
8
I was like,
all
get
that.
fucked.
It's set in 1994, and these Transformers come from another planet with this space bridge thing to hide on Earth away from Unicron. So they're hiding on Earth, right? They're hiding on Earth. while at the same time Optimus there and Bumblebee's there, and if this is tied into all the other Michael Bay movies, then Megatron is there underneath the dam because he's been held there since he crashed there in the ice. You've got the Fallen on the moon who's waiting for Megatron to come back so they can get that fucking machine which is in the pyramid. Leonard Nimoy's Ultra Magnus, no, not Ultra Magnus, is fucking the other Sentinel Prime, Prime. Is on the dark side of the moon waiting to be revived because he's got the fucking...
Where's the Dinobots?
Totem poles. Yeah,
well, don't forget, dude, they didn't even arrive until the first fucking movie, apparently.
Well, apparently...
But Bumblebee fought in World War II. So...
Yeah,
Transformers 1 is probably better than those. Yeah, I agree. Having not seen it, I will probably say it's still better.
I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll probably watch it for fun.
I'll catch it at some point.
Yeah.
I will catch it at some point, but I'm just not. Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Terrence.
Yeah.
Next question is from Paul Atherton.
What up, Paul?
Okay, I've got a bit of a long one here for you guys.
Oh, that's what
Howdy, guys. Hope you had an egg-tastic Easter period.
Yes,
nice.
To Andy and Iain, what did you both think of WrestleMania Night 1 and 2?
Let me get my notes.
Right, I might need an hour.
Yeah.
I thought the Roman Punk Seth triple threat stole it by a mile. Night 2, I thought the Cena-Cody match wasn't good. Pathetic finish.
Nice.
We're in agreement.
We're with you all the way so far, mate.
I thought the Fatal 4-Way was match of the night. Glad Dom won the IC title.
Like he was here with
yes.
us.
Yeah. Cena's title defense will probably be at Backlash against Orton. Yep. And Punk at Money in the Bank, probably rematch with Cody at SummerSlam, leading to this new Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view.
Dude, you could have saved us a fucking hour and a half. We could have just read this out.
Yes.
And just that would have been the entire section. Like,
you're on the ball, Paul.
Yeah.
100% so far, bro.
I saw a few new movies like Sinners, which wasn't bad. Minecraft, really
Okay,
dull.
fuck you, really good.
Only decent thing in it was Jack Black. Snow White wasn't any better. Okay, but the question...
Oh, so you just go watch anything. All right, fair enough, man.
He's a man of many tastes.
He is, clearly.
The question, though, from Paul is, what are your top 5 werewolf and vampire movies? That's to all three of us. For his, it's American Werewolf in London, Dog Soldiers, Bad Moon, Howling and Ginger Snaps, Lost Boys, Fright Night, From Dusk Till Dawn, and John Carpenter's Vampires, and Salem's Lot, and Interview with the Vampire.
I fucking love vampires.
Keep up the hard work, guys. Looking forward to the podcast this coming Saturday. Luckily, it's my single day off, so I'll be glued to my TV. Fist bumps. Cheers, Paul.
Right,
I love that you put Ginger Snaps on your list.
Now, I'm sorry,
Solid.
but I'm going to have to make an elite decision here, obviously, because we are in the Q&A and the time is ticking on. And if we all do, like, 5 werewolf movies...
Well, no, he's done most of them.
Each.
I've already done I got my list ready to go.
Well, yeah. Okay, well, I was gonna say we're... Like, is that just your vampires one?
From Dusk Till Dawn, Werewolves Within. That's my 5. Number 4, Fright Night, Howling. Number 3, Near Dark, The Company of Wolves. Number 2, Lost Boys, Dog Soldiers. Number 1, Interview with the Vampire, American Werewolf in London.
I'd have so put Werewolf Within on mine as well. Really? Yeah, it's fucking great.
It's so fun.
It's so funny. That's great.
That for me has bumped off Ginger Snaps, because otherwise I would have said that too.
Yeah, I mean, only just to throw some out that no one mentioned, I guess. Vampire in Brooklyn's pretty fun as well with Eddie Murphy. I enjoy that one. Shadow of the Vampire is fucking great.
Shadow of the Vampire with fucking
What We Do in the Shadows as well. The original of that one. I like Daybreakers. I'm gonna fucking say
Ethan
it.
Hawke is great.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Sam Neill, Ethan
Let
Hawke.
the right one in.
Yeah,
either
class
version,
the original.
Really, if you're gonna the original one, yes, but if you can get the Chloe Martinez ones, that's probably...
I'll just watch the original again.
A few of those are combined. Like someone Richie put Underworld. Now Underworld is walks between the worlds. Fucking Van Helsing.
Yeah, The Hunger.
Hunger's great. Yeah.
Hotel Transylvania.
Kronos.
Hotel Transylvania 2.
Kronos is a cracker.
Kronos, yeah.
What's that one with fucking Nicolas Cage?
What?
Renfield.
Well, there's Renfield, yeah, but there's also an older one from the 80s where he's a vampire.
Oh, fucking yeah, where he thinks he's a vampire.
I'm
Yeah,
a vampire.
Shit, I remember. Chat keeps honest.
There's the one where the mobster, he gets turned into a vampire and he's going around turning his mobster friends. That's pretty badass as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, Blade's a great cause.
Blade's great.
Werewolf Silver Bullet's a badass.
Werewolf Women of the SS.
Like, we are going too far. See, that's why I wanted to keep it short, but now we're just going all over the place. Yeah. All of them.
I think you've hit the...
Yeah,
I mean, Lost Boys and Dog Soldiers are probably my
Thanks,
top
Paul.
of the two, yeah.
Might just ask Paul for a theme
Nosferatu,
next time.
Dracula, you know, just the Francis Ford Coppola one's pretty fucking amazing.
Curse of the Queer Wolf definitely got an honourable mention.
Lesbian
for the
vampire
questions, Paul.
killers.
Yeah. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, that was terrible.
It's better than Romulus.
Damn near unwatchable.
Yeah.
Next question's from Havard Ryan.
What up, Havard?
What's the worst Arnie movie and the worst Sly movie?
Oh.
And which one is worse overall? Explanations and quotes
Fucking hell.
from the movies are a must in your answers. For me, I'll start. My worst Sylvester Stallone movie is either Oscar, which Ian and I reviewed.
I love Oscar.
But I think I'm going to lean on to The Specialist from 1994.
Oh, yeah. That's bad.
With Sharon
Yeah.
Stone.
Really?
That film was
That's
just
not, like,
boring.
To some of them, it's not that bad.
I don't know
Shit.
if it's The Specialist or Assassins.
Assassins
One of
with
them is bad.
Benicio del Toro.
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas, yeah.
I just killed your brother.
But you know what? I would probably say that the Get Carter remake is probably his worst, but I refuse to watch it, so I can't mention it.
It's pretty bad.
For Stallone, I'm gonna say Expendables 4. It was fucking.
Wasn't it the
dreadful.
fifth one? Was it
No,
4
it
or
was
5?
4. It was the one where they
Yeah.
filmed it on the
Spy Kids
same on one
3D.
fucking green screen.
Yeah,
Spike is really- I
it
like
was
Spike
terrible.
Kids movies.
Go
For
on,
me,
say
for
your
Arnie,
Arnie.
for me, it's Conan the Destroyer, without a doubt. Considering
Oh, no,
Conan is so good,
I've got
the
a way
follow
worse
up
one.
is just no.
See, Conan the Destroyer is bad, but Terminator
It turns
Dark
it so
Fate.
campy.
Did you?
Terminator 2?
I could watch any Terminator film over Conan the Destroyer, any of them.
No, Dark Fate. Come on, the fucking Terminator makes drapes, man. Fuck
I know.
that. Conan the Destroyer.
I can at least
Listen,
just enjoy
okay,
the action.
Let's not go back 3 years, but all I was going to say is there's a fucking movie called Iron Mask that he did with Jackie Chan, which is I think I managed about 30 minutes of that piece of shit.
Oh God,
And that is
that is bad.
that is so bad. I would literally watch Terminator Dark Fate before I watch that piece of shit.
You are.
And I can't give you a comment. I can't give you a line from it. Just like I guess what I said, which was "fuck this movie" and turn it off.
It does. I think I remember seeing some of that movie, and it feels like actually they're on two different sets, or they're not actually.
I thought it was like a high budget advert for something.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be for car insurance, isn't it?
Yeah, and it just
I was like, this is a Super Bowl ad, right?
It just doesn't end.
Nope.
The film just keeps
I've not
going.
seen it, so I couldn't have chosen that one either.
Oh man, yeah.
Man, you will be begging to watch Conan
I
the
did get
Destroyer.
I did get some quotes though. One from Specialist, but it's not a Sylvester quote, but it's at him.
Yeah.
And it's from Sharon Stone, who says, "You know, the next time you order a hit, you might want to consider taking out your decorator."
That's bad.
And the one I got from Conan was from Princess Jenna to Conan saying, "I suppose nothing hurts you." And Conan replies, "Only pain."
Pain. Pain.
Poor Conan.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's bad. But when he stands there, and I quote, he says to one of the other characters, "I was telling to a customer that he shouldn't have butterflies in his daughter's bedroom. He should have polka dots that go all the way down. Now I'm going to go get a minigun and a grenade launcher and take on a fucking Rev 9 from the fucking future." Fuck this shit. Next question.
Thanks for the question, Hammond.
Thanks, yeah.
Next
Howard.
question's
I
from
think.
Josh Delamonte.
What
What
up,
up, Josh?
A question. Best blockbuster of all time. I think for me it's still Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. My first initial response straight away is just Jaws.
Yeah.
Jaws from 1975. It's the first known, branded blockbuster, I suppose. As a movie, I looked at the top 200 highest grossing movies of all time. And the next one that stood out to me was Jurassic Park. I was like,
that's
there's
the
Spielberg
answer
again.
I'll always give you, is because it's the only time I can actually ever remember. Blockbuster literally does mean queued around the block of the building, and that is, I remember in '93, it was me and two
6
friends on
hours.
someone's birthday waiting in line to watch
6
this
hours
frickin'
waiting for
movie.
Jurassic Park.
It was crazy, absolutely crazy. So I'll always say Jurassic Park.
Yeah. That's the one I remember. It like in my lifetime, obviously. I wasn't born in '75, but the last major blockbuster I remember was probably Independence Day.
Oh yeah,
That's a good punt.
That was
That's a big
that
one.
was huge numbers.
That was
It's
massive.
not on the. I think it's like in the top 100 highest grossing movies of all time. But yeah, the advertising and the marketing for that film was so huge. It was inescapable. And that was the only time I remember going to the cinema and being told... Sorry, the first time I ever going to the cinema and being told, we're sold out today, tomorrow, and the next day. Come back next week. And it was
Yeah.
like... Ugh.
Yeah.
Like, because... everyone wanted to see Independence Day at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
But other modern ones, Avengers Endgame,
I was going to say
Dune,
Avengers.
and maybe Logan.
Like,
all in the top 200.
Avengers is probably the biggest one I remember for both
As a
movies.
modern.
As modern for both movies where people were like, as soon as that movie drops, my ticket's already booked, I'm going to go watch it. You know, when people were saying they went and watched a movie like...
the big Avengers have
2
always
or
been
3
pre-ordering and
times.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame, because of the other build-ups and all the other movies, that was a blockbuster. Like, it also... Like, you know,
Dark Knight, like, at least 3 times in the cinema as well.
The Dark Knight as well. The Dark Knight...
Technically more, because I saw it again later, but when it first
people
came
were
out.
excited to watch it, and then when it dropped and people knew how good it was, they just kept going back to it. Yeah.
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 Alrighty, well that was it for the Facebook questions.
Woo, yeah.
Let's just quickly go over here. First question we have here is from Rio Quinn.
What up, real quick?
What up?
Not shed a tear playing a video game since Lost Odyssey, but Claire Obscure Expedition 33 broke me.
That's just dropped.
What are some video games that have completely destroyed your emotions?
Conflict Vietnam.
Yeah.
Alex Kidd.
As in cried because of story, or like, because fuck
King.
this game?
Fuck this game. But the fact that when I get to that point, because I've accomplished it, it's fucking emotional. I want to say Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2 is a
always.
good one, yeah. For me, the most recent one is Plague Tale 2 Requiem.
Yeah.
I remember, I was fucking devastated by the end of that game, and then a month later I streamed it, and then it was literally devastated all over again by the end. So I don't think anything will hurt as much as that did.
I'll always say Gears 3.
Oh,
When Dom dies.
Yeah.
Gears 2 when he finds...
Yeah, when he finds Maria, yeah.
Yeah.
But, man, the opening of The Last of Us is
That's solid.
fucking hard work as a parent. I've got to admit, that
Yeah.
one's pretty fucking brutal.
Duke Nukem Forever.
When you realise you paid for this piece of shit.
When the
Yeah.
babes got turned into aliens.
When it destroyed my emotions, man. Emotionally, man.
Hellblade, Send You a Sacrifice, I always say, because that's such a fucking visceral...
Psychological journey.
Psychological
that was,
journey,
yeah.
absolutely. So,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, Mahoyage in the chat saying Carlax ending if she's your love interest in Baldur's Gate 3. Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Great question, though, David. That's made me want to check out. I mean, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, I believe, is free on Game Pass at the moment.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those turn-based Japanese anime.
But it looks stunning, beautiful.
You can
They've
say
got
Japanesey,
they've
dude.
got they've got voice actors and mocap actors from Baldur's Gate in it, and I've heard that their performances are phenomenal. It's like when I saw the trailer for this game, I was like, it's on my to play list. Sadly, right now I've got a backlog, and I'm still playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is a behemoth game as it is, so I'm glad to know that I don't have to pay out for Expedition 33, and it's there waiting for me.
You ever played Spec Ops: The Line?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
The
a
napalm
moment.
strike was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty
This game come with a
brutal.
warning.
Yeah. So no one fucking told me shit.
Alrighty, next question is from Matthias.
What up, dude?
What about those?
Question for Andy.
Oh.
No.
Have you seen movies because you've got interested by an off-the-shelf review? And what did you think? Andy doesn't
No.
know.
He doesn't watch our reviews.
I have to hear it live.
He doesn't.
I don't know. I guarantee you that you guys have recommended movies and I've watched them, but I can't cite you to a specific review of anything. No, to be fair. And a lot of the time we talk about so many of the same movies that when they're new. Do you know what I mean? Old ones. I don't know. I'm trying to think of stuff. You've both recommended stuff because, like, when we get to the end of the year, especially, you know,
He
you
still
guys
doesn't watch
will pick some stuff up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just can't think of anything. I could say definitely that you pointed, but I guarantee you there'll be stuff at the end of the year that that
We
I get
do
pointed
tend to trade because you asked me before we started the podcast, have I watched Wolfman yet?
Yeah, just like
No.
yeah.
Thank you for the question, though, Matthias. Next question is from Solza.
What up,
What
Solza?
up, Soldier?
Someone asks you, I've never watched wrestling.
Oh,
Just stop talking to him.
you just walk away. You're like,
What is your Mount Rushmore of wrestling matches?
oh,
I'd go with Steamboat Savage, WrestleMania 3, Bret Hart, British Bulldog, SummerSlam 92, Kurt Angle, Heartbreak Kid, WrestleMania 21, Randy Orton, Cactus Jack, a Backlash 04.
oh,
Your
right.
first two
Nice.
are on mine for a start.
Yeah.
Steamboat Savage at WrestleMania 3 is what made me be a wrestling fan in the first place. It was the first pay-per-view I ever watched, and it's like, after watching that, I was like, why is everyone so hyped about fucking Hogan and Andre at the end of this, when clearly the best match was the IC title? But yeah, Bret Hart and Bulldog, because it's in our home country, Bulldog can win. And when you know that he was high on crack all the way through, and Bret managed to pull that one through. Maybe Austin Bret as well, from
one that
Mania,
just went
the
in.
double
The
turn, because
submission.
that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't not have Shawn Michaels in there. You know,
Gotta have a
obviously,
Shawn Michaels
it's
match.
that is a great call from Mania 21.
The Undertaker match.
I was just about to say it's got.
It's got to be an
Most
Undertaker
people
match.
say 25. I always go 26 because of the stakes being higher. It's almost like maybe 25 was a slightly better match from a technical standpoint, but 26 was the match that ended his career because there was nothing else after. Shut up. You know, obviously Taker's in prime, and that set of 4 years between him and HBK and then in against Triple H is so amazing. So I think I would definitely just say, I'd probably say WrestleMania 26 in that case.
For me, my
What
favorite
four
match,
Hunter Hearst Helmsley matches would you?
yeah, I was going to say
Gary?
Triple H versus The Rock, Triple H versus Stone Cold, Triple H versus Cactus
Undertaker,
Jack, and Triple H versus Shawn
Undertaker.
Michaels. No, actually, my favorite match in
No,
wrestling
H
of all
versus
time.
The Rock at Backlash 2000 is a pretty good call.
Yeah.
When Austin comes back, that's a
Yeah.
pretty fucking boss match.
My favorite match of all time is Edge and Christian versus the Dudleys versus the Hardy Boys in a TLC match.
man.
Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I didn't even like the Dudleys at the time, but you just can't help but appreciate how much they bring their characters, their
they
presence.
down there kill
And
each
when
other.
he turns to Devon and goes, "Get the tables," you're like,
Someone's gonna get
someone's
hurt.
going through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so amazing. So yeah, that's my number one match of all time. I think my number two under that is going to be Kurt Angle, probably versus Benoit.
Oh yeah.
The two of them were incredible together. Such athleticism and power and technical ability, insane. My number three will probably be. I'm struggling. I'm going to go with Triple H versus Cactus Jack
Well, the Rumble
at the Rumble.
the street
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Rumble or
Because I
Hell in a
honestly
Cell.
thought that Triple H was losing that one. I was like, no, he actually beat Cactus Jack. He's on top. So that was incredible.
The Hell in a Cell is a good pull as well.
Yeah.
Against
What, Taker,
Mankind. So, yeah.
I mean,
the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
gonna say,
The
yeah.
thing is, there's most of that match is just like just watching Mankind just flat out unconscious almost.
Yeah.
Like
But-
he
Undertaker
deserves a break,
just
to be fair.
yeah.
See, for me, it would have to be like I'm gonna take Undertaker versus Mankind in Hell in a Cell. I know it's not really even a match, but at that point, it just cemented everything.
Fucking
that was
execution.
just fucking great about wrestling, and you're just like, how did nobody die in this? Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels in the Hell in a Cell the 2 years before. It was
Bad
just
blood.
True, yeah.
such great. They'd
Debut
already-
of Kane as
they already
well.
had-
That was great.
Well, they already had
One of the
thing
greatest
with
debuts
the
ever.
Ground Zero match where it just turned into a massive fight. Then you had the Hell in a Cell where Kane turns up. Then you have the Royal Rumble come after where he injures his
Yeah, he
back
hurts his back.
and fucking Kane Undertaker gets taken out, and that starts the whole Austin thing. You just cannot have a Bret Hart match up there. Bret Hart has to be up there, and him and Austin and that
Yeah,
submission match.
I do agree.
You know
It's
what?
just fucking so disgustingly good.
I would also throw out Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect, SummerSlam 91 for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah,
Is a
yeah.
fucking masterclass.
Yeah. Yeah, Kurt Angle probably versus Eddie Guerrero. Like
the Mania match?
The Mania match, like
WrestleMania
Gary,
20.
Gary played
I can't
that.
remember the pay per view or the
You
event,
played
but
the
I know.
match on here when
Yeah.
we were playing it, and it was just the way it intercut into the stuff the match, and then Eddie starts unloosening his boot, and that leads into the finish.
Yeah, he
It's
goes
so
for the
fun.
ankle
Yeah.
lock and
Like
he
Yeah.
takes it
any
off.
match where Eddie Guerrero was in as well. Fucking hell, yeah, 4 and 5. Like it feels like I'm picking like the last
You
one.
need
so I'm-
4.
Yeah.
4 is Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
That's why it's so
Oh,
bloody
Johnny
hard.
Foreman, okay.
It is.
Right,
Yeah.
last one, I am going to go SummerSlam 1998, Triple H, The Rock ladder match, Intercontinental title.
Made 2 of the biggest stars.
Love
ever.
it.
Nice.
Love it.
Excellent question. Cheers, Salza. Next question is from Waffles Hannibal.
What up, Waffles?
Hey guys, any other review channels on YouTube that you follow and recommend?
I'm not really review channels, I suppose. Oh no, actually, Civvy11. I don't know if he's a reviewer. Yeah, he's a reviewer.
Yeah, well, yeah,
he's a reviewer. He reviews retro games, first-person shooters, and stuff like that.
His gimmick is that he's kind of locked in a basement and he can't escape until he's reviewed whatever they say next.
And they torture him.
They still don't let him out.
He is so funny, and
so he's kind of bitter and salty as well.
He's kind of like who was that other guy? You know, he's from Australia. And he recently quit his fucking channel on YouTube and started up his own one. Fucking Yahtzee. Was it Yahtzee?
Oh yeah, well he's basically got fired from whatever. It's because he's basically doing his own thing now.
But Civvy11 is kind of what
zero punctuation.
Zero punctuation. Yeah. Civvy11 is kind of like him, but kind of more funnier, and he does old school first person games. So and off the shelf reviews because they're fucking badass.
Never heard of him.
One in the hat's funny as fuck.
He is?
Yeah. That's a beanie. Wow. A beanie's not a hat.
Set that up.
It's like a turban.
Sorry, go on.
My highest recommendation is obviously Red Letter Media. I talked about them many a times. They are fantastic. They did their Star Wars reviews, way back when, like almost 20 years ago now. And believe it or not, like I think we started
when people like
a week or two before Red Letter Media started their Half in the Bag show.
Yeah.
So it was I love Mike, Jay, and Rich listening to them talk about Star Trek, Star Wars, anything and everything. Even if they're just talking about nothing, they're fantastic to listen to. They have what I think Iain and I have, which is long history, good chemistry, and friendship. And so whatever we're talking about, it shows, and so when you watch RLM you feel it from them as a group, and plus they're always drinking and they're always watching absolute shit movies and having fun tearing it apart. So yeah, like high rating for them. If you've never heard of them, go and check them out. The other ones that I like to watch, probably I can't remember what the channel's called, but I think it's like Stitched Together Productions. And it's Andy, the maniacal cinephile, who does a show called Boots to Reboots. And he's basically got this giant fucking new rock boot that he will drop down on shitty remakes. So he's just gone through. Like he's got a list that's absolutely ginormous, and he's scrolled on every single horror remake, and he's going through the list. He's done so well that he now has like a budget for a studio. He's got 3 versions of himself. He's an escaped burn victim. Somebody threw hot cheese sauce in his face, so he's all bandaged up.
Oh, nice.
And he's got baby version of him version of him, and the dark version of him, and the 3 of them converse to each other.
He's got fatalities and baby, so he's
he's got a budget, so he'll dress up as Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. Cool. He does a fantastic Rob Zombie impersonation. So he's really fun. What he says about movies, if you're a horror fan, he's on our level. He's one of the good ones. So check out Andy, the maniacal cinephile. That's my other huge recommendation.
That's cool, man. Review channels, I'm trying to think, because... Well, I mean, I like... Cody Leach is good for film reviews, and again, a big horror fan. I really enjoy his stuff, because he, again, just chill, and just, like, puts his opinion out there. I really like his stuff. Jeremy Jones is quite good. Again, just chill guy, like, and they're pretty good at keeping up with, like, new stuff that's coming out, I suppose. I mean,
we're not.
Wrestling review.
I'm feeling personally hit here.
Well, I'm trying to think. Wrestling reviews are difficult because Cultaholic is probably my favourite wrestling channel. There are also more news, I suppose, but they do review.
I tell you what, I've been watching Wrestlemania for my wrestling news lately.
I fucking hate Wrestlemania.
Really?
I can't stand his fucking voice for a start, and that's a lot of it.
You know what? I know I've listened to him too much because when I was reading wrestling news, I was reading it in his voice.
He will put you to sleep.
Do you either of you watch Botchamania?
No.
I mean, I don't watch it, but obviously it comes up, doesn't it?
Is it OSW? that do retro wrestling podcasts?
Yes.
Yeah, they're really fun to
OSW
listen
is
to.
pretty fun, yeah.
So yeah, they're pretty good. Other than that, I can't really think of
Botchamania
any
is
other.
just somebody who just watches wrestling, takes all the botches and then
Just puts them together.
Yeah.
And you're watching some of the ones off TV and you're like, yeah, I saw that. And, oh, that looks bad. And then you get to the indie ones, you're like, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. And that's you should
I hate watching those videos now. Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Waffles. Next question is from Richie Cornbread.
What up,
Richie?
Cornbread?
Amazing podcast as always, and the best way to spend a few hours on a Saturday night. I wasn't going to ask a wrestling question today, but my youngest gave me that look that is impossible to say no.
Oh no.
So, guess I'll save my question for another podcast. He would like to know, how did you all get into wrestling, and who is your most underrated and most overrated wrestler? Good question.
I got into wrestling when I was a kid because you're growing up in the 80s and somebody says watch this, and wrestling was big during the 80s, so I sat down and I watched it, and it was just everywhere. Toys, cartoon series, video games. I'm like, this is great. I love this. And everyone's like, but it's fake, and I'm like, okay, but you still want me to watch it, right?
No, at that age, no one told me when I was a kid, because I was a kid. They let me just enjoy it, so that was cool.
Yeah, for me, they just totally
And it was
tried
still
to
the
spoil
80s. Some people didn't know.
I mean, that's it. I remember my mum.
Some adults.
My mum trying to sell me that Hulk Hogan was in hospital because Earthquake had sat on his chest, and broken
Facts.
his ribs, and it was like a big thing. So then,
Write that man a letter.
I tried to get out of it, but then the Attitude Era came along, and Austin and DX, and I was like, I'm fucking loving this. People were like, grow up, and I'm like, okay. And then we get into 2000, and you get the fucking Ruthless Aggression and the corporate takeover, and I'm like, so I'm growing up with this, and it's still cool. I'm 42 now. It's on Netflix. People are still watching it. People want to tell me it's fake and I shouldn't be watching it. But I go into work and people are walking up to me who I don't know, and they're like, "Did you watch wrestling the weekend?" I'm like, "Of course I did." I was sat there in my shorts drinking beer.
You're like, "Don't talk to me, you fair weather casual."
And people walk past like, "Oh,
you're the reason the tickets are
again."
expensive, prick.
Yeah. So
most overrated and underrated.
Most underrated wrestler. Come back to me while I think.
Well, I'll say, how I got into it was literally my dad bought WrestleMania 3, and that was it. Done deal. I can still remember watching it with me, my dad, and a friend of my dad's at the time. I can tell you exactly where I was sat on the couch. I can remember the TV I watched it on, and I remember immediately falling in love with it after watching the King Kong Bundy mixed midget tag. And I was like, this looks like something I want to be involved in. But then all jokes aside, like I said, as soon as I watched Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat, that was it. You were done. I was like, this is a thing I can watch.
Yeah, I'm going to keep watching it.
And then my dad was like, I was like, oh, then, because I could only watch WWF at the time whenever we got a video of it. I couldn't watch it on anything.
Yeah.
So I grew up a lot of the time watching World of Sport.
Yeah.
And
ITV.
Kendo Nagasaki and Giant
Nagasaki.
Haystacks and stuff like that.
Big Daddy.
Yeah. So that was it. Yeah, just pump that shit into my veins.
Yeah.
Me and my brother,
Yeah.
I don't know where this videotape came from. It was one of the WrestleManias. I know Hogan was in it. I know Andre the Giant was in it. But it was like a dual, two VHS cassettes
That was
in one
WrestleMania
box.
4. I can tell you that
4 then.
immediately.
Oh, well, there we go. See, I didn't
it was
even
a
know.
tournament.
Okay, nice, yeah. So, I don't
Macho
know
Man won the tournament.
where that box set came from. It was just in our house one day, and we were like, what's that? Wrestling tapes. What's wrestling? Let's watch it. And it was hours and hours of wrestling. I didn't know who anybody was. But, became a fan then. And then it was a case of trying to catch wrestling, getting my dad to videotape wrestling off late night TV, and then seeing for the first time Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and it's just like, oh my god, when he's got the British Bulldog, this British
They got a dog.
Yeah. And then stopped watching wrestling until my brother got back into the Attitude Era, and he was like, Gary, you gotta watch this. You got these wrestlers and these wrestlers, and Undertaker's still going. I was like, Undertaker's not wrestling anymore. It's probably somebody else. And it's like, oh shit, it's him. And then obviously the Attitude Era got hooked, and then by 2001, 2003, after Randy Orton and CM and John Cena, and it was when Triple H and Flair teamed up.
Evolution.
Evolution. I 4 weeks into Evolution, I tapped out and didn't watch proper wrestling for 20 years.
Oh man, you missed the whole Evolution era.
Yeah,
Man, that was.
I mean,
great.
I've seen highlights.
The golden shovel of Triple H just burying motherfuckers week to week.
Because I heard that and I was like, oh,
it's
kind of lame.
Batista's turn on it.
It was
as
great.
well,
Yeah, it was good.
But the most underrated
Forget how much
wrestler
he
is
put
probably
them
Triple
over.
H. And the most overrated is probably Triple H.
that was going to be my Ric Flair answer.
Do you know what? I gotta say, for me, underrated, I suppose, like for me, is a kind of like someone who didn't ever really get the fucking
push. That he should have.
Dolph Ziggler's one of those guys.
I mean, he was world champion.
Fuck, whatever. That reign was nothing, man. He got bumped around for everyone. Like I could say, like, you know, there's definitely a few, but to me it was it's always sort of like you didn't reach their potential from like the storyline. As in like, fucking, can we now do something with Rusev finally that he's back, for example? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think Dolph Ziggler is one of the most underrated guys from like a perspective of he should have. I can't wait for us to do his thing. Overrated. This might get me hate because if you say this online, you get pegged as a certain type of person. I'm sorry, I've never understood Sasha Banks, or what's she called now, Mercedes Moné. I've watched matches. I've watched matches with her where it's like she gets thrown into a table and like, I'm not being funny, she weighs so little she can't even break the table. I don't buy her as a viable threat to any other woman on the roster that I was watching. Maybe as I can only say her NXT and WWE work.
Mate, I'm the same with Alundra Blaze. I don't think
as overrated.
It's overrated.
Problem you have with Alundra Blaze is at the time is the women's division was so shit.
Yeah, well that's it. And
she couldn't do a lot.
And the thing is, I always think the same thing with Sasha Banks. When she's in the women's division, like, she's trying to be the best of the best, but actually there are better people around her. And like Charlotte Flair is fucking phenomenal in comparison to Mercedes Moné, you know. But they've got to go out there. Wrestlers have to go out there and earn their stripes. Most overrated, Logan Paul. He is just being pushed out there, as we said, as the star figure because he's got some money. He's probably sold the rights to Prime to them so that they can advertise and make more money for themselves. I don't know what's going on there.
That is how advertising.
Yeah, he is phenomenal in the ring, but he's only doing a few matches. Underrated, Owen Hart should have been fucking champion.
Can't argue with that.
Should have had that belt on him. Should have been longer with Intercontinental, but once again got thrown around, pushed around. He carried a lot of those tag matches with British Bulldog.
Yeah,
his fucking match, like that's
fucking had to. Yeah,
because Bulldog was.
That's one of the matches that you actually. I'll change one of my matches on my Mount Rushmore. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania.
Nice, yeah.
Again, contender for one of the best openers of all time.
He should have gone on to fight. He should have been in a triple threat in that main event with his brother and taking the title.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, sorry.
Nice.
My wrestling rant. Sorry.
Cheers for the question, Richie.
Yeah.
Next question is from Mahoyage.
What a Mahoyage!
Favorite wrestler?
Dude, aren't you downstairs?
In a film.
Just shout out. What the fuck?
Favorite wrestler in the film? I will have to go with
Undertaker
Oliver
and Suburban Commando.
Oliver Platt, Ready to Rumble.
But who's your favorite wrestler in that movie?
Oh man, Jesus. It's got to be
Sting.
Goldberg.
No, it's got to be Sting, surely, isn't it?
No, but that Goldberg bit is just like,
you puked on me.
You puked on me. The crowd liked it. I was your partner.
I tell you what, I will say for one is I love Kevin Nash in Longest Yard. When they start giving him like estrogen instead of steroids, and he gets all like, my nipples are killing me, and he's so funny because also like he is at fucking peak physique in that movie. He looks like he'd tear your fucking head off.
Again,
he's so funny.
Kevin Nash in The Punisher with Thomas Jane, where he legitimately got stabbed.
There you go, most underrated as well, Kevin Nash.
People
give him too much
super
shit.
Shredder.
Fucking right.
I'm gonna go with Roddy Piper. They Live.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's. I mean, second to that, I'm going to go John Cena, Suicide Squad. I love his Peacemaker role. That was what really showed me that Cena's actually got some acting chops, and I actually think he's twice the actor The Rock is.
I was going to say, no one's ever going to pull the fucking Rock. I mean, but Batista's had some amazing...
Charisma of The Rock is incredible, yeah.
Batista's had some great roles.
Oh, man, fucking Batista in fucking Blade Runner 2049 and Brunswick. Yeah, Brunswick with fucking Batista.
I still think he's got limited range compared to...
Because of his frame and stuff,
but I still think, because he was also quite
Knock in the Cabin.
That's the one, Knock in the Cabin. He was quite good in that because of his humbled, kind of simple nature that he had.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah. So that was good. So yeah.
Fucking wrestlers, baby.
Yeah. Some of them really do have it.
Isn't it funny how before the transition, it used to be a big thing. If you saw a wrestler in a movie, you became that Leo meme, like like that, you know? But now they're just like there's fucking hundreds of them.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Chris Jericho, MacGruber. Yeah. 2 MacGruber references in one night. Take me on.
Next question, potentially last question. I might just quickly refresh just in case. There may have been another one come through. This is the last question.
Oh yeah,
it's from Nifty Guy.
What up, Nifty Guy?
If wrestling had a transfer trade window, what trades would you make that you think would be beneficial to both companies and wrestlers? Also, how do you decide how or when you will have guest reviewers?
Well, wrestling kind of does have a trade. It's got the fucking draft.
I was just about to say about it. He's talking, but when he says beneficial to both companies, whatever they fucking decide,
or brands,
I think he's more talking about like maybe what AEW to WWE, for example.
Man, well, WWE are already doing it with TNA now, but I'm pretty sure they
WWE. We talk about they're also doing it with AEW.
Yeah.
This is AEW don't get anything back. They're just like we're going to take all your talent.
The comparative thing there is it's just. In AEW,
that would be an interesting.
Will Ospreay needs to get out of AEW as soon as possible and get to WWE before he uses up all of his best years in there. Kenny Omega is at least on the razor's edge of using up all of his best years now in the last of AEW. And if AEW doesn't pull something big out of their ass in the next year or two, they're going to suffer big because WWE... At the moment, they're just fucking riding high, and I know a lot of people complain about them. Oh, they're getting money from the Middle East, and they're doing this and they're doing that. Well, kind of that's how a corporation works.
So I guess you say where he says what trades would you make? So what you'd move like Will Ospreay and
I would definitely.
So okay, so wait, so sorry, if you were saying Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, yeah.
If I,
okay, wait. So that's from AEW.
Yeah.
Who are you trading them for in WWE?
Well, like. The thing is, with Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay in AEW, they're the two biggest
you can't be like Will Ospreay. You get Takizawa.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want to send the likes of Seth Rollins and potentially?
Well, listen, we've just seen it. We've been seeing it with TNA. Like we've just had Joe Hendry come over, and obviously they've also gone over to to TNA.
But TNA always kind of had that lineage with WWE.
Did Fraxium go? Did Fraxium? Wrestled some matches in NXT, didn't they? Because they got called up this week. They're on SmackDown now, which is fucking awesome.
But you got to remember, like the history TNA have with WWE from back in the day when all of the old WWE wrestlers.
I'm just asking. I think they have essentially when it comes to like a trait like he's asking is we kind of have been doing it.
Do you know there is?
What was the women's champion called that moved over again? Fuck, she was in the Rumble. She's in NXT now.
Jordan Grace.
Yes, she's so big. It's like fucking big girl. Yeah, Jordan Grace coming over. So yeah, so they're
I think she's called.
There's been some
in AEW. If I'm just gonna go real cheap. Not to be harsh or anything, she's probably a really, really great wrestler as well. There's a really great wrestler in AEW at the moment. 2 actually. I think
only 2.
I think her name's Beverly Cameron, and she's kind of just got this comedy gimmick going. But she's a ventriloquist, and so she's making puppets of other wrestlers, and she did one of Mercedes Moné.
That's fucking awesome.
And then she was singing the tune and doing interviews with it, right? But the other one is Timeless Tony Storm. Timeless Tony Storm has had a massive, huge character creative swerve in AEW. It's been awesome. She needs to be traded out. And if she goes to WWE, I would send maybe Nia Jax to AEW to kill the entire locker room and just completely crush the company.
Injure the entire roster on this side.
I love Nia Jax though. So.
Gary, how do you decide how or when you will have guest reviewers?
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't answer the transfer trade window thing. I'm afraid I'm not qualified to answer that.
And Triple H is retired. He wouldn't send them away.
We get in guest reviewers, but we don't, anymore.
I love how you're assuming there's a system.
Yes. The system is, if we're doing a vampire film, Hannah is for consideration.
Yeah, if we can get hold of her.
If we can get hold of her, but life and work and the times that we can record are...
like if we know somebody who knows something about the theme
and is enthusiastic to want to talk about it and
like,
has the chemistry to do so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It works like that. A lot of times we also, we use Andy a lot because it's just easy to throw jabs at him and he can take it and come back.
Thanks.
And he's about on our level, which is good. It's like he wavers, like you said. But then at the same time, obviously, if Andy's unavailable, he's busy with family and stuff. We just try to go just with the two of us.
Yeah,
because it's the only time we
2-man booth.
We get to hang out without working, but working at the same time without having to work.
And we get to talk about movies, which is something we both love to do.
Yeah.
And it also kind of saves the length of the video from being too rambly or...
Was it a while ago? We actually did get a chance to hang out. And then we were sat here and we were like, this is great conversation. We should just hit record.
Yeah, right. This could have been a podcast.
Podcast.
That's the thing. Well, that's why we started the show in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no real system in that regard. But yeah.
If we have a system.
Yeah.
So presumptuous. What are you thinking?
Organised.
Oh,
Thank you for the question, though, Nifty Guy.
Yeah.
Appreciated. Well, that unfortunately brings us to the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
Iain, Andy, a pleasure as always.
yeah, man.
Everyone listening, if you've made it to the end, thank you so much for your ears. Hopefully you enjoyed our WrestleMania coverage. And we'll be back soon with the next podcast. We don't have a theme yet, but we'll be back soon. And I do apologise if there's no film review this Thursday. I do apologise. The copyright system has been an absolute you know what.
But we are still working.
But of course, you can find us on the Discord.
A complete Katy Perry.
Keep that conversation going. You can find us on all the socials. All the links are down below. Until next time, everyone, take it easy. See you next time.
Boom.